Casey, Yehu? No, you can decide. You,
Yeah.
Ox, make a decision.
KC? Wrong! It's Team Liquid.
I said Team Liquid and you made me
Absolutely incorrect.
พี่ลืมดูผิดอันแป๊บนึงนะ
Not quit, of course not. Question number 2, moving on. A chance to redeem yourselves. Which team support famously beat EU in a best of 5 at MSI?
I'm starting to wonder if the answer is there's an answer either.
KC.
ฮอตคีย์
Wrong! It's both! Of course it's both! But to be fair, what? This one's pretty easy to do. And you know what? I'm going to take the L for this. That's my bad. Who hasn't done that? Both Core and Boostio have beaten them in a best of 5. My bad. I messed up on this question. I apologize.
Is this?
Moving on.
It'd be either
I'm sorry.
TL
I'm sorry.
or
It's my fault. It's my fault. That was just... It slipped my mind.
He threw a
It slipped
Canadian
my mind,
story
okay?
in there. We heard it. Okay.
Next question. Which jungler has a 100% win rate on Lee Sin this split?
It's probably Jose Diodo.
Yeah, I
it's
think
Jose
so. I'm going
Diodo.
Team Liquid.
It's Jose Diodo.
Wrong! It is, in fact, the other team. Incorrect.
I don't know.
Yike has a 100% win rate.
Are we
He has one
0?
game played.
Are we 0?
Yeah.
That one's on me. I have to take credit for that one.
Wrong.
Now, okay,
Wrong.
in my defense, I wasn't here for the entire season.
Moving on. Question number 4. This one, very easy, extremely obvious. Surely you could get it. Which team has a Korean top laner who's having a great tournament?
Both.
He's gonna trick us. He's gonna say the opposite of whatever we say.
I'm going with
มัน
both.
ทำยังไงให้แบบว่าเต็มจอที่เราไม่ต้องกด
the
เนาะ
other.
It's both.
It's got to be one or the other.
It's
You got to choose a team.
Kana. I picked Kana. Well, actually,
You pick
here's how we decide. Who do you like
Open
more? Which Korean
Pick
player
a
do you like
team.
more? Pick a team,
Pick a
Ox!
team, Ox!
I'm going to go with Lord Morgan.
Wrong. Of course
Lord
it's Connor. Did
Morgan.
you see his top cap?
Yes, thank you.
Completely
Of course.
wrong.
Idiot
It was
Ox.
Carmine
Of
Corp.
course.
These questions are so easy too.
How could you not understand with such an obvious
you
and
would
clearly
think that
categorized
they would
question?
have gotten something right by this point. Last chance here, guys. Surely you can scrape up one. Which team has a regional star 80 carry who's struggling in MSI? It's an either-or question, guys. Come on.
It's both. Okay, Ox, we have to stand strong. Maybe we look like stupid, maybe we look like stupid, but we go out stupid together. It's obviously both.
Yes.
It's obviously
It's an
both.
either-or question.
No, it's obviously both.
This is pretty clear, guys. Well defined within the rules.
Okay, who's worse? Jan or Kalist? This isn't a great way to phrase it as an EU pundit, but I think we have to be honest about the state of 80 carries right now. Who's worse?
This is actually a tough one.
It's really hard. This is like 90% of the question about this matchup. We're getting ahead of ourselves.
I think
Ox, you're smarter than me. I need you to answer this, bro.
I'm gonna go Kalist. I think he struggled more than I expected.
Wrong!
แล้ว
Of
ปิด
course.
OBS แบบปกติเปิดใหม่มันจะโปรเจกต์กันมา
Team Liquid, obvious. You would have thought it's
ปิด OBS แล้วเปิดใหม่
I'm impressed, but that is the
This
kind
is
of
how-
level of
เหมือนเดิมคุณ
experience
ผู้ชม
Never felt
and performance we've come to expect from Europe at this tournament.
If you give me one more and I get it wrong, I could feel like TSM. That'd be sick.
That's a good one. You got me there, okay?
Okay, well, look, thank you, Isaac, for that wonderful and
This
maybe
game
slightly rigged game.
Wasn't as fun as I thought it'd be.
This game was completely fair, above board.
It seems like Isaac
คิดว่า
had
ใคร
a
จะ
good
ช
time,
นะ
which
ครับ
I'm
คู่นี้พี่ทาย
starting
ผ
to
ลหน่อย
suspect might have
None
been
of these
Isaac's goal the
questions,
entire
none of
time.
these
Think you
questions
want
could have
KC,
applied to
no?
both teams. I don't know what you're talking about.
He had a good time. Me and you didn't.
Yeah.
2/3 of the desk. I think majority rules.
That's probably a fair way to do the math. But let's do a little bit more math on maybe the all-time head-to-head. Let's talk a little bit about the history between these two teams at MSI. Because like Worlds, we could talk about it, but we don't need to. Let's look at that regional rivalry at MSI, Isaac. 18 to 12. That's a pretty big difference. What do you got to say about that one?
It's like cave paintings, you know? This is ancient
KC ทั้งใจ
history. Who cares? Not me.
Yes. Look, all I'm saying is,
I can't even count that high,
okay, I'm
Dracos.
sorry. Do you still not use
เฮ้ย มัน
fire
ปรับ
and
ใหม่
the
แล้วว่า
wheel? I think cave paintings might be important sometimes, Isaac. Season 1 world
เลย
champs.
น่ะ
What is
ที่ไอ้
this?
วาดรูปอ่ะ
What?
คือ
This is
หมดยุคยิงมั่วแล้ว
2019?
มันต้อง
That's not
จำกัด
even a
ฝุ่น
real
ไว้กระสุน
year.
ไว้มันถึงจะสนุก
It's too far ago.
I can't remember that far back, so it doesn't count.
Pre-COVID,
Okay,
Daniel.
Isaac,
Really?
I have a feeling that
You're embarrassing yourself.
Oh, well,
Let's look at some more recent stats, some stats that matter, some hard-hitting
Yeah,
stats.
2024, 2025. Okay.
Let's talk about the last couple years. 2023, 0 games lost to Europe. 2024, 3-1 over Fnatic. 2025, 3-0 over G2.
He's kind of got a point.
Don't sell me
Thanks,
out
buddy.
that fast. Don't sell
Get
me out
over
that
here.
fast. Look, I don't.
I'm just saying.
Dude, those tournaments. That's not. Let's look at final placements. How about that? We all know it was completely and totally not fraudulent that Casey made the finals the first in. We know it was 100% real, authentic, and didn't rely on top esports choking. I'm sorry, Ox, but it's how
Let's
EU gets all their
go.
wins. What about G2 also beating top esports? Also counts. I don't know if these head-to-head records matter very
Why
much.
is everything about top esports?
It just happens to be the case that that's how we get all of our good
Because he
placements.
can't talk about his own teams. Let's talk about someone who can talk about his own team. Let's talk about Spawn, who's never
อยาก
lost
กิน
to Europe. Not once. Never. The coach of Team Liquid.
เขาเรียกว่าอะไรนะ
Yeah, but he has
แชท
lost to
ที่
people
มันเป็น
like
เหมือนซูชิของเกาหลีอะ
Lucio.
เมื่อวานเห็น
He has lost
เฟ
to
เกอร์
he's played
กินแล้ว
for-
อยากกิ
He
นว่ะ
hasn't even really had a chance, I think, to honest. Okay, those numbers
บิมบับ
Who
เหรอ
cares
are
about
fantastic.
this? This
Are
is when.
fantastic.
This is when.
Shout out production. I didn't even
ไม่ใช่
ask
บิม
for
บิม
this.
บับ
when
บิม
Reaper
Where'd
was
it go?
in NA.
So for those of you who can't read, crazy
Jungkook.
that that's the case, but respectable. If you look at those numbers on the bottom, those tell a pretty clear story. I didn't expect I'd ever be here to slam
Kaoji,
dunk Reaper
Kimbap,
and saying
okay.
like, hell yeah, that's my boy.
Kaoji.
But hell yeah, that's my boy, Reaper.
No one cares
Absolutely
about
dunking
coaches.
on Spawn. No, they do. You already brought him
I
up.
don't even know who the coaches of these
We
teams
can't
are.
go back. Sometimes I forget
Do you,
myself.
Ox?
No.
Exactly.
We can't go backwards. What do you
Yeah.
feel about these numbers? Look at that. Look at that. And not only remember Korean coach and you like
You know what?
those numbers.
Let's
It's-
talk. Let's
it's
get
good
some real
numbers. It's some good
analysis,
numbers.
guys.
I like the numbers.
Let's talk
Big
about
numbers.
Jose
They're solid.
Dioto because
Numbers are
Jose Dioto has been playing incredible at this tournament. He was already great in NA, but here internationally, he is shining against even the likes of T1 Ox.
Yeah, I mean, the Poppy game was really good. It was a great draft for them. You're playing into Callista, and it was a fantastic early start. It didn't develop flawlessly, though. There was a couple of moments, some smites later on, but for the most part, the early plan, I think, from him
We
set them up
can't
for a lot
hold
of
those
success.
smites against him, okay?
แล้วก็
Owner
ทำ
got
ผม
to
อยาก
train
กิน
his
ตามด้วย
smite key against Guma
แต่ว่าอยาก
Yoshiba.
กินกับซุปร้อนๆนะมันคือพ
That
วก
is
นั้นมัน
tough.
กินกับซุป
And I
ร้อนๆ
gotta
มันจะ
say,
อร่อย
look, personal emotional investment in this, it is very important to me aside. Jose Dioto has been looking good. And I
Yep.
feel like it is really all about jungle in this matchup. And that part of the map we already talked about once, not so positively, but we'll get there eventually. Instead, I just want to highlight, in general, how important both of these junglers have been to their respective teams. Jose Dioto certainly looking fantastic. But let's look at Yike's numbers. Some of them will be a little bit worse, but the important one I want to highlight is K+A at 14. This man getting things done on the map. Now, ultimately, did the game go awry? Yes, but it also did for TL. No one's getting one over on T1, and Yike building those massive individual leads gives me a lot of faith.
Yeah, he had a lot of momentum in that game. I feel like both of these junglers, when they're doing well, the team follows and feeds off that success.
Yeah.
And when they've struggled in this tournament, it has been a bit tougher when Ona's been having fantastic games. But the early plans, I think, have given a lot of headway to them.
I feel like both these guys are kind of the engines for the team, and
Yeah.
when they're ahead, they love to invade, they love to snowball the game, they're pushing it forward, and I do think Yike deserves so much credit actually for KC's success so far this year. He's a player who has gotten a lot of hate, I think, internationally, but I think he is innocent.
There will be times where Isaac and I see eye to eye on this.
Yeah.
You gotta brace
Wow.
yourself. I think
Yeah.
the other
I'm a little
time we
shocked.
see eye to eye is bottom lane.
We want some
specifically
more.
The 80 carry role. We would like to see more. I think both of us maybe a little underwhelmed by our respective representatives' performance
Oh,
thus
boy.
far, as are the fans. I think it's safe to say, because both these guys have been playing well under, I think, what their team needs if they want to upset a team like T1 or take a confident win against their opposition
And I
today.
mean, the tough part is not that these are bad players. The tough part is that we have seen so much better from both of the players,
Yeah.
and you come to expect much more, and they are really not having the kind of results that you would want. I mean, only one team gets out of play-ins. T1 is looking like the massive favorite, swept them both. You need more from either of these 80 carries if they're to stand a chance, if they can get past their opponent today.
And T1's been so bot-centric, and Pays and Carrier have been so good. It's really hard, especially in the laning phase when they're just taking over the game on the back of that. But I feel like something that has been worrying is when we get to the later stages of the game, some pivotal mistakes when it comes to team fights, positioning errors, getting caught out. Those I'm more concerned about, because obviously falling behind against Pays Carrier, it's kind of expected for a lot of teams.
Yep.
But when it comes to the later stages, has been tough. Lucio, though, when we look at him, on this Camille in particular, they let Carrier have Bard, and yet he was running the pace of the game in the mid-game.
And I think that's the good news for both respective bottom lanes, that their supports really have been pulling their weight. And a big question today is, are we going to see some isolated 80 carries on the bot side so these supports are free to roam? Because for both Bucio and Core, they've been super active on the map and really starting a lot of these plays almost in isolation.
And I mean, they're both players that are really known for roaming. They love to have kind of interesting timings, play well with their junglers. So I do think jungle support is ridiculously important. And while they're both good enchanter players, I do think they both really
3 นาทีครับ
excel
คุณผู้ชม
when they are the engaged champions, when they are those teams. games.
And we're still early in the tournament. We did see the changes that kind of buffed up the melee supports, nerfed down the enchanters a bit. We've seen more of them, but I feel like teams are still figuring out the meta. How much do you want to invest into the bot lane 2v2? How much are you investing into the rest of the map? So I think it does give more freedom for these engaged specialists to just take over the map and not be as centered on playing like Ashe Seraphine every game.
And we'll have to see if that's what the teams want to go to. I certainly hope so. It sounds like Isaac does as well. Maybe you too, Ox. But let's check in on the fans at home. Let's see how they're feeling today about this series with our MasterCard fan predictions. This time, we got handsome players, and we got a very KC favorite folks, as you would expect.
Honestly, I think TL do maybe better than I
My
expected.
God.
KC even beat T1 in the fan prediction, which almost never happens. So
You know what? Shout out to all the NA fans staying up late, watching the games, voting for the predictions.
Well, I think
But you already know what we're going to say, right?
it's super true. Ox, I think we need something different from you because sometimes on this desk it's a little balanced.
we
This
need
time
we need to convince Switzerland.
we need to convince Switzerland. We need you to get active on this one.
Dracos, would you like to open the
Yeah,
arguments?
and I'm really sad the fans couldn't get their MasterCard fan predictions in before I showed this hard-hitting analysis. Let's take a look, because when we talk about history, we often forget that it's more than just League of Legends that has an effect on the game. You know what we forget about? Yeah, that's right, folks. The moon. Consider it. EU, head-to-head during a full moon? Yes, 11-8, easy. Your best moon phase, first quarter. Our best moon phase, last quarter. But when it comes to the full moon, we are absolutely dominant. Yahoo is a werewolf, canonically, in the fanfiction I wrote. Yike, born on a full moon. I think enough said.
Dracos, you're embarrassing yourself. This is ridiculous. Let's bring up a real argument here. We need some serious analysis on the desk around this out. So what I have done is I've gone through every tier 1 player and I've ranked their win rate based on their zodiac star signs. Then we assign the star sign to the corresponding birth date of each of the players. Now we have clearly ranked the teams based on where they rank based on their zodiac signs. So T-Law clearly going to be winning today with a 4.6 average here in the zodiac sign. Well, KC has a paltry 6, and they're only being improved by Busio.
Oh, Isaac. Oh, Isaac. Of course, you wanted to go to the stars? Oh, I took the moon. We have to go higher. I have to go to the cards. You know what I did last night in beautiful Daejeon? I went and got a tarot reading.
Ridiculous.
The lady who did it, incredible. You know what card she drew for me when I said one
reliable.
card? I need one card to show me what the win will be, what the result will be. Boom, the tower, destruction, upheaval. You know what that means for Spawn and his precious win rate? I'm not 100% sure she said the answer in Korean, but I'm pretty sure it's a very good sign, Isaac.
This
the
is ridiculous. Ox, what do you think? Ox, who's going to win? It's
Ox,
obviously going to be Team Liquid.
ดูเข้าประกาศเหรอพี่
Not winning
เชียร์
every single time.
They know now.
European, you need to do this, come on.
ไม่ได้พิก M Hero Player มีผลต่อ ไม่ได้พิก M Hero Player มีผลต่อสกิลไหมครับ What ก็สั่งมาพร้อมกับซุปกิมจิหรือต๊อกบงกีสิพี่ไม่ชอบต๊อกบงกีแต่ว่าซุปกิมจิพี่สั่งข้าวมาแล้วเรียบร้อย
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to MSI 2026, where we have the tough task of bringing things back to serious reality after what I just witnessed on the analyst desk. The first thing I want to say is sorry, Ox. We will get you a security team and things will be okay in the future. I am Max. This is Rob. That is Sam. We're very excited. We all have 3-letter names, and we are getting ready to get into this best of 5. Probably the best that we've seen. Is this like... Am I predicting too heavily towards positivity? Because I do feel like this has got to be the best of 5 we've had so far.
I swear to God, if this is another 3-0
for KC, I'd be happy with that. I'm actually okay with that. Yeah, I'm fine. I mean, the name's Dag there, kind of. Yeah. It's an Irish god. You know? Oh, yeah, there you go. You've got the letters in there, I'm sure. No, you don't. Not quite. All right. Don't do math or letters on stream. I am very, very excited for this series, mainly because there are 5 Korean players. So there's something for me here too, even if it is EU versus NA. Reaped versus Spawn, though, this is one that goes back quite some distance as well. There is a lot to be spoken about. I love that Spooks is coaching his former opponent in Jose Dioto. There are so many things, so many connections all over the Rift here today. and I just can't wait to see who's going to win.
Yeah, we've got you comfortable with Koreans up there and Australians up there.
I know. I couldn't be more comfortable.
Feel
Whereas
right
for me,
at
it's
home.
just my heart rate that's up there for the series, to be honest, because I think this is going to be an absolute banger. I think this is incredibly close. And, I mean, we even got to catch up with Spawn last night, and he was very confident about this one, but I know seeing the KC lads as well, they feel like they got this in the bag.
And it's when they both feel like they've got it in the bag that you get the spiciest League of Legends. And I love that oftentimes at the very beginning of a tournament, when we get the first taste of EU versus NA, it's in like a best of one or a best of three a lot of the time. The format is so generous as we get a best of 5. So there are people that are like, oh, well, you know, it was a 2-0, we didn't get into our groove, whatever. I mean, it's going to be at least 3 games. We're going to have a lot of tape to work out who the best is going to be. And definitively, today we will know the best region out of North America and Europe today.
Forever! Unless we lose.
No.
Unless we
just
lose.
Today, just
yeah,
today.
okay.
It's just today. Sorry, it's for the whole. But this entire 24-hour period?
Yeah, that's bragging rights right there. Yeah.
Bragging rights.
All right, let's
That's
get
why
into
we put it on later on in the day here in Korea, so you guys wouldn't argue too much.
All
right, let's get into the HyperX draft, Kirby.
I was curious about that because a lot of the NA fans went to sleep. It's so late. Let's get into the draft, though. Good point. And we do already have some target bans. You know, KC, of course, Akali is Quid's best champion. And trying to take out some of those AP solo laners that they have used effectively.
And also sets up a potential Orianna here, honestly, if you're Team Liquid, right? Like, I think she's incredibly strong in the patch, especially with Cassiopeia and Nivea. Maybe it's a setup for the Rise here for Team Liquid, but I think the Orianna very strong in this position as well.
I think Orianna matches up decently well into the Rise as well. Historically has been able to outrange and farm pretty comfortably, so we'll see whether that is going to be the decision. I think picking it away from Yehu is just enough, and that's exactly what they're going to do.
Yeah, another thing too is that they did not target ban Jose's Nefiri, which a lot of teams have been doing since Lion showcased the strategy versus Team Liquid, and Jose is very good with Nefiri, and that pairs with the Orianna Shockwave quite well, as does the Nocturne. So definitely both pairings are still available, but KC locking in that Camille support.
แต่ว่าไลฟ์ถูกเลือกอีกแล้วครับ
This was more of an
คุณ
Eastern
ผู้ช
thing, wasn't it?
ม
And Brucio's been putting that one
ผม
through
บอก
his
คุณแล้ว
paces
ใช่ไหม
now.
ว่า
He's
ไร
got-
ซ์มันนะ
Yeah,
ข
I
อง
mean,
จ
Kobe,
ริ
you may not
ง
know him, but he's an up-and-coming Polish player, and he's been doing absolutely fantastic
Tuxili
in the
Mini.
past when he was on these kind of Rome champions. So, and I was really impressed with him on the Camille against T1 as well. I think he had this
ตอนนี้
incredible
คือทุกซีรีส์
performance.
ที่เล่น
So I'm excited
ที่เล่น
to
ใน
see
เพย์อินมีไลฟ์
But
ทุก
I'm curious what they want
ซี
to
รี
try
ส์
and pair with for Kalist, as you got the Orianna Nocturne in the opposite.
I just think it's so strong as a support. If you are a mechanically gifted support, which Busio is, he is one of these players that changed from role swap from mid lane down to support, and has been one of his biggest strengths was his mechanics and outplaying a lot of other support. So if you have Camille and you can move around the map and affect those side lanes, and especially the mid lane as well, where they champion like Orianna that is low mobility, then Busio definitely will have a big impact. And Core has responded with the team fight here with the Rel.
And I was wondering whether they were going to just go full Nocturne composition and pick the Nico, but I think Nico into the Camille can be a little bit of a difficult matchup. Core's been great on the Rel, and this is just more, we can dive you at any stage. We can put a ball on basically anyone and have a good time. We've had the Orianna Nocturne combination banned the entire season in the LCK. We have never seen it. It just hasn't happened this season, I'm pretty sure.
It's also because the Nocturne is so oppressive in those levels 1 to 3, like looking for early invades as well is so strong. And against the Wukong, I think that could be something you could try and look towards, but I think we're going to get a lot of the target bans towards the AD carry role with Team Liquid coming in, because Camille kind of wants something that can have decent wave clear and be left on their own. If you can try and remove some of those picks, I think you set up nicely then for Team Liquid to try and respond for a Camille roam with that potential dive on the bottom lane.
Yeah, the Ziggs and the Mel have definitely been premier combos with it, so we'll see. They're actually banning away
Why
the
ban
Ezreal,
late
some of
เยอะ
one
สุ
of
ดไหม
those champions that could be
นั่นแหละ
left
พี่จำไม่ได้
alone.
ว่าพี่เลือกอะไรวะ
Not so much indexing into the mages just quite yet, but definitely looking at the top side here, because both Kana and Morgan were very, very good, even against T1, against Doran, and had been the best performing players on their team in those losing games that they had anyway.
แต่ว่า
definitely
วา
we're
รัส
saying
มัน
Morgan
หายไปแล้วอะ
Connected, you know, his most played and his best champion, iconic. So that's a worthy target ban.
แต่ไม่อะไรวารัสมันก็
I'm hoping it was Canada,
น่า
you know,
จะได้
he's
คะแนนอยู่
just
มัน
like,
ก็ติด
I
อันดับ
remember
ดี
what to do against Morgan. We banned the crocodile, and that is definitely a good idea. He was also the one that debuted Yorick in the top lane as well in the LCK, so it might be something that they could look at in theory. Wouldn't mind a little bit of side lane power for TL at this point in time, but the Jace going to be taken away from Canada, definitely one of his comfort picks.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if they were going to try and go for the Rumble on this rotation, even though you kind of want the counter pick, just because it's been such a strong pick for Canada. Oh, she banned away. Thank you, Gobi.
อุ้ยแต่เอาจริงเหรอคือแบบวารัสมาในคอมที่เป็นแบบน็อกเทิร์นกับโอเรน่านะ
He's going to be the big focus here for that top side. But it looks like
คาริสแบบเอาจริงอะครับผมเพิ่งเอาซิกให้ผมด้วยคือคราวที่แล้วเพิ่งเล่นวารัสไปเจอกับT1มาแล้วก็ระเบิดเลย
Obviously, coming into this match, you need to have this in your wheelhouse.
And it's a really dangerous time to pick Ziggs as well, because Orcs is on the analyst desk, so he will be adjudicated for his level of play.
And the pairing is just so good with the Camille, because you have kill pressure in lane. You can also just clear waves, let the Camille have so much extra time roaming around, and you know, if they can get the Rise into a very good point on side lanes here, be able to move around, then maybe that will be the avenue to victory. The Tristana Rel combo here from bot side.
So she actually got buffed coming into this patch as well, with the mana going down on her Q, so making her a lot easier to just hop in and look for these aggressive trades. So definitely going to be a little bit of a tough one. Satchel Charge might be need a bit more defensive in this matchup.
A little bit of a yordle off, and you know what Team Liquid have done? They have just got an extra yordle, and that is going to work out. The blind knot towards the top side of the map can be a dangerous one. But we'll see what Canna is going to bring to the matchup. The Vayne is hovered, but that is obviously Busio. The problem is, it's also a counter pick to the
There you go, and that's what I was going to say. He's brought it out in the past, and he has looked spectacular on it.
Oh my God, Wade!
In the LEC, been able to bring this out as a counter pick, and has
ทิสซาน่ามาจากไหนวะน่ะ
run away with this matchup consistently.
And now they have an 80 carry.
โดนใส่ซิกเหรอครับ
I mean, this is so fun, this draft, because top side, of course, Kana with the counter pick is going to want attention up there.
แล้วคันหน้าข้างบนได้เล่นเวนไปยิงใส่นาด้วย
Tristana Rel combination from Team Liquid
นาก็คือลำบาก
into the Camille lane. Rel actually is very good at face tanking
แบบนี้เอารุนอะไรไปอะ
Camille, and then
เวน
can also shattering strike off the shield as well. So maybe they even just try and turn it instantly and kill him. Tristana, especially if you can get early lead, you can get that early auto push. And really try and put the extra pressure.
And she's also extraordinarily safe into Camille, because you just
พี่
press
กำลัง
R
นึก
when
อยู่
she
ว่าแบบ
presses R.
Buffer.
And
ในทีม
Then
ไฟ
once
มัน
she
จะ
gets the ultimate,
yeah.
you have your ultimate to knock
Yeah, that's
her.
what I mean. Yeah. So you just, like, she hextechs ultimatum, and you're like, that's not an ultimatum. It's actually,
Exactly.
you go over there now, and then we're done. So I really like that choice. Definitely going to, like, this reminds me of the old Tristana Alistair lanes. You know, if we're thinking back to League Classic that has
เมื่อไหร่
recently
ควินท็อป
come
จะกลับ
into
มา
our forefront, like, that was an old kill lane. And Rel Tristana kind of works in a similar way. We'll see whether they go for, like, the weird level 3s
มัน
or
ดาเมจ
anything like that.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how Takluz tries to play this, because I think you're
เอาจริงมันสู้สายอ้อนยังลำบากเลย
I want to like move towards mid and look against that Orianna. I want to try and
มันต้องเป็นแพทที่
capitalize on the advantages that have been gained for this Vayne in the top lane.
สลับเลน
does
ได้
that then lead to, hey, we're going to try and dive Ziggs repeatedly,
ละมั้ง
or is it just a case of, hey, Core JJ is trying to match some of those roams?
ไม่ได้
We'll see how
สลับ
it
เลน
goes
ก็
as
ไม่
we
เก่ง
are
ควิ
onto
น
the rift for game number 1 of this best of 5, fighting for a chance to take on T1 for a spot at the main stage. As already we have a little bit of aggression. Great hook shot to come out from Busio here to get Morgan down to 50%, but he will be able to get out whilst retaining his
แล้วต้อง
flash.
TP ด้วยโอ้โหได้ TP เลย
both
อ่ะ
of those bushes in the top lane, so nowhere really safe for Morgan, even if he does teleport
ถ้า
back
หลอด
in
มอ
here.
ร์แกน
So
ครับผมข้างบนก็
already
เกาหลี
a lot
สู้กันนะ
invested.
Yeah, and Busio's going to keep investing his time. You see him going through the jungle at the moment. He's going to pass over the ward, so they're finally going to get that vision. But Morgan is 50% HP on the top side. He decided he's not going to go back and waste his summoner spell cooldown with the teleport. He's just going to chug his potion and try to
กลับ
stay
บ้าน
here.
ก็
But
ไม่ได้
Kana can continue to punish.
อยู่เลนก็โดน
And
แบบ
the
แบบนี้หนัก
trade-off,
เลย
right, is that Kalist cannot
โอ้
farm.
ย
It is only one wave that he's lost so far, but Morgan very, very close to death and will now be going home.
It's also support role quest as well, because we do live in the world with the
ถ้าจะเลือกนาบายทำไมไม่แบนเวนวะไม่เข้าใจวะ
out of lane for the
แต่เขาคิดว่าให้เลือกเวนมาแล้วเดี๋ยวเขาจะเอาน็อกเทิร์นมาขยี้เว้ย
on this top lane.
เขาคิดเลยว่าแบบเดี๋ยวน็อกเทิร์นมา แต่น็อกเทิร์น
Morgan should be able to collect.
ถ้าเทียบกับลีซินพี่ว่าเวนกลัวลีซินมากกว่า
The answer is here for KC,
เพราะว่ามันมีแบบเข้ามาถึงประชิดปุ๊บแล้วมันเตะแล้วมันทำได้เลยแต่ว่าน็อกเทิร์นมันยังมีแบบช็อตที่เวนยังพอวิ่งหนีได้แฟดหนีได้
So we'll have to see if they want to try and still capitalize on this push for Yehu because he's got good control here.
Well, having a look now, mid lane is under KC's control for the minute.
ส่วนทิซาน่านี่
And KAIJ going to crash towards Busio here, still level 1, just trying to
จริงๆ
utilize
passive มัน
that
อะ
level advantage that
มันควรจะเก่งมากๆนะเว้ยมันควรจะเล่นกับมิลลิโอแล้วโคตรเก่งอะแต่ปัญหาแม่งคือแบบว่าดาเมจมันมาจากการเข้าไปโยนระเบิดแล้วมันก็ถ้ามัน
So Yehu went for the early reset there.
จริงๆตัวมันควรจะเก่งมากเลย ยิงก็ไกลใครเข้ามาใกล้ก็โดดออกได้หรืออันติได้แล้วโดดได้2รอบเลยถ้าสมมติตัวเข้ามาใกล้ใช่ป่ะโยนระเบิดใส่หัวเราก็โดดหนีแล้วยิงระเบิดมันแตกดันออกแล้วเราก็โดดอีกรอบได้
Already making excuses, Kobe. Already making excuses.
Vote from your sleep. KC's a really small fan base, so I think it'll probably even out on that one.
I have a feeling you might win this.
Yeah, I heard it's called the blue fence, isn't it? You know, not the blue. Okay, Canna is in a lot of trouble here towards the top side. First blood from the Lord Morgan.
เอาท่านรอดแคนนาโดนโซโล่คิวว่าผมเอ็กซอร์ไปแล้ว
Okay, now vote.
เฮ้ย
I know some of you voted a little early there. Maybe you want to switch the votes. Oh, Lord Morgan.
เสียเฟิร์สบัตรไปครับโอ้โหแย่แล้ววันนี้เดี๋ยวนะ
Canna died.
Yeah, thank
น่า
you.
จะ
Welcome.
We'll get a replay here because he had the exhaust. Just looks like he didn't respect Morgan being able to
อ๋ออันนี้ผิดพลาด
jump in on top of him.
สิ่งที่แคนนาทำผิดพลาดคือ
Huh?
Kana, that was not it.
ไม่ควรเทรดตอนมินเนี่ยนเยอะ อันนี้เป็นกฎเลย
Yeah, good punish from Morgan on that
ไม่
one.
ควรเทรดตอนไอ้มินเนี่ยนตัวตีไกลเยอะเว้ยแต่กี้แกไปเทรดตอนมินเนี่ยนตีไกลเยอะแล้วพอแกเทรดปุ๊บมินเนี่ยนตีไกลมันมินเนี่ยนเวทอะมันเข้ามาตีแล้วแกจะรีเซ็ตแกเลยเข้าไปในพุ่ม
Really good start.
แล้วเข้าไปในพุ่มเจอมอร์แกนปักหว่าแล้วตันเป็นแมกกานาอยู่ตะกี้พลาดหนักมาก ถือว่าไม่ใช่เวรมืออาชีพนะนี่
Rise was moving down. Nice little distortion for a bit of extra damage towards this monkey, and it will be a successful steal away. And so I do really feel like games that are a bit chaotic within the lanes really help Nocturne compositions who just want to get around and get stuff done. And TL1, how did this happen?
I think Morgan is. We're gonna thank Morgan.
I thank Morgan every day.
It's a 9 a.m. start. All the people are in work.
KC ด้วยกับ Korean Corp พี่ว่าทีม Liquid เนี่ยทีมจากอเมริกาเนี่ยคืออย่างน้อยมันต้องแบบว่ามีแบบทรงแบบฝรั่งแบบหน้าเหมือนบูซิโอคาริสสักหน่อยอ่ะสักคน2คนอ่ะแต่ลองดูหน้าของผู้เล่นของทีม Liquid ดิมาจากนอร์ทอเมริกาคือไม่มีฝรั่งเลยหน้าแบบมันต้องหน้าแบบจิงซี่หน้าแบบแดนเทสอะไรอย่างเงี้ยสักหน่อยอ่ะหรือว่าเป็นแบบเทเลอร์วันอะไรอย่างเงี้ย
is making things significantly easier for Morgan, as Kobe was saying, in this matchup, and alleviates a lot of pressure now for, hey, how do you try and play around the map as Busio, because you're not actually getting that full control on the top side anymore.
And like we said, you know, Morgan and Kana both had very good
เป็นอเมริกาเชื้อสายเอเชียใช่
tournament, but here is that all-time, matchup between the two from the LCK. And let's take a look at bottom side actually really quickly.
Yeah, Busio and Yike making their way in here as KAIJ trying to dodge out of the way here as the crash down doesn't quite work. Does need to flash to get himself out of the way. But that aftershock putting in work here to make sure he stays alive.
Good flash from KAIJ, just about able to step away. Still, you're getting river control here for KC. I think it's just for Scuttle Crab. I don't think you really want to start up this dragon quite yet.
Level 6 available potentially as Yike does look for it. So the classic battle for the crab coming on through as Yehu was considering a back, but does cancel it here as Jose does move his way over. Quid moving into the darkness, does have his orb in order to see what's going on, but it looks like they will forego that. Yike is going to be able to pick up
วันนี้เหมือน
the
เสียง
crab
เขาจะเบากว่า
and
เมื่อ
move
วาน
back to collect that
เยอะ
level
นะเนี่ย
6 now off his next camp. Is kind of going in one more time. Morgan
Team
still
Shit ที่ไหนล่ะครับ
respecting, but steel caps are so powerful in this matchup.
Yeah, certainly are. And you know, KC, even though they're able to get the level 6, they don't want to go for the dragon because they want to protect all their top camps here. They have 3 top camps, so they don't want to leave it open for a top side play there at 4 Team Liquid. So both Busio roams up through mid. and Yike crosses back over to protect his camps and make sure he's going to get his level 6.
With those 3 camps taken, though, it looks like KC might
ก็เจอ
try
มา
and
หม
set
ด
up
แล้ว
for
นะ
some sort of
ที่
play
วั
on
น
the top side. Busio already roaming. You do have blue buff spawning for Jose Dioto, though, so he should be on top end.
And look at this full swap here. They're actually sending Tristana up to the top side too for Team Liquid. So they're doing the lane swap. Meanwhile, Ziggs left in the bottom lane there, does not have teleport.
All right, they're going to replace the Yordles, moving Morgan down towards that bottom side as we can see, as now you've got the Cyclone coming on through. KAï will be able to crash over the wall, but Busio gets in there, takes down the rail. Wrong place, wrong time for the TL support.
KC make the play happen before Team Liquid can remount the defense, catching for JJ as he's trying to get the vision. And it's a quick
ยอนกำลังจะมาอยู่แล้วเมื่อกี้
They thought they had so much safety because everybody was up around there with Morgan recalling in the brush and Nocturne ultimate ready, but Core just gets bursted so quickly. They don't want to play into the losing skirmish already. So KC get one back and we're right back to even.
It is entirely square between the two teams at the moment. Exactly what we
ซับได้
wanted.
ค่าแต่พี่ว่าคุ้มนะเมื่อกี้เพราะว่าถ้าเมื่อกี้ต้องเสียแฟลชเพื่อค่าซัพพอร์ตไม่คุ้มแล้วแต่กี้เป็นคำยูมาถือว่าแบบ
But I say technically NA has 2 kills because Busio is the one who got the kill.
No, he's Polish. He's Polish. Remember? Yeah. In the same way, it's Jose Pion now.
All right, Morgan could be in a little bit of trouble. Does hit Mega at exactly the right time, though, for the defense. Grabbing that extra help. The Dragon is going to be begun here by KC.
ไม่นั่นแหละแต่จริงถ้าเกิดเล่นแบบว่าจะเล่นแบบสโลว์เพลย์ก็น่าจะขึ้นเป็นโครมาฟาร์มเลย
able to take them down as well. And Yon's on Tristana, right? Like, you can really demolish these turrets very, very quickly. Same to be said for Ziggs. But I think the sieging capabilities of both of these comps is pretty scary.
Yeah, I mean, Callisto just going to clear the wave, and I do like the way Jose Dioto's kind of changing up his jungle path here. I think if you're separated from Yike, it opens up for Busio and Yike to go for plays on side lanes that can make it really uncomfortable for Team Liquid. So by leaving his Krugs available on the bottom side, he's now going to be able to kind of match this clear down towards the bottom half of the map and kind of keep pace with Wukong, which makes it a little bit easier to kind of control what KC can do in these early stages.
Yeah. Incredibly dangerous
พอโดนทีก็ครึ่งหลอด
They have extra time to roam around. And look at the deep vision from KC through the red quadrant of TL's jungle as well, so they can look to try and set up these plays.
มันคือแบบหลักการของเล่นทิซาน่าเจอกับซิกคือแบบมันได้เคลียร์เวฟในระยะที่โอเคแล้วก็ไม่โดนโป๊กใช่ไหม
But Morgan just going to clear out the wave. We did have waves equalizing towards the top side as well. But with 81 to 81 as far as CS is concerned, between these top laners, that kill gold retained here for Morgan does feel like the Nara is in a much better position than I was expecting in this matchup against the Vayne that does really like to catapult themselves into a good position in the earlier stages rather than utilize late game. That being said, I feel like how this composition works later on in the game is a little bit different to a traditional Vayne in the top lane with another AD carry there towards the bottom side.
Yeah, trying to have so much pressure on all 3 lanes. You show one person each lane and then have 2 junglers basically. Also always hovering around. It looks like they decided top lane where Yon is
เนี่ยให้คามิลมาคือKCก็อยากจะให้ซิกไปแบบ
Yeah, only level 5 for Busio. There's a rocket jump in, flashes away immediately. And the Hextech sweep does come on down. Yon does have Buster Shot, gets rid of the Vayne, and there's the barrier, but it's not going to be enough. Yike able to lock down that kill. KAï a little bit late. The paranoia comes in though as Morgan gets in. The Mega Nara is a little late as he's looking for more. Busio was the guaranteed kill, but he does not actually go for it. Went for the big one, and that's going to let them all live apart from Busio, who will be caught by the very edge of the shockwave.
That could have gone so much worse for KC though, as the Avengers assembled. They just about managed to scurry away from that.
คือKC พยายามอย่างมากในการที่จะเอาซิกไปเจอกับนาแล้วเอาคือให้อีกฝั่งนึงมันเป็นแบบโยนไปเจอคามิลแล้วทำได้ครับ
Yeah, looking for Yike here. We'll be able to push him away from this inner turret.
แต่ว่าจะเสียเยอะไปหน่อยเมื่อกี้คือมันเสียแฟตเสียทุกอย่างเลย
Busio back out onto the map. Core is going to show up here as well. Still level 5 for both of our supports. KAï very, very close to getting that Magnet Storm available if they can find a fight. Support ultimate advantage, that could be a big deal. but nothing really coming up and available within that time.
นาพอเคลียร์เวฟ
Quite a slight
เห็น
window as
ซิก
KAＩ
หาย
will
ก็
be
พยายาม
able to
ว้าว
hit
กลับบ้านเพื่อแบบ
that
ดูว่า
ultimate
นา
now.
แบบเนี่ยถ้าเวนมาปุ๊บก็เดินไป
Yeah,
ข้างบน
extending to get into a good spot though. Just completed the drive for it. So you can see here
PKC
KC,
พยายาม
they end up going for the
อย่างมากใน
dive.
การที่
It's a nice job by Yon to flash
เอา
away
คามิ
from
เว
the
จับ
hit
ให้
from
ได้
Lucio, but it's Kana being able to just get in range to get that condemn into the wall, but then sets up for the follow-up play. But with the RTP in behind, I thought this was going to be it. But with Kana getting the flash over the wall, Yike being able to get over as well.
เสร็จแล้วท่านหลอด
There's
เมื่อ
no
กี้
one
อัน
on
ตี
Team
ยัง
Liquid that they
ขึ้น
can
เมกานา
really
มันยัง
find.
ขาด
So
อยู่นิดนึง
KC,
อะ
it's only Busio who gets caught on the lip of this ultimate from Quid.
Yeah, right on the edge. I meant Morgan was so close to being in like flash Gnar range after he got over that wall. Doesn't go for it, but does hold on to the flash. And we are missing a couple of flashes over the side of KC, so maybe some good news for TL. But we'll just have to see how it all does shake out. As Quid trying to get some vision back here, putting some wards into this brush, but full information is there.
Oh my god.
Gonna pick up a solo kill in the bottom
คาริส
lane.
ค่า
This is the first time killing.
Yon.
Oh, hang on.
Yeah, Quid gonna have
แล้
to
ว
run
ก็
away here.
กดอีโมดหนึ่ง
Does
ที
have his
ด้วย
ultimate
โซโล่
back up
คิว
and
แบบ
available
โซ
once
โล่
again.
เล
But
ย
yeah, let's go back to what just happened in
ด้
the
วย
bottom
ลูเซน
lane.
ที่ได้
That's
มา
Kali's first time ever playing Ziggs in a competitive game, and he's just soloed Yon. Like, where the
What?
hell has
นั่น
this
คือ
been
คาริส
hiding?
เฟิร์สไทม์
Yeah,
เพ
we need a
ย์
replay of that because
Sig
yeah,
เหรอ
Yon didn't have his summoner spells from that top
เขาบอ
side
กว่า
play, but Kalis didn't flash
คา
or
ริสเล่น
anything.
เฟิร์ส
So
เล่น
take a look at it. Just
คลิ
hitting
กไป
some
ครั้ง
bombs,
แรก
I assume.
Yeah, because it's not like you don't have a leap away as Tristana, so that was the initial poke that we saw. A lot of damage, honestly, off of that first
Yeah, the
combo.
Lunan
Another bomb.
spike is
Yeah.
no,
ในสกิมคงเล่นเย
no
อะ
joke.
He
Yeah,
just
he's-
doesn't miss.
You just hit every bomb. That's the answer.
Wow.
Huh.
What
Well, that'll do it. A little bit of disrespect there.
เดี๋ยวนะมัน
And they will be
มัน
able
เหมื
to
อนจะ
pick
รอด
up
แล้วนี่
that solo kill
แถม
towards
กิน
the
ขวด
bottom
น้ำอยู่ด้วย
side.
ตายเฉย
Morgan, with that Mega Gnar now up and available, Busio is going to be supporting Kana here. And that will mean that this Gnar won't be able to get any more plate money towards that top side. First
ทำไม
turret
ทิ
blood
สนา
going
ถึ
over
ง
to
หลุดจาก
KC
ตัว
though,
ที่เคยเป็น
as that
ติด
one
เม
was
ตาเหรอครับ
eradicated
เพราะ
from
โด
the
นเนิร์ฟ
bottom
หรือไอเทม
lane.
ไม่เอื้อ
Ziggs
ถ้า
doing
เมตา
exactly
ที่
what it
พี่
says
ทั
on
น
the
นะ
tin.
อันนี้ต้อง
But
บอกก่อนที่
especially
พี่
when
ทันนะ
Kalista faced so much kind of
คือ
backlash over
คือ
his
พี่ไม่รู้
initial
ว่าก่อนหน้า
tournament
มันเป็นยัง
showings.
ไง
This is a fantastic
พี่ไม่ได้
performance.
แบบพี่มา
1.6k
ดู
gold lead on a
ปี
when he's never
2022
played mages
ซึ่ง
before.
4 ปีที่แล้วพี่
Now
เพิ่งมา
looking
เริ่ม
to
ดู
rotate around the map and continue to
ทิส
grow
นา
that
มัน
lead.
ถู
Like
ก
this
เล่
is
นใน
exactly
ตำแหน่ง
what
ของเลน
Europe
กลาง
wanted to see from this young AD carry.
Yep, this is
แต่
textbook Ziggs
มัน
play
โด
as
น
well.
เนิร์ฟ
Just
เพ
moving
ราะ
to
ว่า
another lane with a turret.
Yeah, and that's
มันเก่ง
perfect
เกิน
for the comp that they have since they want to play the map so spread here.
มันมีช่วงหนึ่งที่
with
มัน
all
ไม่ต้อง
these
ใช้มา
different
น่า
pressure
ในการก
points,
ด
and
นูน
they
ไอ้
just overload,
แฮ
delete
สปี
this
ด
tower with another satchel charge.
ช่วงนั้น
There
คือ
it is.
Snowball.
เจนจีนี่คือ
Beautifully
โค
done.
ตรแบบ
So immediately
บ้า
moving
คลั่ง
up
อะ
to 2 turrets taken. Mid lane outer is ready to fall
ถ
as
ลิง
well
มา
as we
อำ
can
นาจ
see.
อย่างสุด
Although
แบบเพราะว่า
not
โช
as
วี่
ready
แก
to
แบบ
fall as I may
เล่น
have
ADC โคตร
otherwise
เก่ง
expected.
แล้วพอ
Getting a little bit more ground
เขา
there
เห็นว่า
is.
มัน
We have a look at the
มัน
Coinbase
มัน
gold
โบรก
grind.
เกิน
Yeah,
มันมี
Kalista
แต่
doing
ADC เลนกลาง มันไม่ใช่เม
phenomenal
จเขาก็เลย
job up
เนิร์ฟ
against
ครับ
Yon here, and they do
เนิ
need
ร์ฟ
their
ทำให้
Tristana to start getting strong for that late game
ต้องใช้มา
consistent
น่าอยู่ดี
damage.
And it's so
เมื่อ
scary
ก่อนเนี่ยมัน
too
ขึ้นเป็นใน
because
นาโวลี
Busio
แล้วมันก็
also had
ยิ
a
ง
pretty
ยิง
good
ยิง
start.
รัวมาก
So
อะ
we're gonna
ฟาร์ม
see
โค
the
ตรไว
combo, the
มาน่า
Camille
ไม่ต้อง
ult
ใช้
and
ไง
the
แล้วมันก็
Ziggs ult and all this
ลด
guaranteed
คูลดาวน์
damage. If Kalista's fed,
พอมัน
then
ยิง
that
ก็ล
damage
ด
is
คูลดาวน์
just
ใช่
gonna
มัน
be
กดเรื่
lethal.
อยๆก
They're
ดเรื่อยๆก
just
ดเรื่อยๆ
gonna
โอ้
get
โห
one
โคตรโห
combo.
ด
I do think the shining light here for
แล้วก็
TL
เล่น
though
เนื้อ
is that KC stayed very late on the map. So with Rift Herald about to spawn in 20 seconds, KC are now only looking for those resets.
พอ
So
เนิร์ฟก็
TL,
ไม่มีใครเล่นเลย
knowing that, are starting to
เพ
step
ราะว่ามัน
forward, get
มัน
some
ไม่เก่ง
deep
อะมันใช้
vision,
มา
make
น่า
sure they
เย
can
อะ
set up for the objective first.
Yeah, and they also have level 11 on Quid as well. So rank 2 in that Shockwave, and we haven't really seen the
แต่ก่อนห
Nocturne
น้านั้น
Orianna
ไม่รู้เหมือน
combo
กันนะ
employed just yet. So in a straight up 5v5, things could be difficult for KC. They have a lot of smoke and mirrors in their composition, and I think if TL managed to sink their fangs in, it could be a tough
แต่ว่า
one
แพ็ก
to play out.
26.12 ก็มีการบัฟมา
Looking
หน้า
at
แล้วนะ
Morgan, see if he can get over there. Wants to charge up his Gnar bar a little bit on the way as well. He does have his flash. Pretty much everybody except for Quid
Yep.
has the safety of their flash for this fight.
Well, Jose is just going to be using that spell shield, but the Cyclone comes down immediately. There's the Hextech ultimatum, but maybe Busio has gone too far. His Core JJ will help lock him
Busio.
down. That is Morgan getting it.
โอ้
Where's
ช็อคเวฟ
Busio?
กับ
He goes in.
น็อก
It's
เทิร์น
a
อย่าง
big
สวย
knock
เมื่อ
from
กี้
Morgan as well. Kalis getting taken down solo with the
อุ้ย
Dustbringer.
แต่ว่า
It's
มอร์แกน
not enough. Morgan's
ตาย
dead.
ว่ะ
Yeah, it was was at full health, and now it's KC's turn to start moving forward. That's a great dissonance to try and slow down this rise, and they do hold them at bay for now.
Oh, those flashes were critical. You know, being able to draw Busio that far under tower and then core with the combo to keep him there started it out good for TL. But then they also go under KC's tower, Dagda.
And it was also just a little early on that combo from KC, right? Kalista, if he'd waited a little bit for that Busio ult to actually land, would have been able to get that ultimate first. But with that flash, as he talked about getting him away, Jose Diodo lives and it became a spicy play in the mid lane.
And that's what we were talking about. We were waiting to see the Nocturne Orianna combo. Then it comes in. And now we're sitting at 4-4. Everything tied up once again.
Yeah, it was a buy one, get three free, though, because usually when you do the Nocturne Orianna combo, you kill the carry. Managing to pick off all those members of KC and push them back was so crucial for that play.
I think the Nocturne Ori combo got Morgan a little too hyped now.
A little bit overly enthusiastic.
I mean, I got super hyped too. We were all like, "Oh my goodness,
I was not
the
hyped.
triple."
เพราะว่าเราผิดไฟเนี่ย
I was hyped for the League of Legends. Don't worry, Dagda. I'll be with you when KC find themselves an angle.
It's okay.
Yeah. Just trying my very best to be completely unbiased with my favorite player of all time on one of the teams in this game. Okay, we do have the Rift Herald now getting taken down very, very low as Jose trying to make Busio scared, but Busio not a very scared man as they will be able to take down the Rift Herald. Immediately thrown down. Not sure about that one.
I think they thought that he was in danger, so he was going to give the exit car if like Busio got caught or something.
Instead, it's giving some gold over to Jose, and that is about it. As now we're going to have a look at the replay of the previous fight.
Yeah, I mean, as we see this kick off, like the immediate jump onto Jose Diodo, but here I expected them to wait for Busio's ult to land before they threw out the Ziggs ult. And then as you called it, Kobe, flashing under the terror, finds just a bit of space. But I think it's Morgan with this combo that ends up setting up really well.
Yeah, so Jose gets the triple shockwave. We all got hyped, and then Morgan does the bounce in and then flashes over.
Oh.
And so he just dies under tower, doesn't get them. And, you know, everybody having flashes had the big difference, right?
It was the Morgan ult that looked a little wonky to me. I thought he'd hit a couple of members, but just couldn't connect.
Yeah, no Kana flash now, no Kalis flash now, no Yike flash now after that because of it. And so the summoner spells being traded have to keep these cooldowns here slightly more effective now for TL, you would think, with Yon having the double summoner spells, both their main carries.
Yeah, both Ari and the Tristana having summoners available for a Drake that's spawning in 30 seconds time. I think could be a big deal fighting for double dragon here on both sides.
Yeah, I do think an early stop off with kind of third item here for Kalis and Yehu, getting that Seeker's arm guard is going to be really crucial. Just nullifying the amount of targets that Team Liquid have for this Nocturne Orianna combo is going to be big. It kind of just leaves Khan out in the open, but look, he's going to have to take
ใช้มานาแล้วก็พอผมปรับให้โดนใช้มานาปุ๊บก็หายไปเลยพี่เจฝากปิดตรงนี้นะพี่เจ
pushing in here with the Vayne Rise, and so TL going to send Morgan up here, drop the cannon.
Yeah, one answer is at least there. Not going to be taking down that crystalline overgrowth just yet, as Morgan does set himself up to take out at least that wave. We do have Minion wave pretty close to TL's front door as well on that bottom side of the map. KC can utilize this pressure in the side lanes to try and take down this dragon. Has been started up already. Not a lot of vision available for TL.
Morgan also doesn't have TP. He used it to get to the Rift Herald play. So KC, realizing that it was Morgan who went topside, are going to be the ones to take it. But now might be Khan in trouble.
Yeah.
Paranoia going to come in immediately, and now Jose should be able to make this a very scared Vayne, and Morgan just going to pick that one up with a cheeky auto attack after Jose did all the work.
Yeah, nice move here from TL. They make that, like the call pretty early. Hey, we're not going to be able to get this dragon, so just keep on pushing topside. And look, you know, if Khan is still there, then we'll, pop the ultimate, and they do. They get side of him, so that Jose is able to connect with the Nocturne ultimate and grab that one, even though they did have that top lane summoner spell.
And gentlemen, there was like a 1.6k gold advantage for Kalis. Where is it
ต้อง
gone?
มีสเปลเพื่อหลบเฟียร์นะไม่ก็ต้อง
I'm
ขึ้นเป็นแบบ
genuinely curious. I don't know
กัน
where
เฟี
it
ยร์
went.
ป่ะ
Yeah, I think Ayan did have the calls, so partly being
that's
popped.
probably
หยิบมา
it.
ทำไมหยิบมาสู้นา
You know,
นา
picking
มัน
up some
แพ้
of
เวนอยู่
the
แล้ว
turrets as well, but yeah,
แต่ว่า
it's
แก
just
ไป
been
โดน
Team
โซโล่
Liquid
คิว
managing to play on side lanes well and picking off some of the members
แก
of the
พลาด
dragon
แค่
for
หน้า
KC. And I think that's kind of where now, with the Nocturne on board, it does become a little bit more difficult for KC to really
แต่
get
ปกติ
plays
แล้ว
here.
ว่า
They can't really push out mid.
ตอนนี้
They
ทุกทีม
haven't
เขาจะ
been able to get as much control on side lanes because of the Nocturne,
เข้า
which
เล
is
นหน้า
stopping
หลุ
them
ด
getting the mid
ก็
lane
จะแบน
turn
น็
and
อก
kind of
เทิร์นเว้ย
pushing those advantages forward.
เขาจะไม่
Yeah,
ให้
it
คอ
feels
ม
like
โบ
the
น็อก
key
เทิร์นเอา
players
เลนห
right
น้า
now for each team is Jose for Team Liquid. The Nocturne ultimate is going to determine so many of their plays, and then Busio on KC. But
There it is. That's a lot of damage towards this Vayne. Does go invisible though underneath the turret, so they're unable to actually kill Kana here, who still has teleport.
They did manage to flash away from that Orianna ult as well, so Kana stays alive. That's the immediate go
KC
button
เห็
on
น
the
ว่าใช้
Baron.
พารานอย
And
แล้ว
Team Liquid
เปิดบา
trying
ล
to
อน
see if
เรี
they
ยก
can re-enter here.
Yeah. And it's only Koj JJ and Morgan for now, as Morgan is going to get turned on. Great
โอ้
number of
โดน
position,
จับ
but
แล้
I
ว
don't
หล
know
อกม
whether
อร์
it's
แกน
going to
แต่
be
ว่า
enough. He's already taken down
โอ้
very,
มัน
very
ทำอย่างนี้ได้
low.
เหรอ
He
น้า
tries to crush away flashes out as that
อันติ
Cyclone
แล้วก็
tries
ดัน
to hold
คา
him
มิว
into
ออกจาก
position.
อั
And
นติตัวเอง
Yon
ทำให้แบ
now
บ
moving
หลุดจาก
forward.
คามิ
KC
ว
have backed away from the Baron though. They're just going to now realm warp themselves.
what? เรียนวอลมาโดนเร็วแน่นๆเลย
is going to be able to help lock them down. That's a kill over to
Kia
Yon, and
Hu
that
ครับผม
felt like a mistake.
That was certainly a mistake, Atlas. Right into the waiting arms of
What the
KAIJ.
fuck?
They wanted to get over to the
แต่
wave
ว่า
to
กลับมา
defend
แล้วแบบ
mid
โดน
lane,
เรียวเซ
but
ตอัพ
Core just lets him have it.
Yeah, who saw T1 doing
They
against
saw-
him?
that's what I was
like,
about
maybe
to
we
say.
need to do it, but that was a huge mistake because I don't think they could turn back towards the Baron. Morgan had the TP, they didn't get the kill, so there was going to be too many members of Team Liquid at the Baron. And in
แล้ว
trying
KC
to
พลาด
protect mid
เสีย
lane,
ย้าย
they end up just giving across kills
ฆ่า
on
มอร์
top
แกน
of the
ไม่ได้
mid
ด้ว
lane
ย
tower.
What was their vision like on the mid wave? They for sure saw Tristana. Did they
Yeah.
not see the Rel
What the
right there?
fuck is
Because
going on
the Rise Realm Warp has been serving people up on silver platters this tournament.
Yeah, it seems to be a negative ultimate for the Rise team.
หน้า
We'll
ใหญ่
see
แบบเมื่อ
whether
กี้คือ
that
แบบ
is going to be something that can be rectified as we move further on. But let's have a look at this one more time. I really thought that the turn onto Morgan was going to work
ดู
for
ดิมัน
KC.
Yeah, they
คือ
really
มอร์แกนแกดัน
almost
สุ
were
ดจน
able to
บู
burst
ซิ
him,
โอมันอัน
but
ติมัน
he's able to
หลุด
flash
เว้ย
out and escape, and
ถ้า
then
เมื่อกี้แบบไม่ได้หลุด
so there
บู
is
ซิ
a
โอ
control ward
ไม่
here
ได้เดิน
that
ออกจาก
cores
อั
in,
นติ
but
ตัว
they
เอง
see
นะ
him there.
มันจะแบบว่า
just- yeah,
ขัง
they
มอร์แกน
just-
ไว้ได้
Don't respect
Morgan
him. He
Morgan
popped his head out of
die.
the bush for a second there.
Yeah, yeah. And the Shattering Strike Flash just
และอันนี้คือแบบ
beautifully
คอ JJ
timed and
คือเห็น
positioned, but it
โอ
was
กาสแกก็แบบ
capitalizing on a mistake.
ไม่ปล่อยให้
Maybe
พลา
it
ดเลย
wasn't keeping track of the flash cooldowns again.
Well, we'll just have to see whether that is going to continue here as TL moving themselves into a really good position here in this game. Not quite able to take a Baron or anything like that off the back of that play and only a 2,000 gold lead. For this next streak, they should be able to even things out and get a little bit of
ในแง่ขอ
control
ง
here
ดาเมจ
with the
KC ยัง
composition
ดาเมจ
that
เยอะ
scales
กว่านะ
pretty nicely
แต่
as
ใน
we
แง่
get
ขอ
later
ง
and later into the game.
ความบางแล้ว
The Oriana Nocturne combo, Atlas.
คือเวนเนี่ยน่าจะโดนแค่แบบช็อกเวฟกับพารานอยก็น่าจะ
which is
น่าจะ
keep
บึ้ม
it
เลย
simple, Rise Group. It does
ไม่
roll
อย่าง
off the
นั้นต้อง
tongue.
หาวิ
I'm
ธี
really
แบบ
glad 'cause like we
ซื้ออะไร
thought
สักอย่าง
that
ทำ
when
ให้
we
แบบ
came
ตัวเอง
up with
แบบรอด
and it just means that just build
แต่ว่าขึ้นเป็น
compositions that are easy to
ซึ่งก็
execute, make them work. You can focus on
ก็
fundamentals.
ดี
You
ครับ
don't need to worry
มัน
about
เป็น
how
ชิ้น
team
ที่ดี
fight's
แต่
gonna
ว่า
work. And this is Kizaja to a
ต้อง
T.
Yeah, and
คือ
there's
ต้องได้
there's
ซอม
so
เล
many
เซอร์
good targets to use your combo on.
คือพอน้องขึ้นเข้ามาต้องอันติแล้วก็กระโดดออก แล้วก็ซอมเลเซอร์ยิงแล้ว หวังว่าจะเดินออกจากเฟียร์ทัน
was bought on reset by the Ziggs though, so Kalist is kind of taken away as one of those targets. That ward doing work
เพราะว่า
here
คอนเดม
to spot
ยาก
out where
มาก
Team Liquid is.
Yeah, but KC not exactly in position. They do spot that ward out though, and they are going to back away from the Baron.
Yeah, it's who has the Realm Warp though, and he's been playing heavily on this bottom side. So I think Team Liquid are hoping they could get that cooldown.
ทีมไฟท์ที่ Liquid ดูจะเก่งกว่าป่ะ
until Dragon.
I don't know. The cooldown has been working very well within team fights
That
with
is
Team
fair.
Liquid
Yeah,
so
yeah,
far.
yeah.
So
มัน
maybe
ได้
they don't want to get that one
พาราน
out.
อย2มันได้แบบช็อกเวฟกับ
Let's see
2 ตัว
to
มันมี
can
เรียว
they
กับ
protect, Oriana, 'cause Squid has
Nocturne
been doing a
ซึ่ง
lot
Nocturne
of work
โอเร
here,
น่ามันเก่ง
and now he's set up for another possible combo with Jose. Little flank around possibility from Yike. He's kind of, since they had pushed on bottom side really heavily, maybe he was thinking we approach this dragon from bottom side
เริ่ม
instead
ตึ
of
งแล้ว
mid.
KC
TL
ตัว
are
นี้
gonna get
แบ
the
บ
mid prow themselves.
อยาก
They're
ได้
gonna
โซ
push it
พอย
that
ต์
way
ด้วย
and enter from top.
Yeah, I feel like KC's control of the Drake so far this
แคน
game
น่า
has been pretty
หาจังหวะ
fantastic
เล่นอยู่
as
อะ
Busio goes in.
บู
I
โซ
don't know about
ตาย
that
แล้ว
one. He's just dead. Wasn't able to click any buttons onto
แล้วมังกร
anyone
นี่
and
ต้อง
just
ปล่อย
goes down. And now
ไม่งั้น
KC just have to scatter. They'll have to give up this dragon. And can TL take even more?
They have to give up so much control as well. It means that there's already kind of that wave that's been pushed in mid that Team Liquid can reconnect with and also potentially move over towards the Baron
มันแรงมากด้วย
area.
อะ
Busio can make it back out in time, but they're controlling the map so well right now.
Yeah, I mean, the KC comp is so fragile, right? You have to make split
กลายเป็นว่า
second
ดาร์ฟของ
decision,
Not
and
very
you
ทีม
Kizaja.
Liquid
no, it's not. You have to
คือ
hit the,
เลือก
you have
นา
to
มา
hit
เบ็ด
these
ให้มัน
combos.
เกิดเป็นให้แบบ
If
KC
they-
เลือกเว
if
น
they
แล้วก็
don't get a stun
กลายเป็น
to
ดี
play
เลย
off of, then nobody else is going to go in. And so the Baron now is the next threat. Busio, though, back on the table. Support death timers are pretty short.
เห็นนะเห็น
Well,
เห็น
Core's
คอ
going to
เจ
get
ครับ
in there with the Magnus Storm. They look to turn this fight around. Busio going to be the first target. Mega
บู
in
โซ
front of him.
ตาย
Comes
ก่อน
in,
แต่
though.
ว่าได้
The
ปั่น
cyclone's
2 ครับอ้าว
fantastic.
ตายเหมือนกัน
And
นะ
they do manage to get a kill back, but
Real
Yon is just untouched. Yeah, who taking so
แต่
much
Rice ไม่
damage
ได้
and
ทำ
now
ดาเม
the
จเลยอะ
resets start to come in.
เวนก็ตายไปแล้ว
Yon really feeling like he's hit his stride in this game. And TL, they didn't want the Baron. They just wanted to kill them all.
Kill them all and then take the resets here. They've got a lot of extra cash to spend. Let's take a look at it though, because Core JJ,
สแกน
as
เจอ
you
คอ
called
เจ
him
เจ
out,
แต่
he sweeps
ไม่
over
รู้
the
ทำ
wall.
ไง
They
อะ
get another big Core JJ rel engage, and then Tristana
Can
and
I go and
Jose
see
can
a
both go over. And here comes a shockwave as
แล้ว
well.
ตรงนี้คือ
They're going to be able to get this one on multiple
โดน
members. That's
shockwave แล้วก็หายไปเลยครับ
members in Quid shockwave.
Absolutely tears KC apart. KC thought they had their moment, but Team Liquid just baiting them in.
The
knowing
whole
they had the
time,
ultimate to
Yon
come through.
had Buster Shot.
Yeah.
Like, even if they had have tried to get on top of him, he still has the cooldown. Oh
Look at
my
the
goodness.
shockwave damage.
Damage,
You can see how much
shockwave
it's doing Quid
Yeah.
on the
โอเลน่า
Orianna
แบบ
putting it work.
โอเลน่า
This also
3,900 แล้ว
bodes
เมื่อกี้
really
ไฟเมื่อกี้
well for the series for Team Liquid if Quid is not nervous in game number 1. He talked a lot about it when we had him up on the desk, you know, in their series versus T1 and in
ปัญหา
past
กำ
series
เนิด
as
แล้ว
well throughout his
เพราะว่า
career. So it's very
มัน
good
หมด
to see
ทา
for
มิ่งของ
NA
คามิล
fans
ไล่
if
ดักจับ
Quid
แล้ว
is feeling comfortable and confident
มันเป็น
in the games.
ทามิ่ง
And
ของการที่
of
ต้อง
course,
มา
if he
ทีม
has a
ไฟ
good
แล้ว
performance here
แล้ว
in
เรียล
number
ทีมไฟ
1.
มันดีกว่า
I think
คา
if
มิล
you're
อยู่
ever
แล้ว
going to be nervous, ever, it's
Kami
when
man
you're a
din silent na
mid laner
dakjak
playing
ba?
against Faker
Yeah,
in
that-
an international tournament.
Yeah.
I'm not blaming Quid for that one at all, ever.
Speaking
So
of T1,
ที่
we're
ตอนนี้
going to do a
เค
little
ซีต้อง
Baron
ปล่อย
here off
บาลอน
Vision.
แล้วแบบ
a
ไป
little
เล่
bit
น
of a
ข้างล่าง
cheeky one, but they do have a lot
ดั
of
นล่าง
control
อ
of
อก
this
แล้วก็เล่น
game
ข้าง
for
ล่างแม่ง
now.
ไปเลย
And this Baron should just go over to them. Yike is going to
มา
poke his
แบบ
head
นี้
in,
ก็
but Yon, we mentioned the Buster Shot. He does have it,
ไม่มี
uses
ทาง
it,
แน่นอน
and Yike going to have to just try and get himself out of there. Now the Nocturne ult does come on through.
Yeah,
There's the
so
Shockwave,
that's
but it's
Liam
avoided by
Ball.
Busio just beautifully as they've taken down the Trist already. Quid now in a lot of trouble, but he does manage to at least take out Busio. But Core JJ going to be required to stop Quid from going down, and the Baron was not
แล้วที่ซาน่า
secured.
ตายครับ
And
ผม
KC are just going to say thanks for the leash.
เจอสูตร
KC
เลียม
find
วอ
the
ลครับ
moment to bring it back with the realm
What?
warp that actually works out perfectly.
Yeah, Yon took so much
It's a
damage from
Trojan
the
แบ่ง
Baron.
คุยกันยังไงวะ
Yon got so low from the Baron.
Oh,
He
wait a sec.
แล้วได้
All
เฉย
right,
เลย
looking for
วะ
an angle here is once
ยัง
again
ไม่ได้
Core
ว่ะ
JJ finding an angle. That is a
แต่ว่า
lot
น่า
of
จะได้บาลอน
damage.
บ้าง
Yike's in a lot of trouble, gets the Cyclone down, and Kanna is trying to get
ชนะ
these autos in. Yehu is a monster, but it's a massive
ท่าน
ulti
หลอด
from
ว่ะ
Morgan into the wall.
เชียร์ท่านหลอด
Yehu gets Baron involved.
เชียร์ท่านหลอดแบกท่านหลอดจงเจริญ
Baron shot as Kanna
เชียร์
just
ท่าน
gets
หลอด
out of
ยัง
this
เซฟไว้ได้ครับผม
losing
เซฟ
his
เดอะเดย์ครับผม
mind. And the Baron
ท่าน
stays
หลอด
alive.
จากโบรครับผม
NA versus EU. It's the Baron.
ไหนใครจะได้บาลอน ผมจัดให้ฮะ
Baron wins.
What an insane
ไอ้
fight though.
เชี่ย
'Cause
ท่าน
Yon
หลอ
goes
ด
in and turns the focus from Team Liquid
ยอน
with
คือ
the
ตรง
realm
นี้
warp
คื
that
อ
ends up bringing in Yehu
โดนอะไรวะนะ
flashes
อุ้ย
the
โดน
Orianna
ระเบิด
ult,
เลยครับ
gets a
อุ้ย
ton of damage down with Busio, but it's as they try to follow up, that's kind of where it starts to fall apart because Quid separates, Yehu goes a little bit too far
แก
trying
จาก
to
เลือด
step
เต็
up,
มอ่ะ
and as they turn back towards the
แค่แวบ
Baron,
เดียวแก
that's
แบบ
when
จะ
Team
ตายแล้ว
Liquid
โผล่
fall
มาแบบ
back
โดด
on
มาเจอ
Core
บูซิ
JJ.
โอ
And
แบบ
I love League of Legends. We're back at the Baron, guys.
We're doing it
Love me,
again.
man.
It's KC
We've got
kind of
it.
a cheeky ward over the wall,
May
but they
not
don't
have
have any players. So this Baron is finally going to be secured by TL. I'm pretty sure Baron actually last hitted a triple kill in that last fight. Very impressive play out of the Purple Worm. We're going to need that, that highlight reel, I think, in the package towards the end of the day. As we now have Morgan going in, looking for an angle, as that was not the option that Takluz was looking for, but that is quite a decent stopwatch. Still, it's just not going to do anything. He's going to go down. That's going to be an inner turret, and this is exactly what you don't want, is to have your main form of wave clear dead when the Baron is knocking at your front door.
จบเลยว่ะ
I mean, that tower did nothing to
Sana-
Morgan. Actually was doing
Lang
negative
Leo
damage
ด้วย
to him. So yeah, good tower dive from him. And
Oh, we've got another angle here. Is Jose Diodo just going to give them the thumbs up in multiple different ways?
โจเซ่บอกว่า
now just going to look to
อะไร
end
กัน
this
วะนะ
game. First Nexus turret is now taking damage.
ไม่กันบ้านเหรอ
Jose with paranoia available.
ย้าย
Yike is
แบ
in
บ
a lot
อยาก
of
จะ
trouble.
กันบ้านเหรอ
There it is.
โอ้
He's going to follow him to the fountain.
เขาบอกทันนะ
And the Nexus turrets will be falling. Decent amount of AoE.
บูซิโอ
Viego
พยายาม
goes
จะจับ
golden.
ที่
They
ย
need
อน
him to
นะแต่ว่า
actually do damage.
ยิง
But
ตุ
the
ยเย่
Nexus
หมด
is
นะ
now being focused. TL looking for game one
โอ้โห
in
ที่
this
ซาน่า
EU
เอามา
versus
เคาน์
NA
เตอร์
battle to bring
คา
them
มิวอะ
one game up
คือ
in
เวลาคามิว
the
เข้ามาใช่ป่ะ
series. They're going to grab
อัน
some
ติ
kills
พิซซ่ากดอันติ
first, and
มัน
that is going to be
ดัน
that
คามิวออกจากอันติได้
1-0 for Team Liquid Alienware.
ทำให้เป็น ADC ที่ไม่โดนจับ
what a banger opener right there.
แต่ต้องชมท่านหลอดมอ
Man,
ร์แกนจ
we
ริงแก
said at
เพ
the
อร์ฟอร์แมน
beginning
ซ์
of
แบ
the
บ
day,
โคตร
probably
ดี
the
อะ
best series. I think it's already there. I'm
ตอน
going
แร
to
ก
go
นึก
out
ว่า
on
แก
a
จะ
limb. All biases
แก
aside,
จะ
I
ไป
really
แล้วหลัง
like
จากที่โด
watching
น
our
แบบ
teams
ยิง
win.
จน
Some teams have been doing some winning apart from
ตัว
Team
คุณ
Cross
ต้องวาร์ป
Gaming.
กลับบ้าน
But so far, this
ตัด
has
ภาพ
been
มาอีก
so
ทีคือ
entertaining.
เวฟดันแล้วแคนนาแก
It's your turn. Your turn next, deck. Your turn next.
แกไปเทรด
Well, this is going to 5 games. We all know it's
ไม่
gonna
ดี
happen.
อ่ะ
So
แก
this is
เทรด
just a
คือ
quick
มันไม่
pit stop,
คือ
you know?
ตามสูตรแบบ
Casey
ทุกอย่าง
just
มัน
very generous.
มันทำอย่างนั้นไม่ได้เลย
Giving
อะ
as many games as possible.
อิมพอสิเบิลที่จะเทรดกับมินเนี่ยนที่แม่งเยอะมากๆอ่ะมินเนี่ยนแม่งน่าจะประมาณกี่ตัววะ
Oh, well, we spent a little bit too much
Minion
time
made,
talking
man.
about 80 carries at the start of the day, and junglers
10
apparently
ตัว
was all about top lane.
เทรดอย่างนั้น
My
ก็เรียบร้อย
God, what a gap. I did not see that one coming. It hurts, but if I keep shouting, maybe the pain will go away.
I mean, Morgan has been
แต่ว่า
on one
KC
in this
แกพยา
tournament.
ยาม
It is crazy because
อย่าง
it's
มา
so
กนะ ที่จะ
unexpected for me
โยเอา
where
ซิกไปเจอกันนา
when he
แล้ว
first
ก็
came into the LCS
เอา
everyone was
ให้
talking
บู
to me
ซิโอ
about
ไปเดิ
this
น
guy
แก๊ง
is the GOAT
ยอน
laner he's so hard to
ทำ
play
ได้รอบ
against
นึ
he
งแต่ว่า
can't
มัน
breathe
ลึกไปหน่อย
but by the end of this split when I talk to top laners they're saying
Shit,
yeah, Morgan
I
hasn't
just
really
done it.
improved. That's why they put him on tanks. He's no longer much of a force in laning. You know, he's kind of just there. And he comes to this tournament, he's chain solo killing Doran, he's solo killing Kana after getting cheese level 1 and counterpick against the Vayne exhaust. Like, that is actually crazy.
Yeah, and it definitely takes two to tango. I do feel like Kana made some mistakes and allowing that to happen, but Morgan...
And I'll be your beacon when you need it most. Go! Dazzling! Finish the shot! Fox wins!
เชี่ยเท่จัดเลยวะ
You're in for the time of your life. I'll make it a grand finale.
โอ้แบบก็ซามิล่าอ๋อ
You see KC move on to the Baron, starting to take more damage, and Morgan is the one who ends up making the big play to decide this.
Exactly. Morgan comes back here. It was obviously split comms between Yon and Jose. Do we peel? Do we stay on? But then Core, look at this engage from Core. He was stellar throughout this whole game. Flashes in, Kalista does not react, gets burst down, had the Seekers, but just got one shot, and then Morgan kites out the exhaust and gets Mega, flashes in, catches Yehu against the wall there with the last of his mana. Quid is able to finish him off, and that was such a big sequence of play because there were mistakes both from Yon or from Jose, whoever you want to put it on, and then from Bliss, and it was kind of back and forth, but it's also brilliant plays from people on either side that are capitalizing on these little missteps.
And it's just so crucial that you have a
วัน
player
คี
who
วัน
can
นี่แทบ
step
จะ
in
ขี่
these
คอ
moments, and as
นะ
we've been saying, and we will
เดี๋ยว
continue
พรุ่ง
to
นี้
say Morgan really was that guy because again
เหมือน
from the
เขา
get-go
ก็
we
จะแบบ
saw
ว่ากึ่
KC
งๆแบบเหมือนได้
prioritize
พัก
on the
เนี่ย
top side. They get the
ก็
counter
จะได้
pick
แบบพัก
Vayne.
1 วัน
They
แล้
set
ว
him
ก็
up
แบ
with
บ
the level 1 gank. You take a look,
พรุ่งนี้
it
ก็
feels
คื
like
อ
this should have just been
แน่น
over.
ส
We
นา
were
ม
ready to pack it up in terms of what we would see from Morgan on the top side of the map, but he recovered so fantastically. And this does feel like where we have to leverage a little bit of
คิด
criticism
ว่าเซตน่าจะ
towards
เป็นเหมือน
Kana.
I mean,
ตัว
this is
แบบ
a really smart play
ตัว
because
ที่
you
ต้อง
already
มี
have a
ในนี้
favorable
เลยอะ
matchup for the Vayne, especially with Exhaust as a summoner. Morgan has to start the hop as well to get away from this, already low HP, and he doesn't reset here, decides he doesn't have enough time and actually moves back in the lane, so he's at a massive disadvantage, and then...
Exactly, and this, honestly, Kana does almost every stage of this wrong. You roll into the Gnar with Wallop. Then the exhaust comes out after the boulder toss is already hit. Then he uses the condemn. He still has flash, doesn't flash either of the Wallops. Gets hit by another boulder toss, goes down without even using the flash. And yeah, this is really beautiful from Morgan. But Kana played every aspect of that 1v1 wrong. And when your team is giving you draft resources, level 1 resources, you can't make those kind of mistakes.
Yeah, because we so often see, you know, Camille plus Ziggs, Camille plus Mel have a really strong level 1 on the back of the Ignite and the Camille. They sacrificed that bot lane to put that attention top, and then he was just ultimately irresponsible with that lead.
And ultimately, while both teams had individual members that made mistakes, it's TL that walk away rightfully so
ปู
with
มา
the
ยาซี่
win.
โด
We
เนต
didn't
มา
even get to
10 บา
talk
ท
about mid lane, but
ที่
the
1 แข่ง
Nocturne
อีกวันไหน
Orianna so
เหรอครับ
hotly
พี่
contested
กิฟ
and so well utilized by TL really brought back what was a difficult back and forth game. So on the opposite side for KC, I think we need to see more from Kalist. He had a good start, but wasn't reacting fast enough in those final fights, and we definitely need to see more from Kana.
He got so far ahead of the curve. There was that time when he was just hitting bot lane tower, getting plates for free, getting farm for free, got more plates in the top lane. He was super ahead of the curve as Ziggs had a lot of damage in his build, and then a couple of fights he wasn't hitting the right targets, and then just dying with flash, with Seeker's arm guard up. Really felt rough, and it is his first mage game, but when the game started, I was like, hey, he looks really solid on this. This is a carryable game for him.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be exciting, but right after the break, game 2 coming up next. Can KC bounce back, or will TL bring us the match point?
Bounce back. I vote bounce back.
ทำคนเป็นบ้า มอร์แกนตัวแบกโบรเมื่อก่อนครับเลยเรียกท่านหลอด
Tired of the off-season blues once Worlds is over? Fear not, because League of Legends is coming to the very first Esports Nations Cup, where players split from their clubs and compete for national pride. Will China test every limit imaginable? Will South Korea turn every game into a macro masterclass? Will EU and NA actually play in the correct lanes? The final event of the year is not to be missed. Esports Nations Cup 2026. See you in Riyadh.
ซุสโดเนตมา10 บาทผมจะได้แข่งกับเพื่อนเก่าวันไหนหรอครับ
เพื่อมันเป็นแบบสิ่งที่เขาอยากรู้จริงๆเดี๋ยวขอพี่อ่านไปนี้ให้ดีเป็นไงThe top 10 varies
In esports, legendary moments demand speed, scale, and soul. Players and fans bring the heart. Technology brings it to life. Every frame, every stat, every decisive play. In partnership with League of Legends Esports,
เหลือฮาวาไลท์ซีเคทลียง
powers the esports ecosystem to keep expanding. So players can focus on the game, and fans can focus on the moment.
Times like this are where star players shine and new legends step up, where legacies are built and dreams are either realized
ให้ถามแชทถามนี้เลยถาม AI เลยอยากรู้เหมือนกันว่าทำไมเขาถึงแบบว่ายังไม่เลือกนะ
When I was a player, if I was to like make a misplay, maybe it's my mouse, maybe it's my armrest, something feels wrong. If you were at home, you wouldn't do that.
The infinite precision armrest is part of
ส
the
วัสดี
larger
ครับ
circular
พี่
on
กิฟผม
stage
กลับมา
standard
จาก 12
initiative
ชั่วโมงแล้วพอแล้วเลิกแล้วไม่เอาแล้วขอโทษที่หมิงนิ้วที่พี่อยากเล่นครับว่าแต่เจงแข่งกี่โมงครับ
다른 선수들도 채팅을 더 원활하게 할 것 같고 가장 편안할 때 더 강력한 플레이가
เจนจีแข่งกี่โมงครับ อ๋อเดี๋ยวนะอ๋อรอจับสลาก BLG G2
กสิกรปิ้ง 3,000
อยู่พูหนึ่ง
ตารางแข่ง2วันแรกโบ5แต่แข่งติดกัน2คู่ต่อวันได้นี่หรือทีมจัดตารางรู้ว่า 3-0 เกมไว้ท่านตามกำหนดเวลาแต่วันที่แข่งคู่เดียวนี่พี่ว่าจะ5เกมไหม
อุ้ยอย่างวันนี้พี่ก็รู้สึกว่าน่าจะได้สักเกม2เกมบ้างไม่น่า 3-0 นะ เอาจริงซีดพูมาจากไหนอ๋อคือพอเข้าใจแล้วเป็นนะมันต้องย้อนไปตอน first stand ว่ะ เฮ้ยเขาพี่ไม่คิดว่ามันจะขนาดนี้เนี่ย
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to MSI 2026. One game down in this best of 5, and Team Liquid.
Look at that smile! Look at Jose over there.
And you can tell exactly why he is smiling, because he is now into the HyperX Champion Select for game number 2 with a victory under his belt, having played a pretty beautiful Nocturne game. But I think, you know, this has been about like the top lane, the solo lanes, right? When I think a lot of us were talking about bot side of the map earlier on in the day.
I actually think, though, coming into this, KC will start to shift their focus to that bottom lane. I think with the Nautilus ban, they're looking towards things like the Ashe Seraphine, which has been their kind of comfort pick over the course of this split. And we even got to see it coming out against T1 as well. I imagine with the Bard ban as well, they will just go back towards this.
Well, let's see what is going to happen. I think no more experimentation is what a lot of people will be calling for as far as that bottom lane is concerned. It is now kind of what are we going to be picking up? The Ryze, the Orianna, both of them unavailable, but the Anivia that was banned in the last game, I guess, is theoretically an option, but less intriguing when the Ryze has been banned. Still taking a while to figure out exactly what to lock in, as finally it will be that Seraphine. So we are looking at the Ashe Seraphine option. What we have seen is the responsive Ashe Lulu to deny it, but I don't know whether that's where TL want to go.
Yeah, it's interesting because there have been so many different types of responses. You know, the Ezreal Karma is kind of the tried and true old, like super good
เมื่อไหร่
poke them
เอา
out, have
สุด
lots
จะ
of
ได้เจ
pressure
อ
as
กับ
well.
เพื่อน
So
ทีม
we'll
ร่ว
see
ม
what direction they decide to
ก็
go.
คือ
They've also been happy.
คือตอนแรกพี่เข้าใจว่าเขาแบบเขาตั้งใจให้ BLG แบบคือ first ที่1 first stand นะ LPL 1 ใช่ป่ะไปเจอกับ Play in 1
Do they try and take away the
ไปเจอกับ Play in แต่ว่าจริงๆไม่ใช่ครับมันคือมันมีพูล3 อันนะมันมีพูล1 2 3 4พูล1มันจะเป็นแบบ BLG กับ G2 เพราะว่า2 ทีมก็2 ทีมนี้แบบซิด1ซิด1 LPL กับ กับ LEC คือลีกยุโรปที่เป็นคู่ชิงในรอบ First Stand แล้วก็อันนี้เป็น LPL ซีซั่น 2 ก็คือ Top Esport
which makes me happy.
Top Esport กับ Play in
Yeah, that was the warm up one, you know. That was the training episode.
Oh, there is the rumble. I really love it. Like Encore
ทีนี้คู่1เวลาจะไปเจอกับคู่4 BLG เจอกับท็อปไม่ได้เพราะว่าลีกเดียวกันก็เลยต้องไปเจอกับ Play in ก็คือ BLG ไปเจอกับ Play in แล้วก็ G2 เจอกับท็อปทีนี้คู่2มันจะเป็นก็ต้องเจอกับคู่3ก็จะมีฮาวาไลท์คู่2เจอกับ3ก็มีฮาวาไลท์ฮาวาไลท์กับฮาวาไลท์กับใครวะฮาวาไลท์กับทีมลียงเพราะว่าเป็น LVC ฮาวาไลท์กับลียงอยู่ในพู2ส่วนพู3จะเป็นก็คือฟูเรียฟูเรียกับ
totally bodied Kana and you're like hey put Morgan back on a
ซึ่ง
carry
ฮาวาไลท์เนี่ยก็จะรีโยเนี่ยก็จะจับต้องมาจับฉลากก่อนว่าจะเจอใครแล้วก็ถ้าจับฉลากแล้วฮาวาไลท์ไม่อยู่นี่
And it makes me a little nervous because Morgan knows a body Doran in this matchup only
ฮาวาไลท์ถ้าเกิดไปอยู่ตรงนี้ก็จะเจอกับถ้าทีวันเข้ามาในรอบเพย์อินนะก็จะเจอในราว2เลยเจอไวเลย
as well domestically as people are hoping but this tournament he's been a force to be reckoned with he's been absolutely incredible
he's come back home he's got the good kimchi and he's feeling fantastic that's what I would assume that being said LA is pretty good Korean
ฮาวาไลท์จะอยู่คนละสายกับทีวันถ้าทีวันเข้า
doing too bad over there but then if you're going to be taken away I imagine Pike is just going to be banned but it doesn't really feel like a core JJ champion to me but it will be the Yone hitting the deck first
Yeah, it is going to be interesting to see what they go with this time around because now you're seeing the Ezreal, right? So it's a little bit less powerful to do the full-on kill lane that would want to take advantage of.
ลีกเดียวกันไม่อยู่สายเดียวกันครับ
I definitely agree with you as far as
อ๋อก็คือตรงนี้เป็นลีตรงนี้จะเป็นลียงอยู่แล้วแล้วนี่เป็นฮาวาไลท์อยู่แล้วแต่ฮาวาไลท์ก็คือมีโอกาสเจอฟูเรียหรือว่าซีเคทฟูเรีย
Even though the rest of the globe was kind of falling to the wayside on the Azir pick, this was still a massive one for KC. And with the Yone ban, I imagine that's what they're looking at again here, trying to
แสดงว่าข้างล่างนี่กูอัปเดตนะเนี่ยเพราะว่าฮาวาไลท์อยู่นี่
Well, it is just a lot of comfort for KC so far as we do see the Syndra taken away and then the Rek'Sai to follow. I've heard so many whispers of this Rek'Sai jungle is going to be coming out that are not going to be happening today.
นอกเสียจากจะแพ้แล้วลงมาเจอข้างล่างใน lower bracket
very strong so
มาดูเกมนี้ครับเซเลฟีนเอสเรียลวาลัสไม่ถูกแบนแล้วว่ะวาลัสไม่ถูกแบนแล้วไม่ถูกเลือกไปเจอกับลัมเบิลด้วย
The Pike kill that's quite so much he freaking loves the Pantheon though so gets that point and click and they're still gonna have huge kill pressure huge burst potential
อยู่เพลงรู้สึกว่าดังขึ้น
I mean honestly we'll see if this bug actually gets locked in but
yeah it is the Yike specialty it's his pocket pick and he's brought it a couple of times maybe not the area to bring it out we'll have to see is they're just going to lock in the Anivian mid lane instead
this is a very slow moving composition so far as Busio, without the ability to hover the vein, goes for the space vein once again. But we'll see what he is going to be locking in. We're looking for a jungler, unless Rumble wants to go back there, but it's been quite a few years since the Rumble jungle's been a thing.
Yeah, the Anivia is an odd one for me, because usually we see it
ทีมลิควิดกับ KC น่าจะ5เกมแต่ KC เมาหมัด
you have like
Global Production นี่สู้ฝั่ง LCK ไม่ได้เลยแต่พี่ว่าเขาทำดีมากนะพี่ว่าเขาจัดการได้ดีมากแทบจะไม่มีแบบฟรีห้องแล้วก็แบบดีเลย์แทบไม่มีเลยทำดีมาก
I don't know what we're calling this one but at least you do have that lockdown.
Nengmyeon is like
okay that's Yasuo So I was going to say, yeah, when they banned the Yone, you're like, oh, let's take away more AD options from Quid because they're running the Mel bottom.
They didn't know he had a brother.
He could just go with the original brother.
T1 vs BLG ใครชนะโอกาสไปชิงสูงจัด
Yasuo into Anivia.
And Yasuo into Seraphine sounds incredible.
I mean, the wind wall is going to get, some good.
เพราะข้างล่างจะเป็นลียงกับอันนี้เนาะ
I just don't know whether it's actually going to quite work against the Anivia that's very, very good at controlling space, right?
Yeah, that's my biggest worry for the Yasuo
กลางครับผมจะไปเจอแอนิเวียครับโอ้โหลุงจีครับผมอยากให้ลุงจีมาดูนะฮะยาซูโอ
That doesn't sound good.
คอมโบอ่ะบองแล้วก็
Calm down a little bit.
I don't know. I watched game one, man. I don't know what to expect.
But also for Busio, how the hell do you get any value out of this Seraphine ult? Like it's either wind walled or it's reflected.
แต่นี่อยู่เกาหลีอ่ะโปรดักชันก็น่าจะของเกาหลีอ่ะแต่ว่าเขาน่าจะมีโกลบอลโปรดักชันที่แบบมาทำด้วยตอนนี้พี่ว่าเรื่องของสแต็กอ่ะจริงๆพี่ว่าเหลือแค่เชลวาน่านะพี่ไม่รู้ว่าทำไมถึงเชลวาน่าถึงไม่มีสแต็กให้
Well, ladies and gentlemen, those are your drafts. Once again, I mean, a bit crazy. But this time I feel like TL has decided to go a little bit further off the deep end than KC has. It feels like KC going back to their roots, back to some champions that they have a lot of confidence on. As let's get onto the rift for game number 2 of this best of 5 and see whether KC can even up the series. All right, gentlemen. Let's see. No weird starts at the beginning of this one so far. Jose and Yike just going to be spotting each other out. Yeah, who just over to support as well. And not going to be too much funny business as Quid just getting some vision down. Counter vision already there. And some pretty standard starts.
Okay, Yasuo into the Deathfire Touch Anivia. Let's see it, Quid. They do have a lot of knockups to be able to set him up as well with the Ornn, with the Lee Sin.
Yep.
And Jose has been very active when he has had that Lee Sin.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Vendetta is Riftbound's next set. It's arriving July 31st and brings together new champions, iconic rivalries, and beautiful art from across Runeterra. There are some summoner spells in the bottom lane, but I'm going to get back to this.
เหมือนการเป็นเกมที่ทำขำๆแบบไม่ขำคือไม่ได้แบบซีมากแล้วมันกลายเป็นว่าคนชอบกันมากเลย
It is going to be KC getting the advantage though, and it looks like the Ezreal Seraphine is working out quite nicely. Busio is
เดี๋ยวว่าจะเข้าวงการนะ
Yeah, it's kind of been the go-to domestically. Like it has been one of his strongest champions. It does mean he's more kind of focused on the lane state, which I think Busio has actually been spectacular. This MSI at actually moving around the map.
จัดเลยไหมลิฟต์เบาจัดแน่นอนนะถ้าทีคอลแลบกับทีวัน
But this is we want to
น่าจะเป็นส
fully
กิน
invest in winning in the early stages and oftentimes look
พี่ว่า
for
อย่างเงี้ย
invades
ยังไง
with
ก็มี
Yike
โอกาส
afterwards.
ที่แบบ
Maybe less so on the Jarvan, but
มี
we'll
ลาย
have
เซ็
to
น
keep an eye out.
นักแข่งอยู่แล้วอะ
It's interesting
ถูก
too
ปะ
because Jose did the 3-camp recall for Longsword start here for
ถ้าได้แบบ
for Lee Sin.
ลายเซ็น
So
เฟเกอร์
since
กุมา
both
อิชิ
junglers
ยา
are heading down to
ใคร
the
ก็ได้
top
อะ
of the map, if we
ใน
do
ที
have
วัน
the
อะ
flash down
กรีด
there,
อะ
at the same time, then he is going to have the extra Longsword for the fight.
Yeah, Morgan looking a bit aggressive here towards the top side of the map, as we can see, kind of taking some damage as that brutal proc does come on through. Focusing on mid lane though, is who does have the egg, of course, so not going to be dying if he loses that health bar, but still not going to be feeling fantastic. And so far, Quid doing pretty well on this Yasuo in the mid lane, 24-18, as these minions are going to help even things up for KC.
Yeah, nice early push from him, and he goes to make sure that they're going to be able to get this bottom side Scuttle Crab for Jose. Bottom lane also forced to back off as Yike went for his reset after the full clear, and he wants to head towards top crab, but I mean, Quid can just move back up here as well, and maybe we'll
ถ้ามีลายเซ็นไอบอสกี่ล้านพี่
Yeah, that's exactly what he's looking for. Safeguards his way over, and Quid will be able to help usher him towards that top side of the map as well. Double buffs here for Jose. As the ward does go down, Flag and Drag is good damage onto the Lee Sin so far, but Quid gets the inside track. There's the exhaust onto this Jarvan. The wind wall, fantastic to block everything that Yahoo wants to do. Yike going to go down. That's first blood over to Quid as Cannon's looking to move his way in. The tiny wall is going to work out, but there's a sonic wave out of Jose. And now Quid is trying to get back to Morgan, who gets the knock up, but down goes the mid laner. And now Jose comes over to make this a one fight for TL.
Huge skirmish here from Team Liquid. They know they have the extra power from the early Yasuo here in the lane. And if that Scuttle Crab had actually been walking down towards the fight, then Quid, he was trying to flash up so he could try and E away on the Scuttle Crab. He ends up going down, but still the 2-for-1 there and the first blood.
And it looked like miscommunication from KC as well. Kana had push on top side, and it started to move, but then went back to lane. So looked like Yike was trying to call both solo laners into the equation, but with Kana being late, TL ended up taking the fight.
Yeah, Kana does manage to pick up a kill in the fight, so that will help him out in his matchup against Morgan. That is the only part of the good news here, as Yahoo is still in a little bit of trouble. Teleports back to lane though, gets that health bar filled up once again, and I'm pretty sure still has the egg after everything was said and done. As GoJJ spots Busio and Yike moving on in, and will be able to back himself out of the way of the enemy jungle.
เชียพิกเอ็มระเบิดนะ
So Jose is very well aware that he could be in this bush, so they're kind of flirting around with it.
ถ้าสมมติว่าแบบ
Quid comes over,
ทีมลิ
early
ควิดชนะ
exhaust, as you pointed out, and then they can follow nicely. Jose hit his cue, so he can follow Yike very quickly. As you're mentioning, you know, the distance between the top laners actually get the kill so quickly. That's a slight early arrival here.
Yeah, and that's why I was surprised, because Kana had already walked down. He warded the Pixel Brush and then went back up into lane as Yike went for the Flag and Drag. So looked like Yike maybe thinking, oh, Kana's already moving. I can start this play. He was
indeed, exhaust from my mid laner.
Yeah, Quid having a pretty good time. It's okay. Yike now moving in towards his bottom side. Jose moving over as well. Really good position defensively here for Jose. Just making sure that he is shadowing where Yike wants to be on this map. Is Yon down to about 50%?
ต้องมาดูว่าใครผ่านเข้ารอบเพลย์อินมาถึงจะจับแบบของฮาวาไลท์ถูก
Yeah, Team Liquid, their bottom lane though, just trying to avoid poke right now while they get the objective. They know Jose and Quid have got this under control, and I mean, Lee Sin is good into Jarvan. It's just that I think that Jarvan.
อันนี้แพ้ตกรอบเลยชนะได้ไปชิง
You don't get to use, your ultimates in
รอบ
your
play in กับ
synergies for
T1
your comp or anything. And Jose really coming up big there.
And it also means he's accelerated when it comes towards levels, right? Level 6 now for himself. He can try and look
really
for
nice
X
flash here. They're looking for a
ไม่
potential
พร้อม
limit.
แล้วนี่
KJ taking
คาริส
a
แก
lot
แบ
of
บ
damage.
ลำอยู่แล้ว
Busio is burning. Core knows that he's dead. The flash away is perfect though. Busio keeps himself alive, and that is the kill going over to KC.
Kill goes over. Busio had to invest the flash in the end, but still, here's the invade we were talking about.
Well, Yike is just going to back away. That's exactly what's going on here, as the blue buff is just going to be held onto here by Jose. And Morgan getting a positional advantage as well means that Yahoo moving over is not going to be enough to get KC control back. So that will be buff stolen. And Jose should just be able to walk his way out of there as well. Smite it down, and they will take that one away. So good advantage here from TL, but the gold entirely even between the two squads.
Pantheon's coming here too. Core JJ kind of sneaking around into the side brush.
All right, possible angle here is another Hex Flash from Core JJ to get that control ward down. KC have just backed away already though, so no worries just yet.
Yeah, this is just not a good timer for KC because Jose's got half the level lead, which means he has level 6 over the Jarvan. So Lee Sin, huge power differential at the moment, and KC have to give up that area.
Yeah, Core JJ a little bit behind on levels himself, only level 4 at the minute. As Busio has hit that level 5, looking for the encore.
Yike still needs this camp for the level 6 though. He's very far behind, so should be able to get it, but you can see how much KC are investing.
แพ้หรือชนะก็กลับบ้านเหมือนกันโอ้โห
let alone trying to get control anywhere else. And as a Jarvan, this is where you
ถ้าเป็น
want
พี่
to
พูด
be
ที่
at
โด
your
นแล้ว
most
นะ
impactful. So TL managing to shut down Yike is good, but Kalist and Busio winning out on that
ถือว่า
bottom
เจิม
side,
นะนี่
like that's where the other side of the gold lead is coming from. They've been absolutely destroying Yan and Core JJ in this matchup.
And now that they do have access to the level 6s there, for the Mel, for the Ezreal, we'll see if there are some visits from jungles. A lot more burst.
ข้างบนหวาดโคตรเยอะ
As of right now, it's the mid jungle for Team Liquid that have dictated a lot of the pace of the game.
Yep, and now the Void Grubs have spawned. Right now we see KC moving up there towards that top side of the map as Quid dashing on over.
เลสเรียวโผล่กลางด้วยข้างล่างไม่มีใครรับเลย แลกเพจกับ3กับว่ะ
And Yike will be able to get the first grub at least. We'll see whether all 3 will go over to KC.
Yeah, I mean KC, the Kalist walks all the way over there, so Yan is getting alone time on the bottom tower, and like this is an Ezreal without teleports, an exhaust Ezreal, so he's gonna have to walk all the way back down. They do, get the grubs for their investment, or at least 2 of them.
Yeah, Jose just going to be able to take this
อุ้
one
ย
down.
เกือบ
Going to
เกือบ
do
ได้
it.
3ครับผม KC
So, I mean, TL getting 1 grub. I mean, I think KC is still going to be absolutely fine with this as the beat drops. And Jose is still going to go in. There's a flag and drag as Jose thinks that he might have caught Busio out, but he just backs away himself. So really nice secure of the first couple of grubs. TL get at least 1 back, but it's still not the end of the world for KC.
Yeah, but you're still losing.
เฮ้ยทำไมทีมลิควิดมันดูดุแปลกๆวะแล้ว KC ดูแบบเมาหมัดจัดอะ
because he was afraid of TL invading. Now after going for the objective on the top side, loses that camp again. So overall, Team Liquid have just been keeping Yike down this entire time. You can see a 2-level lead. Yike still will manage to equal at least to 7 when he gets towards this bottom side, but it's still very messy for Yike.
Yeah. Again, I just go back to
เอาจริงแบบพอเห็นแบบชื่อชั้นของไยค์คันนาคาริสบูซิโอพี่ก็แบบเล่นกลางใครก็ได้อะ
Jose here on the Lee Sin has opened up such a massive individual lead. Bottom
มาถึ
side
งตรง
2v1.
นี้นี่แม่ง
Yan taking a little bit of damage here, but does just walk his way out. He will be fine, at least for the minute. Has his Hex Deck cookie at the ready. I think they spotted.
อีกทีมแบบเมาหมัดจาก T1 อีกทีมนึงคือได้ชนะมา
At least help him speed up, move out of the way alongside the flash.
And I think this is the one part of the map that KC can try and play around is the bot lane. Like already they've got a nice lead open up for themselves. This will only grow now as well. And the fact that the flash is gone and Yan now means that they should be able to try and punish that again. If especially you're getting Team Liquid trying to play
Jungle
through this from the top side for him.
มินเนี่ยนห่างกัน20 ตัว
Agree right there. Ezreal here for Kalist looking quite good.
เลเวลห่างกัน1เลเวลครับ จะ2ครับ
And as you said, with Busio having so much success too, definitely will be a very powerful team fight when they bring those 2 in.
Yep, it's going to be the lane to play around.
The Invade แบบมันๆเลยอะ
This composition is pretty
แฟนหน้ากดดันเยอะ แฟนเยอะปัญหาก็เยอะ แถมเมื่อวานโมไว้เยอะว่าเจอทีหนึ่งจะอย่างนู้นอย่างนี้ โดยเฉพาะคู่ล่างโดนยับความมั่นใจอาจจะหาย
as well as Yehu moving down towards the bottom lane as well, but does have to go back as the waves are going to be crashing in mid. And the dragon going to be started up here. TL
นี่
have
ซามิลาไป
on the table.
But again, it does
ไปส่องมา
he wanted to go into this top side to try and clear this top camps.
โดนนะโดนแฟนๆ KC เล็งแล้วนะ
to cover for that play. So Team Liquid going to be able to take dragon and then sweep through their own jungle up towards top side. So again, it's just value for the jungler Jose Diodo.
Exactly, and Jose is wielding an eclipse right now. So Yike being on little pieces,
ใช่ผมติดตามอย่างใกล้ชิ
you
ด
have no business going over there. That's
นี่มี
why
สายรายงาน
so
มา
focus on
And it's
jungle.
like the best dueling
โอ้
item
โห
to pick up first as well.
ไม่มีภาพเลยย้ายแบบ
And I was told earlier it was a full moon, so I don't know what an eclipse is
ไข่
here
แบบ
at all.
ป่าขาดอีกเยอะเลย
We're
อะ
gonna have to consult the analysts on that one.
8 กับ
they'll
1
need
อะ
to, they'll need to fill us in on what exactly that
เราจะ
meant,
มา
but it
ฆ่า
needs an explainer, 'cause that was
อ่อน
weird,
ข้างบนก็
to say the least. Okay, Yike going to be starting up this Krug camp, and that is going to be the last one. We'll see where he's going to be going next. True Shot Barrage going to be sent back towards Kalis. He doesn't want it, and so it is just going to be sailing around Runeterra once again. Yehu back in this mid lane, and I do feel like KC, this composition is just very happy to play this one slow. The slower this game goes, the better it is for the EU representative. And so right now, TL, I think the ball is in their court to get this one moving.
แต่ว่าคาริสครับผม
With an
เงินนำ
infernal
1,000
soul
นะ
this game, that is really going to help if they can keep stacking
มา
these
ดูว่าแก
roots.
จะแบ
I
กหรือ
think
เปล่า
Team
อะ
Liquid would really like to try and open up one of these
มี
side
ยา
lane
สุโอะ
terraces
อยู่
because
อะดิ
their
มัน
1-4
จะ
is pretty oppressive. Like once Quid gets a couple of items, it's going to be really difficult to
เฮ้
keep
ย
him in check. 'Cause
ได้ปะ
Lucio,
โอ้ล็อกขาไม่ได้แล้วแพนดิออนลงมาโอ้โหไปเลยฮะ
JJ from the sky, and where did Busio go?
บู
He
โซ
thought he
หายไป
was
เล
the
ย
one hiding here on the wall. He thought he was
ปรากฏว่าหวาด
the
ครับ
one laying the trap.
มี
Yeah,
หวาด
well, he
นะ
was definitely hiding, but then they found him.
Yeah.
All right.
Pantheon ultimate right over the top there instantly.
Beautifully played by KoJJ, though. He has been phenomenal this tournament and did
เสีย
not
เรื่อยๆตรงนี้
hesitate
ใหญ่ก็
for
โดน
1
อินเวดไป
second
เรื่อย
on that man drop. Okay, kind of looking for some harpoons, but does just get himself back
อุ้ย
over.
แล้วตรงนี้
And
โดน
Jose
ปะ
is
เนี่ย
going to follow him. There is the ram coming
แค่
through
หน้า
from
แฟด
Morgan as
ได้
well. They are on the
ไม่ได้แฟดค
equalizer,
รับ
but there's the knock up, and down goes the rumble. And TL, they must have been listening to the broadcast because we said they needed to keep
โอ้
going fast. Yike comes in to try and save
ทัน
the
หลอดนะผม
play as the encore is
อุ้ยได้
extended by Yike, and they should be able to get
สวยจัด
Morgan
บูโซ
for it. Really nicely done to get one back for KC.
Thank
ตรงนี้
God
ท่าน
we
หลอด
did,
อุต
because
ส่า
that
ห์
was
แฟดออกได้แล้วครับ
Liquid running away with a very big lead. They've been everywhere, but Busio's not safe.
Hold on. Hold on.
Jose doesn't have ult though, so it's,
He was just being annoying.
It's gonna be stops on backs. He can't kill him again quite yet. Don't worry.
But yeah, this has been Team Liquid playing so well around this early jungle lead for Jose Diodo and making sure they're just getting in the face, abusing the matchup, and making sure that KC don't really get to play it. Although Yehu,
he is looking a whole lot better. He is right on the edge of that stun as the exhaust
ต้อง
has to
exhaust
come
เลย
through
ว่ะ
here to avoid that frostbite from just killing
มา
this
แล้วว่ะ
Yasuo.
ลีซินมาแล้วว่ะ
Okay, KC now should be able to move down and
ลีซิน
do
มา
a
แล้ว
lot
ว่ะ
of
เฮ้ย
things
ช่วย
on the
ด้วย
great
โอ้โหชนะแต่แบบโดนลีซินเข้า
4 seconds away from his ult. 3, 2.
Who is going to miss as he looks for the safeguard? There's a mini stun, gets the knock up, so they
มีไข่ครับมี
pull
ไข่ครับ
the bird into the sky, take him down to the egg. The rest
ช่วย
of
ไม่ได้
KC trying to get over here. There's the double knock up from Quid, and Quid should be going down, but they get the bird first as Quid is then going to be executed. Busio over the wall, and I think it's just a 1-for-1.
Yeah, 1-for-1. Plus you count like maybe the passive egg.
จาก 1-1 อยู่กลายเป็นแบบ 4-4 what the fuck
Maybe 1.2 or something like that. But yeah, they do get that, and then investing the extra teleport. So they drew out the teleport from Kana here. KC using the extra summoner spell to get here in time and defend him.
yeah, and Jose plays this well. Gets the kick into the wall that sets up for Quid to be able to join. And even as this starts to play out, watch the knock-up coming through from Quid because Yike tries to go for the flag and drag, but it gets interrupted there perfectly by Quid. And even though he does end up falling down, that buys enough space to, 1, get the kill, 2, get the flash from Busio, and then able to back away.
Exactly. The extra summoner spells there invested by KC during the skirmish. We'll see about the next dragon. It's only a minute and 20 seconds away, and you know Team Liquid are going to set up again.
Yeah, and I think this is where KC really need to turn this game around. On that next dragon fight, if they deny that, it slows down TL so considerably. Adds an extra 10 minutes to a potential soul timer and gives you that extra space in order to get this composition online as they are on this Rift Herald already.
I wonder here for TL because Core does have his ulti. And Jose is here on 2 items, okay? This is Sundered Sky and Eclipse.
Yeah, and you mentioned KAI's ulti. Well, he is now going to be over a wall as Yahoo over to the side, not going to get picked up by that tornado. Is now Core realizing that he's in a lot of trouble, has to try and commit to this one. It is Rift Herald secured, and they'll trade that for their Pantheon as Morgan, a little bit late to this party, but sometimes it's better late than never, although maybe not this time. As TL just trying to get back towards their mid lane as Morgan just says, get out of the way wall, and he is going to be able to at least headbutt that one down. Now the Rams coming in, and maybe late is actually better than ever as they're in the cataclysm, but Yike is no longer there. He's been taken out first as Jose just trying to safeguard around the fight. Yeah, getting whatever he can.
คาริสแบกอยู่อุ้ยไม่ตายสะได้เอ้าได้เว้ย2 คน
I mean, he's so much money if they can get that kill, but they're unable to do so, but still KC getting some big kills back.
KC just about managed to turn it around, the 1 for 2, but Yahoo still here with Core JJ. Will just back away. Big win, even though they do lose the Rift Herald.
Yeah, it's all kind of domino effect from Core JJ's ultimate. Him going down early, putting kill at a numbers disadvantage. KC, they really do make them pay for it. Getting the extra kills here, the extra money back. They can push topside. The only drawback for KC is that Yike did go down, so they couldn't like rush over to Dragon. But also, he is back up now.
Kind of stuck around so long on that top side. That Team Liquid kind of in a position now to contest this because Morgan already coming out with Quid. I don't know if they do this quite fast, or maybe they do.
I mean, Jose is going to be able to put down the Rift Herald to try and help out. Could be a bit of a barrel situation here as they get the hook onto Yahoo. He's over his own wall, and it's actually not working out for him. And now the Rift Herald is going to invade the Dragon Pit. Yike has to get out of there. True Shot Barrage is not going to do anything at all. That's his teammate. As now Yahoo tries to get out, gets stabbed by Core JJ, and that is going to be Soul Point over to TL.
Oh, the party continues, Atlas.
This series is weird, boys.
What the fuck?
I don't know what to do.
You're right about the timing on the contest, though. Exactly. There we go. And they put down Rift Herald gets used so that they can go for this play, combo onto the Anivia, and then the DPS wasn't there on Dragon, so they're allowed to continue drive the Herald in.
ดีซินแม่งแบกจัดเลยวะโจเซ่อะไรเนี่ยแม่งโคตรแบกอะ
And now is Shelly going to get a double charge? So she invades the Dragon Pit, charges the bottom turret, and then gets another one on the inner. That is the most overworked Shelly I've seen in my career.
Or a great holiday package deal that she's managed to get on that one.
The scenic route a lot of travel. Yeah.
Well, she was like, well, Core JJ died for me, so, you know, I'm really going to make you guys feel worth it.
I'm more of a resort tourist. You know, I like to go to one place and have a good time. This was definitely a lot more moving around than I was ready for. But Shelly might like it.
Like KC just don't really have the damage. Khan is super late because he went to push in topside, and Yahoo walks up way too far. Jose with a great call there to just kick him again, set up for Quid. Now he does a good job escaping, but you've now got the rest of Team Liquid that can just get into the pit, push KC away, and it's just an easy Dragon setup with Yahoo eventually getting caught.
ขอประกาศตัวเป็น KCSATER ครับ
SAFETECH at a moment's notice based on Core JJ just falling on people from the sky.
But it also feels like a very different form from KC that we saw domestically. Like team fights were their bread and butter as Yike now.
Yeah, Quid in a little bit of trouble in the side lane, but now Core is coming from the sky yet again. He does get charmed up, and now Jose making his way in. It's kind of turns up though. There's the ulti from Quid. It takes down Yike. These shields are working out so beautifully, but they take out the Yasuo in immediate trade. And then Core taxis his way to Yahoo and keeps himself alive. What the hell? Core's playing the best series of his life.
So is Jose, baby. I mean, honestly, nah, it's just a regular Lee Sin game from our boy.
Yeah, exactly right. He's going to find Busio here. And
Lee Sin แม่งไล่กระทืบหมดเลย
in 2017. That was a pretty good series as well. But I like recent memory. My God, he's playing so well.
ย้ายขัง2แต่ว่าไม่มีอันติแอนิเวียมาทำดาเมจ
I'm not a fan.
ดูดาวอยู่
Yeah. Hey. We're setting up for the reverse sweep. It's okay. As this looked really good for KC to start things off. Catching Yasuo's in side lanes, it's a tale as old as time.
I mean, this TL, they have
ขัง
really
2
been
เนี่ยอันติแบบ
thriving in these
ไม่ได้ไม่มี
services,
แล้วพอตรงนี้มีอันติไปอันติใส่ลีซินที่แบบโดดอยู่แล้วอะแล้วมันก็ไม่มีอันติมีตอนหลังก็คือ
Jose is so far ahead. He's king on the rift.
แทบไม่ได้ไล่อันติ
He's still able to like flash and it's done.
He was on 20 health like the whole team fight.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just the fact that Team Liquid, again, are in such a good position to rotate towards these plays. They have the TP, they had that push in mid, and they just can't keep up. Oh my god, that is horrific.
That is so cursed. I love it.
ตัดหน้า
Jungle diff boys.
I would say so. I think he's pretty legendary. And I mean, Jose is as a ladder player in general. But yeah, he's 8-0-3. This Lee Sin is just a monster.
But it does, again, I was kind of starting it before we got the pick, was that it doesn't feel like the KC, really. But yeah, I mean, this is not the style that I'd be looking at.
Yeah, and the Coinbase gold grind, not something that Dagda wants to talk about, but Jose very, very far ahead, 3.6K. And yeah, it's basically, if you're going to look at where the money's coming in from, let's just go with everywhere. Yike now in a lot of trouble as they've really been able to hold him down this game. Out of turret, now being sieged down, and they haven't done a whole lot of work as far as opening up the map through mid is concerned, and the wave clear is still going to be there in spades here for KC. As KAIJ moves to number 11 as far as assists, and I think it's the time to have a giant KAIJ screen.
Honestly, too,
ช่างแม่งแล้วไม่ได้เชียร์แล้ว
possibility for the comeback because it's super difficult, as you're mentioning, to work into the Mel Reflect and the Yasuo wall as well. So
it feels like the old
twist that knife
Yasuo combo.
Like, how much more torque can you get in that knife? You know? Yeah.
Well, no, we don't have the Dragon Soul yet, Dagda.
Oh, True Shot Barrage as Yon just launches himself towards KC.
มันตี5ด้วยแหละมันแบบไม่ไหว
Okay, Sonic Wave from the darkness here as Jose is very, very scary, but they think that they might have caught him here as the Ram comes on through. They're looking for Kalist. Quid's going to find him in that backline, but immediately gets exhausted, taken out as Jose gets a kickback onto Yike, but it doesn't really do anything at all. Equalizer now going to come on through as KAIJ going down lower and lower. The double snap from Yon is good, but they are out of teammates. Triple knock up from Morgan, he flashes over the wall, and he's still going to die as TL. I don't think you're fighting for this.
หรือเปล่า
It's just
อย่าง
because
นั้นโจ
the
เซ่ยัง
ultimate did
ยัง
not
มี
hit
โมเม
Kalist
น
there.
ต์
He
แย่ง
didn't
ได้
get
แต่
the
ว่าปล่อย
knock
ดีกว่า
up for Quid, and I've cursed them.
ได้ว่ะ
You've taken that knife out and stabbed him in the
Yasuo
back.
power
And I'm
supply
okay
แล้ว
with
พี่บอกเลย
that. Because KC managing to find that little bit of fight with Kalist, even getting that good flash away from Quid there in the midst of us, setting up for it. And now there's a lot of gold that they can pick up on the map. So this gold lead starting to dwindle for Team Liquid now.
Yeah, and it was only really 2,000 anyway, right? Like, that is not a ridiculous snowball or anything like that. Let's have a look at how this one was attempted to be set up here as they are so split, TL.
Yeah, so Core actually goes for Busio, but then, yeah, the Ornn ultimate not getting the knock up here towards Kalist means Quid gets deleted. And the Yasuo immediately out of the fight means they're not really going to be able to salvage this for Team Liquid. So then they're just trying to run everybody for themselves at this moment.
Yeah, and there you can see, just even with the lockup, Morgan trying to play frontline for Team Liquid still gets caught out at the end. So it is something back and a little bit of time ball for KC. And you can still, like, the main focus for KC is Kalist. He's the one with a 2,000 gold lead in that bottom side. 3 items now in the Ezreal. If he is able to play his game, he's in a great spot. And that's why Team Liquid coming into that fight were trying to focus him down, just couldn't make it happen. So we need Kalist once more to kind of step up and try and play just on a knife's edge to keep himself safe, yet take down Team Liquid.
รวยมากนะ
Not get kicked. That's
ดูว่าน้องแกจะ
the
แบ
main
กหรือ
thing,
เปล่า
and that is precisely what he managed to do in that last fight. We saw how much better that went for him. As Jose looking for a bit of an angle here. Kalist very capable of just clearing out these minion waves over and over, and that outer turret just seems like a thorn in the side of TL, unable to really open up the map. And another 3 minutes until another chance at that Infernal Soul for Team Liquid. And I think it's going to be really important to get themselves on it. 24 minutes, and so the Baron up and available as well. Going to be a difficult objective to go for because, I mean, unless Morgan tanks it up, it's a little bit difficult for both teams to tank that particular objective this early in the game.
Yeah, Morgan's starting to upgrade people's Ornn items as well, hand out the extra value there just in time for these big objectives. And Team Liquid taking the other side of the map right now, wrapping around. All right, they do have a Pantheon ultimate ready again, so you have to be careful about overextending inside lanes. Kana rightfully pulls back while the rest of the team is getting Baron vision.
But look at the amount of vision that is there for Team Liquid. The observers just highlighted it. They kind of know exactly where everyone is. If they walk through the enemy or their own jungle on KC's side.
แต่ว่าอยากเคลียร์ข้างล่างก่อน
Being forced away here.
Yep, Quid in range of Jose. That is going to be the main thing here. Anytime he gets that Dragon Rage kick option, as now we've got Morgan making his way in as well. Jose getting himself out. The wall is avoided. by TL quite nicely, and Yon getting some alone time with the turret.
ตะกี้ล็อกขา2ตัวแต่ยังไม่อยาก
They
สู้
desperately want to grab that. Only one plate left remaining here as Morgan possibly caught out. Does searingly charge his way out, but has to take the red carpet as Canna lays that one down. No flash available here for this on, and he has to try and turn and make something happen.
Morgan ท่านหลอดตายเฉยเลยตรงนี้
Ship forward. Canna's the one that locks down the kill in the end. That is kill score evened out. TL's gold lead down to 600. This game is anyone's right now.
Yeah, but what more can KC
เหลือเงิน
get?
ตามแค่700 KC.
The bottom side. They want to try and get some of the standing gold. Quaid pushes out top, so there isn't an option for 2 of the turrets, but still, as you say, like this is getting incredibly close now. Just a small few mistakes from Team Liquid starting to cost them.
Yeah, really good pick right there. Turning on Morgan as he's trying to rotate over to the rest of the team. KC collecting more and more gold, making me more and more nervous. Caught also level 16 here with an arm guard.
He is very scary, making a lot of money as well with that first strike, as we can see, moving to about 1.4k ahead just himself. Obviously, Morgan can have a lot of value just in general, but this Rumble needs money to be effective, and Canna definitely has it at this point in time. Kalist parking himself in this mid lane once again, and it's still just frustrating for TL to get any sort of damage onto that outer turret. Back out onto the map, though, is Morgan.
50 seconds until Dragon, though. You can see they're trying to put Yehu in that top side, so then he can hit that level 16, just barely away from us. And if you can get that before this next Dragon, that could be huge for KC, as already you're starting to see them push in mid. They want to set up for vision control around the area.
Yeah, well, that is going to be a nice little rebuttal there for Yon to avoid a bit of the damage.
RJJ and Jose were there. That was a risky arcane shift forward.
Yasuo 155 แล้ว
but there is little
อีก2 ตัว
vision for
power
KC
supply
in the
แล้ว
Dragon area.
Yeah, teleport in from
17 เมื่อไหร่
Morgan. He
มา
does
แน่
not
นอน
want to risk this. Wants to make sure that he is there for the setup. 15 seconds to go as
ขนาดโปรเพลเยอร์เล่นดูลำโหดแล้วยังแบบสกอร์แม่งยังมีอยู่เลย
That is going to be the dash
โอ้
cannon
โห
forward. Equalizer fantastic from
แคนน่า
Canna with
ล็อกเก็ต
limited
เบลรถไล่เลย
vision. And now the cataclysm comes in, but that
สวยไหมเนี่ย
encore only onto one.
คอเจเจตายก็ยังไม่คุมไม่ย้ายตายนะ
He's going to be taken out first.
แล้วคอเจเจไม่ตายด้วย
surviving. And now he can actually get himself back towards his fight after a reset.
ชี้หายแล้วถ้าเขารีกรุ๊ปมา
at the forefront of anyone's mind just yet with Yike
พยา
going
ยามเล่นนะ
down.
นี้
Incredibly close attempt there from KC. They went for it because they saw Quid on the bottom wave, but they just barely can't finish the kill.
But now they have no jungler, so KC kind of have to hard force this, or it's sold for Team Liquid. They're trying to buy time, but how do you engage? You use so much to try and get Core JJ.
ไม่มีแล้วอันนี้ไม่มีแบบอีโควอไลเซอร์แต่ใกล้มาแล้วนะอีกนิดนึง
And
แต่ไม่น่าทัน
KC,
ว่ะ
4 versus 5, they know that they need to try and deny this as Morgan's moving in. Doesn't have the on-horn at the moment, but they realize they're just not going to be able to win, so they have to give up Infernal Soul to TL, and they move back into the driver's seat.
Infernal Soul, more burst damage here to Team Liquid with their combos. I mean, honestly, that was just a slight bit overreach there into the jungle.
แทบจะไม่เคยเห็นใน LCK เลยการที่แบบไม่ได้ยึดพุ่มแล้วพุ่งเข้าไปแบบนั้นไม่เห็นวิชั่นเลยแบบตาบอดเล่น
And that's Team Liquid, the MasterCard priceless moment now with that Infernal Soul picked up, which makes things so much more difficult. Yon's poke gonna be so obnoxious to deal with. And KC kind of have to go back to the drawing board, figure out how they're going to try and play this, because things also went wrong for Team Liquid in that fight, with Morgan not connecting with the ultimate. Like, there was a lot that actually went well for KC, but that's not always going to be the case, especially as you start to see these later levels.
ดู
Now Yahoo could be in a little bit of trouble, but Morgan doesn't quite find the knockups. Yon going to
แต่
get
ว่า
attacked
ช็อต
by
นี้
Yike.
ยอนตายครับ
Goes down,
ไม่
and
มี
that
แฟ
is
ด
going
แล้
to
ว
be
โอ้
enough to deal with this
ยก
now. Yahoo
2
goes
แต่
gold,
ว่า
they're gonna keep
ได้ไหม
him alive.
คาริส
Look at these
ยังไม่ตาย
health
คาริส
This Infernal
คาราเม
Soul
จอยู่
is
แต่
doing
มาหน้า
well
คาริส
with
คือหมด
Jose.
แล้ว
He's gonna be able to follow
กดยังไงก็ยัง
Canada
สู้
on that one.
โอ้
He's still
คอยเจ
legendary,
ตาย
but he's
ฆ่า
not
คาริส
fighting
ไม่ได้
anymore. Now Quid dashing
ยา
out
สุ
to Yike will be able to help Morgan grab that kill, and Busio and Kalist find themselves the last man standing.
There's no focus. That was a scramble. Everybody for themselves.
Never mind. Yeah, who gets himself out somehow?
Everybody was fighting their own brawls on different sides of this one.
It was absolute bedlam. I thought Kalista was going to go down, but Jose Diodo went the opposite direction. Team Liquid, though, still with the bigger health bars, are going to get this
แล้วยา
mid
สุโอ
lane
ลำอย่าง
turn
ตึง
in.
ไม่ได้ฆ่าใครเลยผม 157 นะสกอร์มันมีมต
Okay,
ลอด
so we knew it was 11-11 to begin things off. That was only a 1 kill advantage here for TL. Things still exceptionally close. Let's check it out again.
Yeah, because you can see as it all starts off, like you end up getting the pick on towards Yon, which is all that KC are focused on here. They need to go in with Kana's ultimate as well. The ult from Morgan ends up connecting to Yehu and Kana, which sets up then for Quid to go in. But watch now as this goes through, because Busio hits onto Quid. JJ flashes onto Kalist. Instead, Jose Diodo turns onto Kana. Kalist manages to stay up in the middle of this fight, who then kills JJ. Jose Diodo finishes off the low health Kana on the bottom side, and this is where it starts to get a little bit better. Like as Kobe was saying, there's so many different scraps, there's no real focus. So there's low health bars all over the place.
KC อาจจะไม่สนแล้วแบบเอาเอลเดอร์เลย
It was crazy. It was like the beginning of the Hunger Games or something like that. They're all just sprinting out of the house. But in the end, it works out relatively well for TL. Honestly, this is still anyone's game. Even with an Infernal Soul, we've seen a Soul lose. I believe it was TL. So far in MSI. So KC, still some options, especially with a composition like this.
So much of KC's upfront damage, though, is like, hey, we pick one target, burst them down with this hot pot combo. You now have the Seeker's Arm Guard on Yon. You have GA on Jose Diodo. And I don't think you're getting through Morgan quite as easily as you'd expect. So really the targets for this combo are starting to disappear. So I think this is where it starts to get a little difficult now for KC with the comp.
Big thing for me though was that Busio did get a really good ultimate. He got the Yasuo at least. You know, I thought it was going to be very hard for him to be able to get a good ultimate off with wind walls, with no reflect going around. But they've still been able to find very good effectiveness.
ดีนะแกไม่โดดอาเคนชิมเข้าไปเมื่อกี้ถ้าแกอาเคนชิมเข้าไปเมื่อกี้นะเจอลีซินแม่งปักกวาดกัดเตะแน่นอน
Going to usher that minion wave over as well. It's now KC looking for a fight. There's another Cataclysm on to Yon, taking a lot of damage here. Does manage to go golden as Kana does exactly the same thing. Kalist gets turned on by Jose. There is the knock-up and Quid is able to take him down. Yon's still alive somehow as Yike is going to get taken down to the GA. And he should be removed as well as Morgan. Gigantic health bar thanks to that new belt that he just purchased. And it's a double for Jose. My God, this guy's Lee Sin was already famous. It's going to be more famous after this one.
And he deserves it. Okay, they're going to be able to pick up the Baron while we do this replay. But Dagda, it's crazy again. Look, Anivia on your mini-map is walking from base right now. And KC decides to full set. But Morgan is also running to this fight too. Trying to get there immediately.
ถ้าแคนนาเมมในการอีควอไลเซอร์สักนิดเดียวอ่ะขอแค่แบบว่ามันโดนทุกตำแหน่งของในวงของแอนตี้ของ J4 มันจะจบเลยยอน
And I think this fight just
everything
in the kitchen sink used towards Yon, but we just highlighted like the Seeker's Arm Guard able to buy so much time, and if you can't finish off that play, Kalist has to overextend to try and help out Yike. And it's just not it.
Yeah, I just loved watching Dagda while you were taking us through the replay. Dagda's just pointing at the minimap, just sort of losing his mind off to the side.
But
as, who wasn't
there?
But the thing is, like, this isn't the KC we saw domestically. Like, they wouldn't like panic engage or overextend. They play slow and play for like, clean fights. This hasn't been what we've seen this series at all.
Well, they're going in.
Quid getting a lot of value out of that wind wall here as they look to dive on top of the Yasuo. Gets 3 with the ult. He kills 1 with it. Holds up the other 2 as Yike is traded for the lead. Gets out of the way of the ult, but great stopwatch there from Yehu. He's still dead. He's still exceptionally dead. Turned into a fried egg in the mid lane, and Kana just has to turn tail and run. 30 seconds on the Elder, and most of KC are dead.
At the end of the day, it's Jose Diodo Lee Sin, man. 12-0 Lee Sin.
He's 18 out of 20 kill participation, and over 50% of the kills are his, and he's playing Lee Sin. It's 35 minutes into the game, and TL think that is a good time to finish this one off. The inhibitor going to go down first. Jose is going to land onto Kalist and take most of his health bar. Oh man, this looks like a solo queue game. Like, I'm used to Lee Sin's doing this much damage, not in pro play.
I love that we keep getting the player cam for Jose because he is just laughing and smiling. Like, he is
best
having,
day ever.
Out of all 10 players, he is the one having the most fun for sure. And it's not
ย้ายต้อง
close.
ทำให้ได้อันนี้แต่ว่าน่าจะโดนดักแล้วหน้าตา
jumped on.
Okay, so Elder, the great equalizer, guys. Is this
They're in the
going to
bush. We'll see whether it is going to be a good equalizer. I don't think it is because Kana is already dead. TL TL looking for the turn. Yon is like, well, I'm just going to kill this dragon. If you guys are going to take down the enemy top laner, you've got this one 4v4 as Yon is going to, KAIJ dives forward. They take down Yahoo. The Ram is more of a celebration here from Lord Morgan as KC will just be escorted back to their base. And now TL, they have a big old buff to work with as they look to just march their way into this mid lane.
Jose Deodo is 2 kills away from the most kills ever in an MSI game, so he can get Kalista Busio. There's
I see 3 kills right there.
4 junglers, I'm pretty sure, because I think that number might be higher if we include 80 carries in the equation. But now we've got these Nexus turrets under fire. Quid looking for an angle towards Yai, because he is so close to execution threshold. KAIJ wanting to try and take them down as Jose is in that base just trying to get a few extra kills. And Yanni's got the rebuttal to make sure they can do nothing about this as TL moving to match point over KC here at the MSI play-ins.
Jose Deodo, Lee Sin. Honestly, he also saved me. I think they would have taken me to prison if they lost that part. After I had said that. So, wow, these fights are also just so chaotic, such a scramble.
Look at these TL players, by the way. Like, the vibes could not be better as they walk off stage. This is going to be a tough one for KC to turn around from. And now we can talk to the gentleman over there on the desk about how this one's going. Dracus, you okay?
No, enough of that. Join me. Jose, 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 Jose,
Bro, it's not the first time Europe has been bodied this hard by an Argentinian, but it is the first time in League of Legends that this has happened. This was the most 1v9 performance in an EU versus NA matchup I have ever seen.
It's crazy. I mean, he was almost 5,000 ahead individually while his team is up like 2.5K. Right? Like, this was an absolutely outstanding performance, and he needed every bit of that for his team to win. But I have got to say, KC, where is your preparation in draft? When we were seeing this let through in draft, I was saying to Dracos the whole time, well, this is Jose's by far his best champion. It's completely permabanned. He has a 100% win rate on it in NA. No one lets it through because it's free win for TL. Surely they have some sort of counterpick, some sort of answer, some sort of strategy. And then they're just like, no, I guess we just don't care.
And you know, we saw them take a similar risk against T1 when they left Carrier's Bard, which domestically has been very consistently banned away, 100% win rate. They do the same here, but I feel like the strategy to deal with it wasn't there. They didn't have that ability to shut him down. They didn't have picks like the Rek'Sai, which they banned. The Poppy was banned, and he just ran rampant in this game.
And guys, I'm so happy that Jose Deodo got to do this, even if I'm really sad. But I'm also incredibly pissed off with KC, because it's not hidden information. If you look at the numbers, if they've ever watched a single one of your broadcasts, if they've ever listened to a single one of your podcasts, spoken to anyone who's met Jose personally, or just, you know, watched a game of League of Legends, you would know that this is a big problem if it goes through. And the worst part, the icing on this very shit cake, is that they started a 2v2 skirmish in mid-jungle that started the snowball. That was them who started. That was KC. That was Yike who EQ'd in to Elysian, who's so much better.
With Yasuo closer playing Exhaust.
Exactly. And there is a world. If Yasuo had recalled, if you're up a man advantage where Jose Deodo might have looked foolish, that is not this world. That is not this timeline. That was...
Honestly, I think even if they just watched the World Cup, they would have expected this level of kicks from an Argentinian and banned it away, but, you know, bit of disrespect.
Has anyone ever seen Messi and Jose in the same room at the same time?
I haven't, so there we go.
Me personally, I have not.
Look, I'm going to be honest. It's hard to be optimistic right now about KC, but I think we do need to talk about it because right now it really feels like TL are running away with this series, no doubt 2-0 up, but this game was even less close than the first game, even more dominant, and I'm wondering if KC are just going to fall apart because, frankly, this has been far too sloppy, far too inconsistent, I think, for any fan, pundit, or analyst to feel really confident predicting KC in Game 3.
I mean, it is kind of crazy when you even look at the damage at the end. Yeah, he wasn't really able to do much in the fights. I did think that Kana had a much better game than on the Vayne.
Agreed.
I think that Kalist played a pretty darn good Ezreal game, but you can't allow someone on the other team to get this far ahead and expect them to be able to make up for it.
And, you know, I feel like Yon had a better performance here on the Mel. He was the person I was most concerned about because the tournament so far has been a bit rough, and you're into Jarvan Rumble, as an immobile pick, but a lot of times when he was a focus, able to get that damage out, able to buy time for the team and allow them to turn it around, it feels like the preparation, we saw it against T1 from TL, has been better, and they're demonstrating that again here.
So Dracos, they're down 2-0, what do they do?
This is the hard part, right? Because I wish I could tell you there's one player who's been a shining light throughout the entire series, but it's just not the case. I think every single member of KC has blundered, has fumbled. So I will say that I believe that the players on this team are good enough. I believe all 5 of them have shown the potential to carry. None of them have done it yet. So I won't pick a single lane, but I will say that one player on KC has to rise to the challenge because thus far, none of them have.
I agree. I mean, it's step up right now or go home 0-3 to TL. Game 3 coming at you right after the break.
I'm gonna fight. I have ulti. I have ulti. I have ulti Ben. I'm ulti Ben.
Fight it top. I'm coming. Set up in top 2. Let's fight.
Oh, rumble tip. Slow. 5 seconds.
I'm coming slow as well. Jarvan ulti. Anivia maybe? Anivia? What?
I'm coming as well. Azure not here.
Jarvan no flash.
I'm first. Coming. Rumble no flash as well. 나왔어.
We win this.
Nice job. Wait. Huh? We won.
TL moving to match point over KC here at the MSI play-ins.
The human body was built to move, not trapped at a desk in one singular posture for 12 hours a day. It's time your chair evolved. This is Secret Lab Titan Evo. Ergonomically engineered for you, gamers, hybrid workers, artists, backing your every move.
Times like this are where star players shine and new legends step up, where legacies are built and dreams are either realized or ripped apart. He still doesn't die! You cannot step the faker and expect to live to talk about tomorrow! He dropped it well with the arcade storm, doing so much work in GG! They are just going to ace them!
Tired of the off-season blues once Worlds is over? Fear not, because League of Legends is coming to the very first Esports Nations Cup, where players split from their clubs and compete for national pride. Will China test every limit imaginable? Will South Korea turn every game into a macro masterclass? Will EU and NA actually play in the correct lanes? The final event of the year is not to be missed. Esports Nations Cup 2026. See you in Riyadh.
I told you I was done with basic browsers.
Your setup wants Opera GX, and you're holding it back.
อาจจะรีเวิร์สสวิปก็ได้ดูตรงแคตี
Upgrade to the gaming browser. Download Opera GX.
Red Bull gives you wings.
With my new phone company, Menace Mobile, our pricing structure will be so confusing, it can only be described as evil.
That isn't evil. It's just typical phone company stuff. Besides, people just switch to Verizon.
With their new Simplicity plan, there's just one plan and one price.
What now?
And it's only $30 for a single line.
$30! So you're all choosing Verizon. Traitors!
Introducing the
เขาชอบเรื่องนี้เลยโคตรฮาเรื่องเนี้ยคือแม่งฮาแบบสุดจริงคนคิดก็คิดได้เนาะไอ้เรื่องเนี้ย
อันนี้ใช้หลอดกินน้ำใช้ปากนะแก้วนี้
อ๋อ
ช้อนงัดเนี่ยเขาห่อไม่ถึงอ่ะ
พี่เจไอฟุตบอลโลกอะทีมอุรุกวัยอะพี่เจมันตกรอบใช่ป่ะแล้วตอนแรกอะทีมชาติอุรุกวัยเขาจะแบบมีเครื่องบินเจ็ตมารับนักแข่งนักเตะกลับใช่ป่ะพอแพ้ตกรอบปุ๊บแม่งสั่งให้แบบเครื่องบินเจ็ตไม่ต้องมารับแล้วให้นักแข่งนักเตะซื้อตั๋วเครื่องบินกลับบ้านเอง
เอ้าทำไมทำอย่างนี้
ไม่โหดจัดคือเหมือนว่างุนหงิดมากอะโค้ชคืองุนหงิดแบบว่านักเตะแบบว่านักเตะไม่ต้องนั่งอีโคโนมี่กลับบ้านอ่ะทิ้งกลับเองเฉยอ่ะไอ้เชี่ยคือแม่งโหดจัดอ่ะเมินอะไรอ่ะอะไรเหรอพี่ซื้ออะไรให้วันเกิดพ่อดีไม่เกิน500เอาจริงจากที่ซื้อของให้แม่พี่นะที่ประสบความสำเร็จมากสุดมันคืออะไรพี่เจนนั้นอะไอที่พวงมาลัยอ่ะที่เป็นแบบผ้าร้านไหนวะ
ผ้าคลุมไหล่เธอไม่ไปซื้อเธอรู้ยังไงเขาซื้อ
อันเนี้ยได้ไหมอ่ะแต่ว่ามันอาจจะ
เขาให้พ่อ
ก็ให้พ่อไงเป็นไรอ่ะ
อันนี้คือเขาให้แกะออกมาไว้เป็นผ้าคลุมไหล่ของผู้หญิงไม่ได้ตั้งโชว์
ก็ใช่แต่ว่ามันก็ต้องมีผ้าแบบ
สำหรับเขาว่าเ
สื้อได้ไหมถ้าเป็นผู้ชายมันถ้าเป็นพ่อเนาะแต่เสื้อเนี้ยแบบ
เสื้อสมมติว่าพ่อชอบใส่เสื้อเชิ้ตสีขาวอย่างเงี้ยเราก็ซื้อซักแบบของรีวายหรืออะไรแบบเนี้ยเสื้อเชิ้ตสีขาวอะไรเงี้ยตัวใหม่
แต่ในแม่พี่ชอบมากเลยแม่พี่บอกว่าเวลาแม่พี่ไปแบบต่างประเทศหรือแบบไปที่หนาวๆเขาจะเอาผ้าพันคอนี่ไปแล้วก็จะเรียกว่าผ้าพันคอเจตลอดเวลาเลย
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. MSI 2026. We are hot dropping straight into Champion Select here as we get into game number 3. As KC trying to find it, try to figure it out to bring themselves back into this series and possibly get themselves a reverse sweep. But their backs could not be closer to the wall.
Well, luckily for them.
แต่พี่ไม่ค่อยชอบพี่รู้สึกว่าดอกไม้มันดอกไม้ไม่เหมาะกับพ่ออะไรเค้กบางทีพ่อก็ไม่ค่อยอยากกินถ้าเป็นเสื้อผ้าแบบอะไรที่พ่อใส่แล้วแบบว่าซื้อไปแล้วแกได้ใส่นะแกน่าชอบเพราะผู้ชายแบบบางทีจะไม่ค่อยไปชอบไปซื้อเสื้อผ้าแต่ว่าก็ใส่นะรีเจนซี่อะไรอย่างงี้ได้ไหมอันนั้นก็จริงๆก็
because you're kind of hitting on towards like the comforts that are being taken away for Team Liquid but a lot of those comforts are gone for KC as well right like the top lane, the rumble been taken away. The Vayne was even a
เครื่อง
big
นวด
hit for
500 ไม่น่า
Ghana
มีกว่าเทคนิค
domestically. The
พี่ว่าเสื้อผ้า
Lucio's
ได้อยู่
champion pool has been whittled down as well.
เครื่อง
So
หอม
I
บา
am
งทีพ่อไม่
curious
ชอบ
what
ก็
the
เพื่อ
plan
กลิ่
is
นหอ
going
ม
to
บาง
be
ทีแบบ
here. As Jin was not the high priority that I was expecting.
I was thinking about Jin, but not positively.
I
Varus
was
going to be the
gonna
choice
say, I
instead.
haven't been a fan of Varus after the nerfs.
Yes,
but
and
the team still are. So they're going to take it away. And Yon himself has
He had a good game on it, right? They played the only lethality Varus that we've had so far this season, this tournament, and did pick up a victory.
KC ตัดสินใจเอาวาลัสมาครับผม รอบที่แล้วเละตุ้มเป๊ะเลยนะ
Yeah, maybe it's just the Zin's out here, and you just try and look for a push on bot lane into play towards the Zin's out.
Oh,
Okay.
what about an immediate Silas pickup?
I mean, honestly, the Silas buffs I thought were really crazy. I've been waiting for Silas to come out either in mid or in jungle.
I mean, Silas into Alistar is just so good.
Yeah. The Alistar, though, was one of Busio's pick from the first place that he was exceptionally good on and was able to make a lot of plays on
น่า
the
จะโดนแผน
so
โยนเหล็ก
trying
อีกรอบ
to
ป่ะ
find an answer into
ที่
the
จีวัน
Nautilus
ใช้
makes sense as well because you hook him with the
เล่นเน็ก
Nautilus
ว่ะ
you get the pulverize
เฮ้ย
disrupt
ไม่มีลิซินแล้วนะ
your pick
There it is.
ไม่มีลิซินไม่มี
Is Crocodile,
น็อกเทิล
and I am a very happy
ไม่
man.
มี
Senna is
J4
gonna be
อย่างนี้
holding
วาลัสท็อปแน่นอน
4 quid for the moment. They will lock that one down. So Senna
ยังไงก็
not
เล่น
as
ครับ
powerful
แคน
as
นา
she was the patch
เกาหลี
prior,
ด้วยยังไงก็
still
วาลัส
able
แน่
to
นอน
get work done in the later stages with a whole bunch of extra range.
Yeah, and honestly, should still be able to stack
แล้วเลนล่างก็เอาตัวแบบ
Alistar pretty nicely with the double melee support matchup for bottom lane. So
จินได้
even
ป่ะ
though the kill drop percent chance for the souls was nerfed, still
โอ้ my god
off melee champs.
And Sion was tapped on this patch.
อย่าเอาไซออนไม่เอาอย่าไซออน
We have seen Renekton's have a better time in this matchup so far this
อย่าเอา
tournament.
ไซออน
Kana still going to go towards that one, try and nullify the Crocodile out of Morgan. I think Doran was the one that tried to do this against Morgan and really failed to do so, even though they did win the game.
Yeah, Morgan did solo kill him. Looking good. Morgan
เฮ้ยแต่ว่าไซออนมิดยังมีอยู่นี่ว่ะ
this tournament. And at
แต่
the
ถ้า
end
จะ
of
เอา
the
ไซออน
playoffs
มิด
as well,
พี่
so
ไม่คุ้มอะ
definitely worth the confidence there. Now
วาลัส
let's
มันแบบ
look towards mid and jungle.
แต่เขาคงแบบไม่อยากเอาวาลัสท็อป
Trying
มั
to
น
get down to it. I always think that Trundle is just so OP versus a Sion team. Not only because the ult, but also the pillar is so good. Okay,
แต่ว่าเห็นเวรเกมแรกแล้วแบบ
That is very good ban.
เหมือนโค้ชให้โอกาสเป็นคนชั่วแค่รอบเดียวอะถ้าชั่วทำชั่วขึ้นก็ไปต่อแต่ถ้าทำชั่วไม่ขึ้นก็ข้ามเลย
And then since Trundle is banned, you mentioned Zin. Zin is now higher
เห็
priority.
นแคนน่าแต่ไม่ค่อยชอบเล่นอะไรอย่างงี้ป่ะ
Away there too. So
อุ้ยแต่ว่า
maybe we raise the
ถ้าแคนน่าเข้าวงการ
We also have seen things
ADC
like
ท็อปแล้วแคนน่าจะ
We've seen that have been working
ถ้า
very
ติด
well,
ใจมัน
especially just do
มันหลุด
want
ออก
this
ไม่ได้นะ
line for KC.
ขนาดหมูเตะ
And then
นี่
you always
คือ
have the option to try and leave
กลายเป็นแบบ
pick for Yehu as this goes on. Maybe
คนบาปแห่งชาติแล้ว
already with the Siren and the Alistar. How much beef is
แก
too
มี
much
เล่นเว
beef?
รแต่เล่นไปแค่
I mean,
3
you
เก
got
ม
a cow, so there's a lot of beef.
Yeah, they can probably play whatever they like. And the other thing
นายยังไม่ถือว่า
is,
บาป
like,
เท่าไหร่
the
นาย
counter
ยัง
we've seen
อยู่ใน
in
ระดับที่แบบ
Zao of old is the
บาปไม่เยอะ
Kha'Zix that we've seen already
บาปเยอะจะเป็น ADC เยอะ
That's not a tank. That does the damage. The Silas going to be banned away as well. It's KC. They're not allowed to listen to the broadcast, so that is just their choice. And not going to deny me what I wanted. Okay, one last ban hit to come through here from TL. See whether they focus on Yehu again or whether it is going to be something else.
There's going to be a lot of bans gone towards the mid lane, or a lot of champions gone from the mid lane. I'm curious what the plan is. I mean, Hui did get buffed. I've kind of been a little surprised that we haven't seen it more of him. I mean, that'll definitely be something for like Cream for top esports later
ก็ดูความ
on.
เรียบร้อยไปเดี๋ยว
I thought teams might try and look towards it. Just going to be the Talia instead.
All right. Going to be making Morgan's life a little bit more difficult. Can certainly get some work done into the Nautilus there as well.
So they need point and click CC to go with their Talia to set it up for jungle.
หนึ่งก็อิ่มแล้ว
But Pantheon was already played. So Vi anybody? We're banned already. So
แต่ใจมากเลย
I don't know. Gets kind of difficult there.
It's looking a little murky.
อุ้ยเชวาน่าครับผม
KC side, but I like it for the TL side here to go for a Shyvana angle when you do already have a bottom lane. This is a very similar carry jungle. When you have Senna Nautilus, having carry jungle is really powerful.
วาลัสบอกคาริสก็บอกมึงเอาไปเล่นได้ปะแคนน่ากูไม่อยากเล่นแล้วว่ะคือ
True damage for the Alistar as well, actually.
ทรงนี้นี่คือโอลาฟพุ่งเข้ามาพร้อมกับเซนน่านี่แม่ง อ๋อเดี๋ยวไม่มีเวทจริงเหรอมันเป็นไปได้เหรอคุณผู้ชมไม่มีทางเกิดขึ้นไม่มีเวทกัดโอเคถ้าไม่มีเวทนี่นั่นไงไซออนกลางคุณผู้ชมไม่น่าใช่มันทาริยามาแล้วทาริยาปากก็แย่แล้วใหญ่ครับผมเล่นตัวที่เมื่อก่อนเป็นเมนนะกับคุยาน่าครับเมนคุยาน่าใหญ่แล้วก็เล่นเลนกลางแต่เพราะว่าไปอยู่ G2 แล้วแคปสั่งให้แบบไปเล่นป่าซะก็เลยย้ายครับไปเล่นป่าตามที่แคปบอกเลยตั้งชื่อว่าย้ายเป็นการบ่งบอกว่าย้ายจากเลนกลางมาเป็นป่าย้าย
I think if Team Liquid could try and play around Jose Deodo as they had in the past, that becomes a very big win condition for them. Whereas for KC, I think it is trying to play like that big wombo combo through that mid jungle, and hoping that Yai can have some of those combos we saw against T1, but actually get the win this time rather than have fallen a bit flat.
I do love the around the world Kiana ults when you have a
คิดดูดิถ้าสมมติว่าแบบพี่ได้ไปภาคแบบออฟฟิเชียลใช่ป่ะแล้วพี่ก็พูดมุกนี้เข้าไปอ่ะอยากเห็นช่องแชทที่เขาดูออฟฟิเชียลอยากรู้ว่าเขาจะแบบยังไงกันพี่ดี
At least Kiana can utilize grass really well.
มุกซ้ำเหรอ
You definitely don't want to
มันไม่ใช่มุกครับคุณมันเป็นเรื่องจริงไม่เชื่อหรอไม่นั้นอ่ะลองคิดดูย้ายทำไมถึงตั้งชื่อว่าย้ายจริงๆมันมาจากย้ายพี่เจเชื่อปะคือมันมีเพลเยอร์คนหนึ่งชื่อไยคือพี่เล่าให้ใช้ฟังว่าเมื่อก่อนนะเขาเล่นอยู่ตำแหน่งหนึ่งแล้วพอแบบโดนอีกคนหนึ่งเขาสั่งให้แบบไปเล่นอีกตำแหน่งหนึ่งดีกว่าเขาก็เลยตั้งชื่อว่าย้ายก็คือย้ายจากตำแหน่งหนึ่งไปอีกตำแหน่งหนึ่งแต่พี่เจแชทไม่เชื่อพี่เจเชื่อปะพี่เจเชื่อ
It has been much more about getting active in the early stages, very similar to what we saw in things like the Camille. So maybe less slow and steady for KC in this one, but we'll have to see how this one.
ไม่หยุดนะมีคิม
Speaking of getting active early, Olaf and Nautilus pretty good invade combo. So they had a little soft invade up there towards the top, right back to Raptor start for both junglers, and they are going to power.
Synergy มันคือ ทาริยาคือเกมนี้นี่แม่งโอลาฟบ้างแบบ
All right, Ari in the game. Vendetta is Riftbound's next set, ladies and gentlemen. It's arriving on July 31st, and it brings together new champions.
ถ้าสตาร์ทเครื่องแบบแล้ววิ่งไปหาทาริยาหรือว่า
And here is the new Ari card as well.
วาลัสก็คือระเบิด
She's already got one. We've already got.
และเกมนี้ไม่ใช่มังกรลมแน่นอนฮะไม่ใช่โซลมแน่นอนครับโอลาฟไม่มันขนาดนั้นแน่นอนมีอีกมังกรเดียวที่แบบโอลาฟอยากได้ก็คือเชมเทค
Let's see whether history is going to repeat itself. There's a bit of a fight, but I think you guys can talk about this.
Yeah, first stand. I mean, Spawn talked about it to us last night, and he was like, "Why did everybody think?"
แล้วก่อนที่เขาจะย้ายเขาชื่ออะไรพี่เขาชื่ออยู่กูว่าจัดให้เลยแล้วกันมันมุกที่แบบอ่านปุ๊บตอบปั๊บมันก็ต้องได้แค่ประมาณนั้นแหละชื่ออยู่
We beat them
พอ
last
ย้าย
time
ก็เลย
and that'll
ย้าย
happen again.
Yeah, but in EU memory, it's we made it to finals. That means we're gooder. So that was kind of what we were hoping for. The problem is we don't really get the second chance if we lose this one. We're just out of the
I don't think you're going to get to finals again.
Yeah. Well,
that's
KC,
not going to happen.
Well, we still hope G2 can do it.
No, yeah.
พี่มาเดือดจังไม่ดูแป๊บเดียวกลับมา 2-0 แล้วเหรอ
G2 certainly with an
วันนี้
opportunity
เค
to
ซี
do
มัน
so. We are going to have a
แต่
look
จริ
at
ง
all
เคซี
three of
พี่
the
ว่า
lanes
ก็
here. Currently with no big advantages just yet.
ไม่อยู่ในฟอร์ม
But
เลย
you can see Canna holding his own quite nicely.
ทั้งแคนนา
into
ทั้ง
Morgan in this top lane.
คือปกติแคนนา
Morgan got the push.
แกก็จะ
Meanwhile, bot side push here at 4K.
คือคาริสแกจะแบกแคนนาแกก็จะเอาอะไรเงี้ย
Utilizing the Varus effectively here early on, and so it should just be split
เป็นปัญ
skull
หา
caps
จริงครับ
for these two junglers. Opposite side clears. Of course, as we said, they both start their Raptors, so you're going to have the early Raptor respawns for both of them. They're both trying to power farm, both trying to get to their level 6s. So it should be fairly calm, and everything going kind of according to plan here. You get a little bit of extra time, of course, after your first clear, so this is like the 90% jungle play. You almost always just leave your ward over their Raptors. And he's going to cross here too over towards Yike, back to his
แล้ววลาดิแกไปไหน
So we'll both have vision of
แกไป
each
อยู่
other
ฟานาติก
doing
เหรอ
our second clears.
And
โอ้แล้วฟานาติกไม่ได้
Quick
มา
gonna lose a bit of his health bar, but that is all that really results from that last play. As Yon and KAIJ just down here just trying to hold down the fort. I don't think you're expecting to win this matchup as the Santa Nautilus
ฟานาติกนี่ฟอร์มหนักจัด
early has gone lethal tempo, so we're not going to get the lethality Varus. And
ยิ่ง
actually
เปลี่ยน
really
ฟานา
like
ติก
this.
มันยิ่ง
They
แบบ
feel like they need
ยิ่งระเบิด
consistent damage moving into that late game, and let's just hope that Kalist can have good positioning so that he can actually get those autos down.
Yeah. Meanwhile, look at Olaf. We have a little deviation from Jose. He did not go
พี่ชอบ
into
ฮิวแมน
a
นอยด์นะ
standard re-clear here. He's taking some extra time on this crashing wave.
And Yike moving towards the top side as well. Flash out from Morgan already as he slices away. Does avoid the damage there from the Q, then does back away as we had a look at Jose Diodo in game 2.
เสียดายที่แบบโคบี้ก็
breaking records and making records
ไปอยู่แบบ
here after that incredible Lee
นาวี
performance. And we'll see what he
แล้ว
can
ก็
do
ต
on
ก
the
รอบ
OLAP.
ไป
Yeah. So he had a little bit of extra time there because of the extra time spent killing the red on the previous clear. Goes back now for Krugs.
โคบี้มา
Both of
แบบ
them honestly very close to
แล้วก็
mirror
จากไป
vision too that they left behind.
Yep.
With the control ward also being left behind here in TL side.
นี่อย่าทำอย่างนี้หนูขอกินนะ
And I actually remember one of our first jungle pentacles was actually on. I can't quite remember who it was that picked it up. It was probably someone like Peanut or Canyon.
ขอบคุณพี่ชิคเก้นครับ
Most of our records are, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But possible opportunity for Jose to do the same thing.
Yeah, especially as this game goes later. Like 3 items on towards the Olaf, plus having the center to support is huge.
But Pulverize from Busio makes his way in. As Piercing Darkness actually working out quite nicely from Yon as they avoid the Piercing Arrow as well.
Yeah, it does feel like Busio trying to get control over this bottom side. You can see multiple pings going on towards the second Scuttle spawn. So that's where KC is starting to rotate to now.
And you can see the pings right now. They're question mark pinging the Gromp that they have the ward on. So they're like, okay, he's not doing Gromp. He must be doing Dragon right now. Their bottom lane just pushed in and moved up. And TL can't do anything about it, even though they can surmise his position. And good call from KC, because as we said, they had basically the mirrored setup on the opposite side of the map. So they knew Jose was up on top side and get their first Dragon for KC.
Yep, Jose is going to be able to clear out this control ward, but his position was known as well, moving up towards the Raptor camp potentially.
He is faking going for the Raptor respawn though, and now moving down to cover his own. So Yike will move across with Busio, but Jose will be here. Now spotted that the Olaf is on us.
Good vision on both sides, to be honest. This is sort of a bit of an information battle as Yike is able to steal this one away. The wall goes down, but Quid gets him off it. Yahoo is just going to back away. So just trying to play defensively here, KC, making sure that no Biffo goes down in this early stage and things remain incredibly even.
Jose still trying to get this re-invade though. No push in mid for him.
Smite.
ใหญ่เวล
He knows
6 แล้วนะ
Yike just used his smite, but
ฟาร์มโคตร
good
ไว
draw there from Yike. Pulls him all the way back into the brush.
It's a little risky though, because he is only level 5 versus the level 6, and Yahoo had shoved in mid, and Quid had just reset. So could have potentially been a moment for KC, but decided not to pull the trigger. So now he has to walk back down towards his bottom side, giving Yike a little bit more time again to just farm up a bit of a lead for himself.
Well, another headbutt Pulverize does come on through here as Chains of Corruption come down at the same time. Busio only level 5, so doesn't have the unbreakable will as Yon trying to do his best.
หลบไม่ได้ด้วย KAIJ แต่ว่าตายไหม
He's going to connect max range on the anchor to get the escape out from this Nautilus, but did still have to use the flash in the play.
Yeah, Busio doing a good job of body blocking the hook to the terrain in front of him so that then you have to burn the flash as KAIJ still manages to escape. But it does give KC a little bit of an advantage now on that bottom side.
Yeah, Jose was moving down. That's why you saw Yon playing so aggressively. And KC, they smelt it. So they are going to be able to back away successfully.
เหมือนวอลลัสมันโดนเนื้อไปเยอะเนาะ
Even this center lane
ดูเบา
actually
ๆไม่
doing
รู้
fine as far as farm. I think that is going to be entirely evened out as these minions
โยน
do
แบบ
get taken. Teleport
ทำเวฟไว้แล้วก็
Kalist is going to face check. Does get snared.
ร
Piercing
อให้แบบ
Darkness
คา
comes
เดส
down.
ต้องอยู่
Piercing
ต่อ
Arrow is there
ไม่
as
งั้น
well.
เดี๋
A
ยว
lot
เว
of
ฟระเบิด
piercing from both of these AD carries.
Busio using that teleport off the Summoner Spellbook though to get back into the lane means they should be able to get a plate for themselves, although maybe not wanting to overextend too much. Still unsure as to where the Olaf is quite at the minute. But we'll open up a roam for Busio. And I think that's where they really do want to try and unlock Busio from this bottom lane right now, get him active on the map.
วอลลัสโคตรน่าสงสารอ่ะคือ มันถูกหยิบเอาไปเล่นเลนบนแล้วแบบมันก็เลยโดนเนิร์ฟแล้วเลนล่างแบบว่าคือ ADC บางคนแบบเมนวารัสก็ไม่ได้เกี่ยวข้องอะไรแม่งสวยจัดดาบเกมนี้เนี่ยแม่งคือคาริสจะรอดยังไงวะเนี่ยคือเขาไม่แบนโอลามาพลาดมากเลย
Jan is going to lose a bunch of his health bar as Canner is just basically unaware of the turret's existence.
It felt like a very late swap from KC though, because hang on, is I gonna get caught here?
แต่โอลาฟมันแพ้ตัวแบบว่าง่ายๆคือแบบเจโฟสวยจัดครับผมอันนี้ย้ายกับแคนนาคอมโบนะนี่แต่ว่าอาลีมาไม่ไหวว่ะ
Okay, little shutdown there for Quid on the compensation play. Mid lane does get pushed in the top.
Yeah, there is the dominance here from Morgan.
เชียอีไม่โดนมันมาแล้วไอ้
the true damage and it's Morgan that locks up the kill in the end.
Yeah, they split it there. Morgan's like, all right, I'm gonna take a second one. Holds off and gets it.
ทำให้แบบไม่อยู่ในพื้นที่ของท่า E ของวารัสแล้วก็ไม่โดนตัดคิวทีเดียวคือเลือดเด้งตรงนี้ยังไงก็ไม่น่าว่ะคือพี่ว่าน่าจะเพียร์ซิ่งก่อนคือยิงไป2สแต็กแล้วคนเพียร์ซิ่งไปก่อนแล้วค่อยอันตีเว้ย
And TL picking up big wins in the top lane.
Yeah, really good plan from TL there. Lying in wait, ready for the counter game.
ฆ่าย้อนได้แต่ว่าฝั่งของ KC ก็ตายไปแบบ2ตัว
Now, a lot of summoner spells used, okay, because Yon also had to use
แล้วของย้อนมันแคนนาก็ตายด้วย
a couple areas for this Kiana to attack. You saw how, you know,
คือมันต้องยิงปึ๊บตะเกียบแล้วก็ต้องแบบระเบิดด้วย W ไปก่อนแล้วการติแล้ววิ่งแบบคือตะเกียบไงนะเบรกก็ไม่พอเว้ยถ้าเกิดสมมติว่าแบบยิงไป2สแต็กแล้วกดอันติแล้วก็แบบเพียร์ซิ่งแอโร่ไม่พอแน่นอนมันต้องแบบอันติมันต้องเพียร์ซิ่งระเบิด2สแต็กก่อนแล้วอันติแล้วเขาโยนท่า E มันยังพอมีทรงที่จะฆ่าได้
Going to move over towards the dragon. You have the TP for Morgan if they really want to, and Jose Diodo's in the pit.
Wait, he just walks over. It is going to be the secure on the Drake though, as Jose down to 50%. There's the Ragnarok to get him out of the CC. And now Quid dashes over the wall. There's the Orb Deception. And the ulti to come through the Golden Shadow to keep them alive.
ไม่โดนคาริสไอ้เชี่ยว
To worry about the brick wall that is this.
จบแล้วว่ะ
He's just going to go straight into Canner as Jose sidesteps the Q. Headbutt pole from
เพียร์ซิ่งไม่โดน
He tries to take manage into his own hands. The shield, incredible onto Jose, but he is
แต่ยังได้บูซิโอมันแบกอยู่อาลิมีแฟดอาลิต้องแฟดออกแล้วคาริสไม่ค่อยกล้ายิงคาริสเอาไงแน่ลังเลจัดลังเล.com ไม่มีสแต็กเลยไม่ตายครับอาลิวิธีคือมันต้องโดนเว้ยไม่งั้นมันคิดตายหมดเลยแบบคือยังไงเซนหน้าก็ต้องคืออาลิแฟดออกแน่นอนถ้าโอลาฟตายอ่ะแต่มันเพียร์ซิ่งแอโร่ไม่โดนโอ้ยแต่เขาใช้สเต็ปสวยเลยอะโฮเซ่เมื่อกี้คันหน้าโดนทีพีจากทันหลอดลงมาแบบนี้ย่า
And Morgan is just going to deal with this zombie as well. So that's TL getting another
และเป็นเชมเทคให้กับโอลาฟ
I mean, KC is still in a fine position here in this game, and with double dragon.
มังกรก็เป็นใจหน่อย
He's doing a good job of trying to buy space, but he has no damage behind him. Just kind of
คือ
waiting. But Busio
ขอแค่แบบโอลาฟมันไม่ได้มังกรลมกับเชมเทคพี่ว่ามันไม่เป็นปัญหามากสองมังกรนี้ว่าปัญหามากเลย
But it got so dodgy towards the end of this, especially with that lockdown onto Calist.
Yeah, it was a weird call from TL because Kiana is really hard to outsmite.
แต่ว่า KC ครับยังครอบครองมังกรไว้ได้2ตัวเพราะฉะนั้นก็
gets the dragon and they get
ยังไม่ใช่ปัญหาแบบมากเรื่องมังกรแต่ย้ายแบกนะนี่คือเขาเสร็จเควสคนเดียวนะของฝั่ง KC ย้ายนี่คือรวยมากแต่พูดตามตรงพี่ไม่ชอบ Amber Grave เลยพี่รู้สึกว่าแบบคุยหน้ามันควรจะแบบเอาสุดเอาโปรเฟนไฮด้าหรือว่าจะเป็นแบบคือมันควรเป็นโปรเฟนไฮด้ากับออกเซียมอะคอมโบ
especially for TL, but I mean the same can be said on the other side of the rift as well. Okay, let's see.
แต่แกก็ต้องเล่นแบบตามแผนของทีมก็คือปิดวิชั่นด้วย Amber Grave เข้าใจได้พี่ขอนมอันหนึ่งได้ไหม
Yeah, very much.
ไม่เอาแล้วอิ่มแล้ว
They're looking at how their comp is going to operate later. You know, they're trying to bank on Yon stacking souls and then
วันนี้พี่จะเล่น PoE ไหมครับ
so they get to the point where this Olaf just gets to run at Varus and Talia, and those champions are not going to be able to dash away.
Nope.
And they need to get to the kind of the critical point where Jose and Morgan are
แล้ว
going to be able to
คาริสขึ้นมาเป็น
onto the back line.
Hex Page ครับผมคุณผู้ชมครับ
KC trying to be so active at this portion of the game, pushing in mid,
โดนเนิร์ฟมาแล้วนะ Hex Page
trying to shift
กับ
both
พวก
Busio
ตัว
and
ตี
Yike
ไกล
towards either side of the map, maybe try and find a play because they know that as this game starts to go on, this Olaf and this Sen are going to get significantly more.
เล่นเป็นเวฟเลยปะล่ะแบบอ่ะก็ทรงนี้แล้วก็นาชอไปเลย
Team Liquid and start to blow open this game a little bit more in their favor.
All right, as the dust settles, we're moving back towards the mid lane. We're going to call it a K-Ram. Because we are in Korea at the moment.
นี่มันฝุ่น
We're
เต็
in
ม
the
เลย
river at this particular point in time as now the anchor comes forward.
และโดนเรียบร้อยครับคาริสเกมนี้เล่นยังไงดีครับโอลาฟมันไม่สนอยู่แล้วครับ
Jose Diodo right now as the train just drives past the Viking. Yike getting the supreme display of talent, but it's now Busio dead in this split fight. It works out so beautifully for TL. KC kind of just fell apart.
I thought it was going to take a while for the Olaf to get back to the Varus, but the Varus was right there in front of Core JJ. Core JJ nails him with the hook, and they full combo Kalist.
ถอนหายใจเฮือกใหญ่ครับคาริส
Jose's like, great, I'll just be able to take the kill early. Take a look at this. So into the brush here, Core JJ is going to walk over with Yon, and then boom, right there, right in the Kalist. And guess what? Olaf right behind him. So that's going to be a very dead Varus very early on. From that point, Tagda, you're basically trying to scramble and get people out, evacuate, but Quid also hitting the charm there onto Yahoo as they're able to finish off Busio. And
I mean, I'm still trying to figure out why Kalist was walking towards the bush. They knew that the Nautilus.
โอลาฟเป็นดับที่แบบดีมากแล้วแพทนี้ก็เล่นป่าได้ด้วย
Train past the very scary Olaf that did just lose Ragnarok, which could have potentially helped him and Yike make something happen, but was a bit of a mistake there from KC, and it does put TL in a fantastic position. The first big gold advantage here in this game is TL looking for that date against T1 coming up tomorrow to try and get themselves a spot in the main stage of MSI. Remember, this is just the lower bracket. There is still one more test to get yourselves towards that main stage coming up after this.
Core JJ doing such a good job here.
มังกรเกิดแล้ว
being constantly throwing down control wards, and guess what?
จะโดนลวดเลยไหม
enter into the dragon area here versus TL.
คาริสเล่นเป็นเวทจริงคุณผู้ชมและนาชอจริงๆครับ
And I think Core JJ has been
เล่นเวทครับเป็นออนฮิตแบบเวทนะ
He has really stepped up. The Nautilus in particular has been fantastic, and he may find Kalist once more here.
Yeah, Anchor going to connect onto Canna. This is going to be their first target in this fight. There's not a lot of follow-up. In the meantime, though, there is an Ahri lying on the floor. So Quid not able to do too much, and they're able to protect Canna with a great Weaver's Wall. This might actually be able to get KC this sole point that they've been looking for. TL, they do not want to give this one up, but I mean, it's so difficult without their mid laner, who doesn't have teleport as well. Busio goes in, gets the pulverizer, steal from Jose. Never mind, it wasn't. It was actually the Riftel taking down a turret, as now we've got a team fight as Morgan knocked up into the sky, but he's going to get on top of Kalist once again. Busio's dead, and TL, they are still going to win the ensuing fight. And the Blast Cone pulls back Canna. And he's able to unstoppably onslaught his way out of there. That was such a weird.
คาริสไม่ได้เล่นเลยนะวาลัสคือตั้งแต่เกมกับทีวันแล้ว
They know where Morgan is. He does not want that fight.
Yeah, I got so enthusiastic because I saw that there was Olaf taking something, and the smite didn't actually come on through. KC were at least able to get themselves soul point.
Yeah, Busio does a good job. Like he's just keeping him barely out of range, but this is the real surprise. Yeah, Quid deleted by Yike there. Nicely done by Yike right out of the brush, and Quid also flashed there. So not only did they delete him, but they
โอลาฟ
also
ชัดดาวน์ 320 มอร์แกน 380
part of the map as well, on top of everything. So that's even
ย้ายก็พยายามแบกอยู่แต่ย้ายถ้าจะแบกต้องขึ้นฮูบิสแหละ
Still 2.6k going
โอ้โหสกอร์ค่า
for TL.
3 ตัว
Breaking open the middle of the map going to be very important for this squad at the same time. So I think still in a good position, but giving over the soul is going to be a rough one, especially
แต่
when
ว่าเรา
KC
ถ้าเกิดเล่นเป็นเวท
want to speed
มีสิท
things
ธิ์รอด
up.
อยู่
Getting to an early elder could be dangerous here for TL before
เพราะว่ามันจะขึ้นนาฬิกาแล้วมันอาจจะเป็นนาฬิกาที่แบบทำให้โอลาฟแบบไม่ชอบอยู่
in the middle of a team fight, that could be it. Like the goal is 2.7k at this stage. Is nice, but not insurmountable for KC. But especially as Team Liquid now get to set up on side lanes, I think this is where they start to become more threatening. Like Ari, very good in this position. Morgan on the Renekton with the lead, very strong. And Jose Diodo more than happy to dive these turrets if it works for him.
Well, it might work for him right now as they are moving towards
แต่
Cannon.
จริง
The
อยากจะให้
referee got something to
คือ
say to this
ที่พี่
player.
วิจัยมาพี่ว่า
As Cannon really wants to get rid of this turret, as Ari just going to dash in front to make sure that he's not able to ult
แค่หน้าพ
away.
ยายาม
And he moves away
แต่
from
ว่า
the
เป็น
turret. Not
วิกไซ
exactly
ก็
opportune. It's going to take a while to kill him, but kill him they
ต้
will.
องยอม
And TL now looking for an opportunity to take down this turret at the same time. They will be able to get it. 3 Grub's going to be helping out there. It's a Zombie Scion. No help from the rest of his teammates. TL actually moving for a little bit more aggression in this mid lane.
Good block there from Busio. Kalista had the slow on him, so Jan was trying to thread the needle there and get the snare, but Busio just walks up and takes it. So nobody's going to die for KC there, and they'll still get their cross map of the tower. But nice play from TL. They just brute force. They're like, yes, we will be able to kill you. Jose doesn't even respect the zombie getting back up. He's like, ah, it's fine. You do whatever you want. I'm going to kill this tower too.
Yeah, also Morgan shifting from top lane, knowing, look, that tower is going to go down. I can't do anything about it. Covers the mid lane, so this Varus can't even get more of that plate gold. And now you're in a position where you get to re-establish yourselves on this top side with Baron up and available.
Yeah, it does seem hard for KC to combo like more than one person. Like I'll definitely give you, I could definitely like
แค่หน้า all in แล้วอะขึ้นแม่งขึ้นทอนเมลเลย
If Olaf now
แพ้ก็แพ้ละ
items is able to run down your wait a second, they're going to make a big play on top side. That's everybody for TL.
Yeah.
คือขึ้นอะไรให้ตัวเองถึกที่สุดเพราะว่ามันต้อง all in แล้วไม่นั้นแพ้แล้วเว้ย
Looking for an angle towards Yehu, but he is going to be able to pick up this wave. Looks like they're not looking for anything here. As Jose wanting to spot Yike does manage to find him there with the Scryer's Bloom. Now sprinting over. TL, I mean, they just want to kill someone.
Yeah. If he could even get someone's summoner spell right now, it'd be a really big win, because a minute on the dragon.
Yeah, Yike is going to get pushed away, though. Understands that there are a lot of TL members moving on over. They have dropped vision towards that top side, so the counter Baron is not looking like an option here. And early control of this dragon area when you're staring down the barrel of Soul Point, smart idea.
Yeah, the map just feels so shortened for KC because you're constantly getting control of the
ลืมตัว
Kalista can't really step up to
กูดูด
contest
นม
that
จนแบบ
big
ว่า
push, and then you're just shifting with poor JJ, Jose Diodo, and Khan back and forth, getting all the vision you want, denying KC any access to River, and if anyone at all steps up, they just immediately die. Like Khan is the only real tanky one on this team.
Yeah, and I think that TL should make the call to, prioritize diving.
พี่กำลังคิดอยู่ว่าถ้าเกิดเป็นพี่เป็นวาลัสตาไหนพี่จะบิวอะไรดีที่มันจะแบบว่าทำให้เกมนี้ชนะได้พี่นึกถึงแค่แบบเทอร์มินัสกับแจ็คโชเลยมันต้องเป็นแบบเทอร์มินัสแจ็คโชแล้วยืนรับสู้โอลาฟอะไรอย่างเงี้ยเลยแล้วออกเป็นเลดเบดว่ะมันจะเล่นเวทนะดีอยู่นะว่าเลดเบดแล้วเทอร์มินัสแล้วก็แจ็คโชน่าจะตอบโจทย์อยู่แต่เสียดายเนาะน่าจะเลือกเป็นแบบไม่น่ารีบเลือกเป็นนี่อาริสตาน่ากดเป็นคาริสตาหรือนาต้าไปเลยอะไรเงี้ยเขากดเลนิกมาแล้ว
As Morgan spotted on vision,
โอ้
there's Supreme Display of
แฟด
Talent only on
ย้อนหนี
JJ, but
ได้
they
ครับ
are
แต่ว่า
looking
นอ
for
ร์
the
ติ
rest
ลุ
of
ส
how
ตาย
they find it. As Jan also gets a snare
มาแล้ว
in the
หลอ
backline,
ด
but
มอร์แกน
they're
แต่ว่าตรงนี้พยายามปกป้องอยู่
building Shadow Yon doing so much work as they take 2
คาริส
down
แบบ
already.
ไม่รู้จะ
No bottom
อย่าง
lane
ไร
left
อะ
as Quid's dashing towards Yehu, who is just running for their hills. Morgan cares
คือถ้า
not
อาลี
for
โคเว
your
อร์
turrets,
โอลาฟยังไงก็
KC.
ได้
Although maybe he
แน่นอน
shouldn't, as he's taking a lot of damage, does flash away.
อาลีแค่พุ่งมา
Canna
เรื่อย
flash after him, does not find the angle, as Yehu not going to be able to defend as they look to move back and take the dragon.
Okay, so KC, they do one-shot somebody, but it's only the Nautilus. And so Team Liquid then win in the scramble, and they're going to deny the Dragon Soul.
Yeah, Jan played that fight so well. The immediate flash away from the Supreme Display of Talent so he doesn't get caught, and then gets the route on towards Kalist as well. As Yehu wants to fight against Quid with the sidesteps though.
Yeah, Busio does make his way forward. Cannon's here as well. Quid, ladies and gentlemen, is dead. The
shutdown
is going to be able to take him, and that is the shutdown. So nicely done there. First kill going over to Yehu, and I think getting money on your Talia going to feel fantastic. Looking for that third item and wanting to be able to augment the damage here for KC.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good follow-up play because, you know, that's how they
คาริสที่แล้วรอบที่แล้วก็เล่นวอลลัสก็แบบโอ้โห
to follow up and get the charm on him.
ตายแบบว่าโอ้ my god
that Jan was able to land on him, so they knew no mobility left for that Ari. Let's punish him up
รอ
on
บ
the
นี้
side
ก็
lane.
0-4 แล้วครับ
Money while we can.
All right, as the dust settles, we have the soul denied, so 4 minutes on another opportunity for KC. But one Chemtech Dragon
รอบที่แล้วก็ 0-4-5 รอบนี้ก็
They have a
0-4-1
long road ahead of them if they do want to even out the Drakes in this game. So KC still with a lot of tempo control, I think, in this game. But whether they can utilize it correctly is going to be the big question as we move forward. As we check out the Coinbase Gold Grind, Jan doing a
เอาจริง
whole
ป่ะ
lot better
ถ้าแกแบบว่า
in this
เกมนี้แกอยากเล่นได้นะ
and
แก
better
ต้อ
than
ง
I
เปลี่ยน
was
รูน
expecting because
แก
he's
ต้องเล่น
playing
แบบ
center, and oftentimes you feel like you fall behind.
Yeah, and it does
ไอ้ลู
feel
ก
like
วิ่ง
there's
เลย
kind
อะ
of like a choice here from
คือ
KC. They're
ไม่
not
ต้อง
giving
เข้า
as
ใจ
much
ว่า
of
แบ
that
บ
gold in towards Kalist.
มันดาเมจอาจจะไม่ได้
And you can see here, sorry,
แต่ว่า
this
มัน
is
ต้อง
why
วิ่ง
Jan
หนี
flashing
อ่ะ
away, then gets the route through
เนี่ยทรงเนี้ยพอมันมา
onto
ปุ๊บเนี่ย
Kalist,
ก็
which
ต้อง
then sets up perfectly for Quid to flash forward. He
แฟด
gets the
ชาม
pick.
แล้วก็เรียบร้อยเลย
really
โอลาฟ
so
ไม่ต้อง
much
เข้า
of
ไป
this
ยุ่งด้วย
fight
ซ้
being off the back of Jan playing this exception and then setting up for Jose Diodo, kind of knock them down.
ำพี่
where
เกม
they'd
ไปแล้ว
already been
ไป
set.
แล้วจริงฮะแต่ว่าไม่ว่าจะมองมุมไหนพี่ว่ายังไงก็ต้องเลือก KC อยู่พี่ว่า
Now we're back to it.
Yep, more fighting as Yike going to get taken down a little bit lower, but that's going to be
แต่ใคร
caught
จะไปรู้
JJ
อะ
in a bit of trouble. Depth charge comes in.
โอ้โห
Dawning
เจ
Shadow
ไม่
to try
ตาย
and
เลย
keep his
มา
Nautilus
แล้วมอ
alive
แก
as
นไล่
Quid
คาริส
gets
อีก
into
แล้ว
the
คา
back
ริส
line,
โดน
sprint
แต่
display
ว่า
down, does so
ย้าย
much
พยายามจัด
work,
การอยู่
and
ย้าย
they managed to take down the Olaf,
ตาย
but
ว่ะย้าย
still Jan is fighting. Quid still alive. Busio taken out as
พลา
Morgan
ดเลยครับไม่ได้
brings
ยิง
his
ใครเลยอะ
Renekton into the back line. The Mega Blast Cone going to try and get Canner out
ไม่
to
ได้ยิง
relative
ใครเลยครับ
safety,
คาริส
but the
เจอ
charm
เลเน็ก
connects, and TL even without
อา
their
ลี
Viking
โอ
are
ลา
able
ฟ
to win the
นอ
fight.
ติลุสกดอันติ
They're able to get the extra ones, and they can push the
Walat แม่ง
towers
ซึม
after
จัด
this
อะ
too. They've got mid wave and top wave all pushing in their favor. They only drop the Olaf this time with the burst damage at the very end there. Yaiko's able to get it off.
Was that a 5v5 over a blue buff?
Yeah, it looks
Hell
like
yeah.
Yeah. And it looked kind of, as you say, decent here for KC to begin with, because Yike doing a good job of separating. Busio
ย้ายคือพ
has
ยายาม
actually
อย่า
been
งมาก
able to
แล้ว
keep people off of Kalist on this side as well, alongside Kana. And it's the supreme display of talent that then sets things up.
Yeah, so Yike is able to burst down Olaf. Morgan is able to get back and then force Kalist flash away.
Yeah, man, that's
and so
low.
the top side going well for them, and they have plenty of time then to finish up the zombie down there. I mean, Morgan is just kind of wrecking havoc here through these fights. This Renekton able to slip through with the slice and dice and get the extra pressure from the other side of the fight. Meanwhile,
กลับบ้าน
Jan
ปะ
is
วะ
just
เนี่ย
re-hitting here.
KC
The Senna stacks are at 80, okay? You know, he had a lane versus, you know, double melee supports, stacking up souls there, and then continually stacking through all of these fights. And when the games are this action-packed and have so many fights,
This is crazy, by the way. LCS really making their way back in as far as the scoreline versus the LEC, as these stats actually include the 2 victories from TL earlier
ยังไง
today.
วะ
And also, like, if you look back at the last 2 years,
คือมันต้องแบ
unfortunately,
น
it
โอ
hasn't
ลา
been
ฟ
great for LEC. It's been LCS who've been able to get the best of us with Team Liquid picking up a 3-1, and then it was FlyQuest as well. They managed to get the 3-0, I believe, over G2 too. So I was kind of hoping that this would be KC, who like have looked stronger than they did in the past, kind of stepping up on the international stage. Like we saw them at first time, but really getting a run at it at MSI. Just
คือเหมือน
hasn't
ห
been
ลาย
the
ๆอย่าง
case, and this doesn't
แบ
even
บ
feel like the KC we've seen domestically.
ซับไม่มีระฆัง
haven't
ด้วย
really been
แบบ
able
เหมือน
to
เขา
rely on that strength of just still being
ปล่อย
able
ให้
to
ADC
win
แบบว่า
fights
ก็
later.
ไม่รู้ทำไง
TL
อ่ะ
have still been able to get the better of
อาจจะเป็นแนวแบบว่านั้นเข้าไปตัดเลยดีกว่า
Now setting up once again. I mean,
แล้วยอ
I
เล่น
feel
ง่าย
like
กว่า
it
เยอะเลย
does get worse because
ยิง
we're
โคต
still
รมัน
thinking about the Olaf and Senna combination.
Yeah.
Because the Olaf, when you're buffed up by Senna, like the healing and shielding, like Jose just becomes such a crazy threat.
And if you add several Chemtech dragons into that,
Yeah.
kind of good.
ใช่พี่ว่าคอมโบโอลาฟกับไอ้นี่เก่งจริง
Yeah.
Because if the
คอม
Renekton
โบ
and the
โอลาฟ
Olaf
กับ
are sort of
เซนนา
like going for the same target,
เวลาโอลาฟเข้าไปเซนนาให้กดอันติ
giving
มัน
both
แบบ
of them the same stuff.
ดีมากๆ
Just
แล้ว
feels a little bit unfair. Dawning Shadow can be so powerful as well to keep them alive. But 20 seconds until Drake number 2 is available for TL, and still Soul available for KC. They can make it happen. Yike was pretty good on the smite trigger finger earlier on today. This could be an opportunity for them to get a bit of power in this game.
All right, TL once again with vision control, nicely set up by them. It's going to make KC have to approach this dragon from some dangerous angles. They do have some blast cones to work with. You can get a little creative, but it's so scary. And you can see TL fanning out into this 3-point. They're keeping vision all points of entry over towards the dragon, and KC don't even want to take a part of it.
Yep, not going to be a thing. So that is going to be second Chemtech Dragon over to TL. I do like that KC realize they don't really have to fight for this if they can't get a good position, and so deciding to forego it for now and get some control towards the Baron pit.
Yeah, they weren't really in a position to trade though for anything, right? Because you already had that top lane pushed out. Mid was fully pushed in by Team Liquid as well. So you kind of just saw Yehu move top, get a wave, and then that's been kind of the extent of it. So Team Liquid are doing a decent job as well.
แต่ก็อยากรู้เหมือนกันว่าถ้าเกิดสมมติว่า KC เล่นแบบพวกซับเลี้ยงเป็นไงวะแบบตอนนี้ถ้าเป็นอาริสตาเป็นลูลูอะไรเงี้ย
Disadvantages are becoming a problem for KC. I mean, Morgan has a straight 2-level lead over Con.
แล้วคาริสจริงๆเนี่ยอยากเห็นแบบเล่นพวกคาริสตาจริง
because a Fed Renekton and an Ahri in the side lanes, very, very dangerous. So that's why KC keep having to catch a little, and then they like lose a little bit here, a little bit there when they're going to some of these setups. You know, and even Yon is a full level ahead of Kalist. So we're going to start up the Baron.
Yeah, Yike is actually going to go back. They don't have any vision towards his Baron pit. Boostio, he cannot check it. They do manage to get the Scryer's Bloom, but the Baron already down to 50%. Yike realizing that he has to stick around, try and go for a bit of a trade here as the wall comes down. Core JJ possibly caught out, flung back towards the team as he flashes away. Death Threats comes through. Yike is dead versus Canna. Stunned up. Core JJ still alive as they're dashing into the backline. Kalist is going to keep himself alive. But sidestep as he takes down Quid and keeps himself alive. Jose, next one to fall. Off the rip by Morgan, but TL an even trade is not what they were looking for around that Baron.
Yeah, I think they.
แต่ว่ายอนมันปีศาจแล้ว
There certainly isn't the amount of focus that I was expecting in these fights when we're diving 2 different areas. And then you scroll back over and they're still on the Scion.
Because I thought that charm from Quinn was about to just be the end for KC. See here, they jump on towards Core JJ, but just watch the charm here from Quid. He manages to sneak past Busio onto Yike. He doesn't get the ult off, and then you get this chase into the backline. But because the Olaf has been hitting people, Jose the Olaf ends up with the ult falling off. He gets double hit by Yehu. You get the combo from Busio onto Quid. Kalist stays alive, and Kana's buying a ton of time in that backline where you have to draw Morgan away. So in the grand scheme of things, ends up being a 2-for-2.
Yeah, excellent peeling there from Yehu and Busio, keeping Kalist alive. Man, that Talia over the wall.
And Kalist being able to sidestep as well, avoiding the Orb of Deception. I mean, Quid just needed to hit anything, and he would have died. You saw Kalist go down exceptionally low.
ในไฟ
But
เลนเนตัน 4,000 โอ้เยอะสุด 4,000 กับ 69
control of the game though. And so
โอ้โหท่านหลอด ท่านหลอดแกเอาจัดเลยว่ะแล้วพรุ่งนี้แกจะเอาเนี่ย
damage that was done in that last team fight. Yehu outpacing everyone on KC, and this has kind of been the call from KC. It's get Yehu into a side lane, try and
แต่ถ้าเกมนี้ KC กลับมาชนะได้พี่ว่าไม่แน่นะเว้ย
actual advantage when it comes towards the levels, working up towards that rabbit on death cap. KC would love to have that before this Chemtech Dragon fight, which I expect is coming in just under 2 minutes.
All right, Core JJ clearing out vision. Jose wasting no time. He's already hitting the Baron. And there is another Scryer's Bloom that is going to spot that one out. So KC utilizing the map in order to get vision, as there is another anchor forward. Not exactly the optimal target, as Busio is the one that's focused, but Unbreakable will now being on cooldown. That's a Renekton showing up. Does have the big old shield from that teleport from the top lane.
Honestly, that's pretty good for KC. They got the extra teleport out because they're the ones that used Scion teleport last time. So they did get the cooldown. Busio's recalling though. Alistar with no ultimate is pretty hard to team fight.
Yeah, and they still have zero vision of this area. Yike not actually moving over. They do spot it with the scrying orb. But can KC actually go for this? Yike is wiped out by the Dawning Shadow. No smite, no chance of contesting the Baron here, as well as TL. Beautifully played.
TL set up wonderfully on that, managing to pick off Yike as he goes to the setup. As you say, there was no vision, no control at all around the pit, and TL knew it.
Now with the Baron bot 4-1 split push, Ari on top side. As Morgan walks in.
Yeah, he's just face checking it. Doesn't have the dominance available. Colombic is going to be there as the rest of TL. Moving on forward. There's the unstoppable onslaught to get Kana out of there. That is now a big tool that he will not be able to use. The inner turret is going to be taken down towards the top side, and TL, this Rebel Baron power play already at 2,200. And Quid should be able to get away from this. I say that.
Doesn't have the ult yet.
Yeah, he has flash.
Yeah, Foxfire as well. Try and keep him be okay.
ตะกี้ไม่เห็นทาริยาบาสโคนด้วย
As just barely able to slink past.
It is Yahoo's ultimate down though with the Chemtech dragon just about to spawn, so you can see Ike trying to make his way out, but with the investment KC put into that top side, I just don't think they can really contest this once again.
Well, that is going to be 3 Chemtech dragons here for TL, so that's their sole point to come on in. The maximum elemental dragons is going to be available here in this game. TL not going to be contested for this one. KC's base remains intact for now, but we are moving to some pretty dangerous gold levels.
We certainly are. And Morgan now has a 3-level full lead over Kana.
Oh, God. He's 507. This
your
is
favorite player, your favorite player on his favorite champion.
Oh, and he's having such a good game on it as well. Oh, Busio? Well, Morgan is just wondering who he's going to hit.
Where is Busio?
He is wandering towards Quid. Yike is going to be there as well. Busio is going to be in the death chamber as the Orbit Deception comes on through. Doesn't care about the damage reduction from the ulti.
Oh my god, KC.
To answer your question.
Oh my god, man.
Well, there's an anchor towards Canner as well, who is just going to get caught out of position. Flashes out of the way, gets turned into a zombie as Morgan just wanders his way towards this inhibitor turret. And KC just kind of falling apart here as their base is doing exactly the same thing. Inhibitor going to go down towards the bottom side, and with the remnants of this Baron, TL, they should be able to get Nexus turrets for this as well.
Yike was still trying to flank. He was trying to flank this whole time as everyone was dying and the base is gone.
Well, the Nexus turrets are going to start falling down as look at that army of siege minions that are set up to take this last one away. Busio has respawned though, so maybe that is going to help them out on the defense, but now it's a naked Nexus, and now it's TL so close to another date with T1 as Morgan flashes in, they get on top of Yahoo, they wipe him out, Busio back to the death chamber again, and Callisti's on the fountain, but his Nexus is going to explode another 3-0 as Team Liquid destroy KC.
Team Liquid, well deserved. I mean, the improvements that they've shown, outstanding. I feel like their drafting has got a lot better, and you can definitely tell they're more comfortable on the stage.
Yeah, I mean, this one didn't even feel close. Jungle support outpacing across a huge amount of this series, and Morgan getting the better of Kana. That Renekton was terrifying in these fights.
He is pretty good at Renekton, as it turns out, but a bit of an uncharacteristic performance from KC. I felt like they were in a very similar position against T1 that TL was. I was expecting this to be a whole lot closer. But TL, I mean, if you want to have any sort of performance moving towards a matchup against T1, this is the performance you want to see. Let's throw it back to the boys on the desk.
Certainly is the performance you want to see, Atlas. Maybe not the performance I personally wanted to see, but North American fans definitely going to feel good about that one.
Let's bask in the glory.
Yeah,
here, Ox.
You know what? You were just so convincing at the start of the show when you were talking about the star side. I got it. That really connected with me.
It's a classic Ares performance.
Yeah, I mean, he was talking about phases of the moon.
What was that guy talking about?
The moon's not in here. We can't see the moon. We're in an enclosed space.
And I will say, banter aside, hearts out to KC. Obviously, a pretty crushing way to leave the tournament.
Yep.
Was not their day. Did not have that level of performance. So, again, condolences. Don't want to take away, though, from the incredible performance we did see from Team Liquid today. I think as much as the banter was going back and forth, did you expect it to be that one-sided? Because I felt like it was always going to be close.
Dracos, it was written in the stars.
Okay. All right. Fine.
No,
I'll just say I always thought it was going to be a close series. That really blew me away how much more dominant Team Liquid were.
I will say, my real opinion was that coming into the tournament, I thought KC was going to be better than TL, but based on the actual tournament performance, Jose and Morgan have both been playing above where I expected. Morgan in particular, it's a crazy glow up from the regular season, and that is actually what made me believe that they would have an edge today over KC. I thought it was going to be a lot more competitive though, but Jose went crazy. I think KC's draft prep was horrible, and I think that was a big contribution to it as well. TL hard outdrafted him in my opinion, and I do think that Kalist had a really bad series in some of these big moments. Kana had a horrible Vayne game. Like, KC just didn't show up.
I think as well, when you look at how TL prepared for the T1 series, felt like they came in there with some really smart drafts. That Poppy game, they did most of the work to win the game and then crumbled at the last moment, but that doesn't eliminate the fact they were in a winning position against T1, and you can see their game plans working really well against KC.
And in Game 3 as well, right? Like, those games were winnable, and I don't think that KC had that big player that was kind of stepping up in the way that, you know, the T1 players were from those deficits. If you get behind, you need someone to be the star, someone to kind of, you know, do that big play. I think Yike was trying his heart out in that last game, but
certainly.
We got to be honest, there was one jungler that was standing tall in this one. Jose had just been crazy across all 3 games. The Olaf pick, I think, was really, really smart. Made a lot of sense in the draft. It was very cohesive. The Lee Sin game was the biggest 1v9 of the tournament. One of the biggest 1v9s I've ever seen from a Lee Sin.
And I think the easiest Oppo player of the series we've ever had. No surprise to see Jose Deodo. The Lee Sin performance alone would have been enough, but really every single game he was making an impact.
He could have done basically nothing Game 3, and yet he didn't. He found ways to really make an impact on the Olaf, but the Lee Sin game was just clinical, and when I saw it, I was thinking back to that Peanut game at MSI, just styling on your opponent, picking up kills all over the map, and look, 22, 4, and 22 in the series.
Insane. And
absolute monster.
I mean, absolute monster performance, and the craziest thing is, if you have not watched Jose in NA, it just feels like every Lee Sin game he plays looks like that. It's just insane. Like, this guy, when he gets any lead, is so intelligent about how he actually pushes his advantage. He plays in the face of his opponents. He constantly invades. He makes you fight him, or he makes you concede everything. And it really comes back to, like, his mindset. If you talk to him, he's so fun to talk to because, you know, when you go, Jose, like, how do you prepare for these series? Like, are you really feeling the pressure? And he's just like, League of Legends is a game, and I just try to have fun, and I just go out there, and I just remember, you know, we're just playing a game, and I do my best, and it's like, he is just such good vibes, and I think it kind of allows him to just play without stress.
And honestly, if he can do that on Lee Sin to NA teams, then of course he could do it to EU teams.
Oh, Ox, come on, you can't tell me on that.
Thanks, buddy.
And I will say,
this is the top-tier analysis why we bring him in.
Seriously, though, the real thing for me is most players who have this dominant domestic pick cannot transition it to an international stage. The fact that he did against an EU team that, again, after the first few series, we might have said, you know, it's a little bit more TL favored, but initially looked like they would be the favorites. And this one against a player like Yike, who does have a certain international pedigree, has gone the distance against LPL teams, etc. Like, this is some really impressive stuff from him. And now I kind of want to see if T1 let it through. I'm going to be honest. I really want to see what this looks like going up against someone like Owner. But, of course, we are now just getting ready for our post-game interview. So, final thoughts, Hawks?
I'm excited for tomorrow and to see how they do in the rematch. I think they had good ideas the first time around but couldn't get over the finish line. I think they can definitely take games. Series might be a tall task, but this was a great series, great performance for them today.
An impressive ramp up in such a short period of time too, right? It's easy for a tournament as short as this one, right, where you have the potential to just play 2 series and get eliminated, not to see that growth. But I think we are seeing it from TL.
We really are, but we are going to be joining Jose on stage for the Verizon post-game interview. Let's go! Oh, never mind. We're not ready again.
We're not ready.
Okay.
Just building the suspense.
We're eager. The problem is,
we are eager.
We're like so ready to talk to Jose Deodo.
We are.
He was
I'm
our
always
Oppo,
ready.
He's been our Oppo player of the series before that 3rd game. Now we're ready. Let's do it. Verizon post-game interview with Jose Deodo.
승리한 호세 디오도 선수 만나보겠습니다. Congratulations.
Thank you.
First question. 가장 먼저 LEC와 LCS와 LEC의 자존심이 걸린 승부에서 승리한 뒤 다음 라운드에 진출하신 소감 들어보겠습니다. First off, how does it feel to win in a match where the LCS and LEC's pride on the line and make it to the next round?
Feels great. I think, I don't know, I've never been in a rivalry of EU in NA because I'm from LATAM, so it's kind of weird for me, but it's very fun. I think the nerves are high, and obviously fans are like flaming each other, so it's very fun. I think, yeah, the afterwards it feels nice because we trio them, so I'm sure the NA fans are happy now.
사실은 본인은 아무래도 라탐 출신이기 때문에 LCS와 LEC의 이런 라이벌리에 대해서 크게 잘 느끼지 못했는데 정말 많은 분들이 열광하고 또 서로 이렇게 벤터, 스트레치 토크를 주고받는 그런 문화를 잘 알고 있었는데 이렇게 또 선수로서 플레이하면서 승리를 가져올 수 있게 되어서 너무 좋고요. 또 3대0 승리를 가져온 만큼 팬분들이 더 기뻐할 것 같다고 합니다. 한국에서 열린 2025 퍼스트 스탠드의 리매치이기도 했습니다. 작년에도 그리고 올해도 한 번 더 TL이 KC에게 패배를 안겨주었는데요. 오늘 경기를 앞두고 어떤 부분을 가장 중점적으로 대화 나눴는지 여쭤보겠습니다. It was also a rematch of 2025 First Stand, which also happened in Korea last year and then again today. TL handed KC a loss. What kind of conversation did you guys have as a team about the matchup?
No, funny enough, we saw the series before coming here. I think we were thinking like, damn, what happened these games? You know, how you guys beat them, what you guys thought in the series. But it's like different players, so it kind of changes the vibe. But yeah, I mean, it's nice that we got a rematch. I think it's different because Omti was here last time, so now it's me playing. So maybe that's why we didn't lose one game. So yeah.
사실은 좀 재밌는 이야기인데 오늘 경기 전에 다 같이 그 경기를 돌려봤다고 합니다. 그때 경기를 같이 보면서 와 이때 어떻게 이겼니 이런 이야기를 나누었는데 사실은 라인업도 바뀌고 선수 구성이 바뀌어서 같은 경기나 같은 그런 접근은 아니지만 지켜보면서 굉장히 즐거웠고 작년에는 엄치 선수가 정글러로 있었는데 올해는 제가 있었기 때문에 1세트를 안 진 게 아닌가라는 생각도 들었다고 합니다. 이제 2세트 얘기를 안 해볼 수가 없는데요. 또 이렇게 세트 패 없이 승리하게 된 주역도 2세트의 리신이 아닐 수가 없습니다. 정말 신 그 자체였는데 올해 호세디오드 선수의 리신은 LCS 시즌에서도 무패를 이어가고 있습니다. 오늘 본인의 리신 플레이는 10점 만점에 몇 점을 주고 싶으신지 여쭤보겠습니다. Now we have to talk about your game 2 Lee Sin, which was godlike, and your Lee is still undefeated in the LCS season as well. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you like to rate it?
I don't know, I think today I didn't play like normally, maybe an 8 from what I used to see on my gameplay, because I think if that was a normal game, I would just like finish in 20 minutes, but I think the nerves were like, ooh, I'm excited because I'm so fast and I can 1v9, and then I ran down a bit. So, yeah, I was thinking maybe an 8, but I think overall when I have a good game, I can go to like 9 or 10 sometimes, but it depends sort on the comp, because I like to take Lee Sin on certain spots, and I think today was really good, so yeah.
오늘은 좀 평범했던 것 같아서 한 8점 정도 주고 싶다고 하는데요. 오늘 보통같이 좋은 경기력이 나왔다면 사실은 리신으로 거의 뭐 1대9도 할 수 있고 너무 잘 컸기 때문에 한 20분대에서 경기를 끝낼 수도 있었을 텐데 사실은 리신이 너무 잘 큰 나머지 나 너무 센데 나 진짜 아무나 다 1대9 해도 이기겠는데 라는 생각에 조금 더 긴장을 해서 게임이 좀 빨리 끝나지 못한 부분은 아쉬워서 한 8점 정도 주고 싶다고 합니다. 정말 좋은 경기력이 나올 때는 9점, 10점 경기력도 나오기도 한다고 하는데 특히나 리신 같은 경우에는 본인이 선호하는 그런 조합 카운터가 있다고 합니다. 특정 조합이나 특정 조합 상대로 리신 굉장히 좋은 픽인 것 같다 해서 꺼내들게 됐는데 오늘 경기도 그런 부분에 해당되었다고 합니다. 그리고 최근 설문조사에서 존경하는 선수로 인생님을 뽑아주셨는데요. 인생님의 어떤 점이 호세디오도 선수의 마음을 사로잡았는지 여쭤보겠습니다. And in a recent kind of Q&A, you said the league pro you look up to is Insect. What about Insect captivated you?
Well, when I was younger, you know, League was a game that where mechanics were like super low. So when somebody did something like Insect, it was like really like exciting to watch. So back then, when I was like 14, I remember watching him playing Fiddlesticks in Worlds. I think he was in semifinals against, I don't remember the team. But I don't know, I realized he was playing Fiddlesticks, but he also played Lee Sin, and I followed him throughout the tournament. And I really like his game style and how he played the games. And since I was younger, you know, every mechanic that I see was like crazy. So I don't know, I really love Insect when I was younger, and he really made me play Lee Sin throughout my career. So yeah.
Was your Lee as good as his Lee Sin today?
Maybe. I hope.
사실은 어렸을 때 이제 롤을 보면서 그 당시에는 이제 제가 14살이었는데 그렇게 선수들의 피지컬 같은 게 매우 뛰어나진 않았다고 생각했는데 그래서 피지컬이 매우 뛰어난 그런 선수들을 보면 많이 매료되었다고 합니다. 그리고 그 당시에 가장 기억에 났던 점은 인색 선수의 그런 피지컬뿐만 아니라 월드 4강에서 피들스틱도 꺼내고 리신도 꺼내서 좋은 모습을 보여주었는데 그런 화려한 모습이 나올 때마다 와 너무 잘한다 싶었고 정말 그 월드 내내 인색 선수의 경기력을 쭉 챙겨봤고 그 덕분에 리신도 이렇게 잘하게 된 것 같다고 하는데요. 그래서 오늘 본인의 리신이 인색 선수의 리신만큼 훌륭했다고 생각하냐고 여쭤보니 어쩌면 거의 같은 레벨이었을 것 같다고 합니다. 그렇다면 이 인터뷰를 굉장히 흐뭇하게 보고 계실 인색님에게 혹시 인색 킥과 함께 샤라웃 한번 부탁드려도 될지 여쭤보겠습니다. I think Insect must be really happy watching this interview. Would you like to give him a shout out while doing the iconic Insect kick?
Yeah, like a cool. Thank you, Insect.
Amazing. 이제 내일 브래켓 스테이지로 가는 최종 관문입니다. 다시 만나는 팀원 상대로 어느 부분이 가장 중요할 것 같으신지 여쭤보겠습니다. And tomorrow will be the final gate to the bracket stage. In a rematch up against T1, what do you think will be the most important?
Well, I think it's important that we learn about our mistakes against T1. I think the way they play the game is super aggressive and they're really fast on the map. So I think if we try to match their style and try to match their tempo, we should be better than last time. But we know that they're the highest or the hardest team in this plane. So yeah, we just have to have a good day and we have to keep going through our tempo and we should be fine.
T1 같은 팀은 정말 매우 공격적이면서도 맵 전역으로 굉장히 빠르게 굴리는 팀인데 저번 실수를 통해서 우리가 어떤 점을 더 나아질 수 있을지 파악하는 게 굉장히 중요한 것 같다고 합니다. 상대방의 굉장히 빠른 템포에 말리지 않고 우리만의 게임 템포를 쫓아가고 또 경기장에 온 당일 좋은 컨디션을 유지하며 우리의 게임을 펼쳐줄 수 있다면 또 좋은 결과가 나올 수도 있을 것 같다고 합니다. 여기까지가 팀 리퀴드 에일리언웨어의 호세 디오도 선수였습니다. Thank you very much and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, G-Sun and Jose Diego. I love the shout out to Insect. But of course, we are now joined by the victorious Spawn, who told us that he was undefeated, who told us that he would win.
Slow clap.
I think it's a fast clap. Why do we need a slow clap? Good job.
Let's go!
Bro. Oh my God.
That's my GOAT. That was a good solid high five too.
Yeah, sorry, Draco, so we had to do you like that.
I know, you don't have to hold back. Don't hold back on my account. I need you to tell it like it is.
I mean, I did tell everyone that I have never lost to Europe because I haven't had the honor of playing G2. So that's the goal, to get the G2 matchup, because that's like, when I first took over as head coach, I said, like, we want to build into a dynasty like G2 is in Europe.
Yeah.
That's always been the goal. I think so far I'm not doing that, so let's not get too ahead of us, but we haven't lost to anyone else from Europe and didn't plan on doing it today.
Yeah, well, I mean, you guys played really well. One thing I really wanted to ask you about is, we were just talking about this a bit, but like, I feel as though Morgan in NA had been playing just like, he's been playing well, but he hasn't been dominating. He's been playing more weak side, kind of playing tanks and so on. What has happened from him to in NA from him here? You know, it's like Doran, he's chain solo killing Doran. He's solo killing Kana after getting cheese level 1 in the counter matchup. Like, this guy is playing the team fights insane. Like, what has happened? He is just playing with so much confidence.
Yeah, I think we had this issue when we brought the team together, as everyone was like, oh, Yon can carry, and then Yon saying, oh, but Quid, when I played against him on 100 Thieves, he was a huge carry, and Morgan's like, you know, this is how I'm known to play the game, as more a supporting role. And I think that even though we were super talented, we were just doing just enough to do our job and then expecting it to come together. But we've had a lot of conversations about breaking those molds and just, if you can take over a game, just take over a game. There was even a time in Jose's Lee Sin game where Quid was like, hey, why don't you give me that kill? And Jose's like, just get on the train, buddy. Like, shut up and get on the train. Like, I'm taking this one home. So that has to be everyone's mentality.
Yeah.
Like, if you have an opportunity to carry a game, you got to pop off. And I think that Morgan's doing that really well.
I feel like in the T1 series, you had really good preparation, good drafts, good game plan, but just weren't able to get over the finish line, especially in like that game 2. How do you feel about going into the rematch against them, and how do you feel about how you, what were the failings for the team in the first matchup?
30 พรุ่งนี้ T1 เจอ
If you look at our international history with this roster, T1 is actually our rival. Like, MSI will able to take
เคล